Back when I helped my girlfriend with stockings, we promised to get into Peking University together. But during the Gaokao, I have no choice but to sabotage myself. I deliberately score 0 on Chinese. Genius move, tragic packaging. In the end, I only get 600 points. Peking University and I miss each other by a cruel little step. She, meanwhile, goes straight abroad to study. What she does not know is, I do not even make it to university. Life drags me out to deliver food instead. Very inspiring, very broke. That night, I drag my exhausted body along. On the way to deliver my final order, then a Range Rover hits me and knocks me flat. Great delivery review pending. Next, a woman in red high heels appears. She crouches beside me. She anxiously asks if I am all right. She says she did not mean to hit me. Then she opens her Gucci handbag. She pulls out a stack of cash. It looks like 2 or 3,000 yuan. She tells me to take the money first. She wants me to go to a nearby hospital for a checkup. She says she has something extremely urgent to handle. Then she stuffs the money into my hand. She gets up to leave, but she quickly crouches down again. This time, she takes out a pen. On a Yida sticky note, she writes down a phone number. Then she gives me the note with her ID card. She says I can call her anytime if anything comes up. She tells me her name is Li Xia. By the time I look down at her ID, she has already stood up and left. The whole thing takes maybe 1 minute. We barely even talk. Efficient accident handling, apparently. The white Range Rover disappears into the distance. I struggle up from the ground. After that, I push my electric bike home alone. In my hand is the Range Rover driver's ID card. It is already midnight. After hesitating for a while, I call the number for the first time. No one answers. A minute later, I call again. This time, the call is rejected. My dignity takes a small hit. I am not ready to give up. So I call a third time. Finally, the call connects. Her impatient voice comes through. She asks who I am and what I want. She tells me to speak quickly. I politely remind her that she just hit me with her car. Her attitude changes instantly, faster than a weather report. She keeps apologizing and admits she was wrong earlier. She sounds genuinely sorry. She asks which hospital I am at. She asks whether I have been examined. She even asks what the doctor said. Her tone makes me feel a lot better. I calmly tell her I am mostly fine. Only my electric bike shell is cracked. She says it is good that I am fine. Then she asks how much the bike costs. She says she will compensate me. I tell her the money she gave me is enough for repairs. I remind her that her ID card is still with me. I ask when she can come take it back. She asks if now works. Her tone turns cautious, almost polite. She says she cannot leave right now. She asks if a friend can pick it up for her. So I give her my address. After hanging up, I sit on a wooden stool and rub Yunnan Baiyao on myself. About half an hour later, someone knocks on my door. I open it and find 4 men outside. Lovely midnight committee. The one in front looks about my age. The 3 behind him are built like moving walls. The man in front looks at me. He asks if I made the call. Before I can even ask who he is, he impatiently cuts me off. He asks whether Li Xia's ID card is with me. I start saying it is behind me, but the words do not make it out. He punches me in the face. Then he kicks me in the stomach. I still have no idea what is happening. Just like that, I am beaten to the floor. I try to crawl back up. His foot comes straight at my face. In that instant, the taste of blood fills my mouth. My neighbor Lu Chong, who usually drinks with me, opens his bedroom door. He takes one quick look. Then he shuts the door fast. Friendship clocks out early. The man walks over to me. He steps on my arm with his leather shoe. He coldly demands the ID card. I really want to speak, but half my face feels numb. No words come out. The man turns his head. He tells the 3 behind him to go inside and search. They look for the ID card and the note. Those things are sitting on my bedroom desk. The men inside find them quickly. They bring them out and hand them over. The man checks the ID card. Satisfied, he puts it into his pocket. His foot presses harder on my arm. He curses me for being blind. He accuses me of staging a scam against the wrong person. He says he is laying down the warning today. If I dare bother that woman again, he says he will make me pay with my life. Then he kicks me again, because one warning was apparently too polite. He turns to leave. Before reaching the door, he seems to remember something. He turns and walks into my bedroom. He takes out my phone. Right in front of me, he smashes it onto the floor. Once he makes sure it is completely dead, he struts away like he owns the hallway. After they leave, I sit alone by the bed. A 7 yuan Hongtashan cigarette smokes between my fingers. I cannot understand it. Why is this world always so unfair? I understand even less. Why everyone seems to wear a mask? Why did she leave her ID card behind? And then why arrange for several men to come beat me half to death? I have to ask what she is really trying to do. Outside, the rain grows heavier. It feels like it will not stop all night. When the sun rises tomorrow, this city will have one more drifting soul, me. The first morning light slips through the window. It slants into the room. I have already packed all my things into my suitcase. Today, I move out of this rented room. Because of last night's gang, the landlord thinks I know shady people, so he refuses to rent the room to me anymore. My suitcase sits on my battered electric bike. All I have left on me is from that woman, the 2,600 yuan she gave me in the rain. When I got paid last month, I sent everything home for my father's treatment. I kept only a little living money. From this 2,600 yuan, I spent 800 on a smartphone for deliveries. This job still has to continue. Bills do not care about bruises. The remaining 1,000 plus is for rent. If I cannot find a place before dark, I will be sleeping under an overpass. I put my SIM card into the new phone. As soon as it turns on, my second uncle calls. My second uncle asks what I am doing. My second uncle, Chen, is a legendary character. My grandfather picked him up by the roadside. He is 6 years older than me. Over the years, he has done plenty of sneaky nonsense. For words describe him, famous for trouble. I squat on the curb. I tell him I am free right now. Then I ask why he suddenly called me. He says he is in Kunming to buy medicine for my dad. He heard of an old doctor there. The doctor is supposedly great with kidney disease. After getting the doctor's contact information, he rushed over immediately. He says he will crash at my place tonight. Then he will take the train back tomorrow morning. Hearing my second uncle say this, I tense up instantly. If he finds out, I am doing so badly I have no place to live. What will he think? If he goes home and tells my parents, the two elders will worry again, and my face is still bruised. With my second uncle's personality, he will definitely dig until he hits bedrock. That would become a huge mess. I stammer into the phone. I tell second uncle not to come find me. I tell him to go home early after buying the medicine. I claim my work is insanely busy. My lie wears a tiny hard hat, but he insists anyway. He says my mom also packed me a basket of local eggs. She insists he bring them to me. Mom love, egg version. He says he will call once he arrives. Then my second uncle hangs up. Finding a random apartment and paying rent on the spot is not exactly realistic. But my second uncle arrives in 2 hours. That is a big problem with a train ticket. After a short hesitation, I decide to find a small inn near the train station. I will settle my second uncle there first. Then I can stop him from wanting to stay with me. As long as my second uncle is settled, I do not care where I sleep. I can make do. Poverty teaches flexibility. 2 hours later, I pick up my second uncle at the train station. He looks just like before. He is wearing a fake Nike t-shirt. His muscles still show through it. There is even a new tattoo on his arm. The instant he sees me, he freezes. He asks with concern what happened to me. He asks if I got into a fight. I lie and say I fell by accident. My second uncle does not believe me at all. He asks if I think I can fool him like my parents. He says nobody falls into this kind of face. He asks if I was beaten and am too scared to admit it. I know second uncle has survived countless fights. Trying to fool him is harder than hiding smoke from fire. But I still do not want to talk about it. So I dodge it and tell him to come on. I say I will take him to his place first. Then I will go with him for medicine this afternoon. My second uncle says nothing. He just walks beside me. Inside the small inn I booked ahead, I tell second uncle to stay here tonight. I say I will go to work after we get the medicine. I tell him not to mention my beating to my parents. No need to make them worry. My second uncle refuses to let it go. He asks what really happened. He asks who beat me like this. He asks if I am hiding something from the family. He tells me to start with who hit me. Then he asks why they hit me. I mutter bitterly under my breath. I say I do not even know why I was beaten. So I tell him what happened last night. At the end, I remind him again. He absolutely cannot tell my parents. Otherwise they will worry again. I say I still have a few hundred yuan. I ask him to take it back to my dad. Chen Xiaojia lowers his head and stays silent for minutes. Then he tells me fine. He promises not to tell my parents. Then my second uncle takes out 2,000 yuan for me. He says I should stop sending my money home. He gives me another 2,000. He tells me to find a better neighborhood. He wants me to rent a proper apartment. He tells me to treat myself better. I tell him not to give me money. I say I do not want it, but he uses his command voice. He says if he gives it, I take it. He tells me not to waste words. Uncle mode, activated. In the afternoon, he will buy medicine for my dad. I will go find a room. He says I must settle my housing first. Then we will eat together tonight. He says he will take the train home early tomorrow. I take a deep breath. I can feel that second uncle truly cares about me. I do not want him to worry too much. So I agree to his plan. That afternoon, I go look for a place. Second uncle goes to buy medicine. My dad has had kidney disease for years. Treating him all these years has emptied the family's savings. Grandpa left a few tens of thousands before he died. But second uncle did not take a single yuan. He gave it all for my dad's treatment. My second uncle may fool around all day, but his character is solid. Messy, yes. Heartless, no. That afternoon, I find a listing through an agent. It is a 3-bedroom apartment. I will share it with others. Rent is 700 a month, with shared living room, bathroom, and kitchen. The other 2 rooms belong to a couple and 1 girl. After looking at the place, I think the conditions are acceptable, so I rent it. By the time everything is done, it is after 4. Second uncle messages me. He says he is waiting at the small inn by the station. We will eat together tonight. He leaves by train early tomorrow morning. Just as I am leaving, I meet the single girl who shares the apartment. She has just gotten off work. She is wearing office clothes. The cropped blazer makes her look especially refined. When she bends down to change shoes, my eyes accidentally catch more than they should. I swear, I do not do it on purpose. Fine. I admit she is very eye-catching. The kind that makes your eyes forget their manners. When she finishes changing shoes and stands up, I am still stupidly staring. She glares at me hard. Then she calls me a creep with pure disgust. After that, she covers her collar and heads to the second bedroom. After dinner with second uncle that night, I am too lazy to go back to Paris Spring. So I book another room at the small inn. After seeing second uncle off the next morning, I continue delivering food. No work means no income. And for now, delivery is all I can do. I stay busy until 11:30 at night. The last order surprises me. It is ordered by someone living with me. The name is Linny Fei. I carry the food home. The couple in the master bedroom is not home. Their door is shut. The light inside is off, but the second bedroom light is on. Keyboard tapping comes from inside now and then. I take off my jacket. I toss it into my room. Then I carry the food to her door. I knock lightly. She opens the door in home clothes. When she sees it is me, her face immediately turns displeased. She instinctively covers her collar with her left hand. She asks what I want in a disgusted tone. I lift the takeout in my hand. I tell her it is the food she ordered. Linny Fei explodes. She demands to know who let me touch her order. Before I can explain the rest, she snatches the food from my hand. Her next move is to throw it straight into the trash by the door. There is a bowl of soup in the order. When she grabs it away, hot soup spills onto my jeans. But she ignores me completely. She steps back. Then she slams the door shut. I stand there, genuinely lost. I can only shake my head. Then I go back to my room. My phone receives the order feedback. 1 bad review. Beautiful. My wallet just fainted. The reason is that I supposedly handed her food to someone else. She accuses me of being irresponsible. I stare at the screen. The whole thing feels absurd. 1 bad review deducts 300 from my pay. A whole day of grinding may not even make 300. Today I am tired like a dog, and 1 review sends me back to square one. At noon on Wednesday, I suddenly get a call from second uncle. I think he is calling about home. I stop my electric bike by the road. I ask him what is going on. I tell him I am delivering food right now. I ask him to call later. He says he is at the intersection of Lianghua Road and Renmin Road. He tells me not to take new orders after this delivery. He wants me to come over first. I think I heard wrong. I ask where he is. He says it is the small garden where I said the accident happened. He tells me to come over. He wants to know exactly where the Range Rover hit me. I get the feeling Chen Xiaojie is about to do something. I ask if he did not already go home. I ask why he is back in Kunming. He says he is here to get justice for me. He says I do not have to come if I will not. At most, he will just collect more surveillance footage. That leaves me completely speechless. My second uncle, Chen Xiaojie, is someone I know too well. After finishing the delivery in my hand, I hurry over. Sure enough, I see him at the small garden intersection. The guy is squatting by the roadside. His eyes keep scanning the traffic cameras like they owe him money. I have no idea what is going on in his head. When second uncle sees me, he asks where I got hit. I correct him and say it was not exactly a hit. I explain that I got knocked down when the Range Rover turned. He curses, saying everyone knows turning cars yield to straight traffic. He just wants me to point out the direction. I point across the road. I tell Chen Xiaojie it happened right there. I tell second uncle we should let it go. We barely know anyone in Kunming. Sometimes less trouble is the best plan. But he says he understands the matter now. Once he finds the Range Rover's plate number, he can find the people who beat me. He tells me to go handle my own work. Then Chen Xiaojie lowers his head and walks off. I stand there and call after him. I tell him I live at Paris Spring. I ask if he will come stay tonight. Chen Xiaojie tosses back 2 words without turning. He tells me not to worry about him. I watch Chen Xiaojie's back disappear into the crowd. Unease starts crawling around in my chest. Those people are clearly not harmless. They drive a Range Rover, and the bag in her hand is a Gucci worth over 10,000. Chen Xiaojie knows nobody in Kunming. If he investigates them this recklessly, he is basically ordering trouble with extra spice. But I also know I cannot talk him out of it. All I can do is worry. And worrying, sadly, pays 0 yuan. 3 nights later, Chen Xiaojie calls me again. He tells me to reach Century City, Che Lifeng, within 30 minutes. He says he is waiting in the open parking lot outside. When I find Chen Xiaojie in the parking lot, he is squatting in a hidden corner by the flower bed, diagonally across from him. I see the car from that night. The scratch on the white Range Rover is still there. I am shocked by Chen Xiaojie's ability. I honestly wonder how he found it. I start getting worried. I try to persuade second uncle. I tell him to let it go before it gets bigger. He answers without any emotion. He says we have to win back my dignity tonight. I look around. It is already past 8 at night. But this place is still lively. This is not exactly a perfect revenge venue. He offers me a cigarette. Chen Xiaojie hands me a whole pack. It is actually soft donghua. Uncle is oddly upgraded. He points at a black Santana and tells me to get in. He says we will sit and wait for them. When I ask whose car it is, he tells me not to ask. He just tells me to get in. After I sit in the car, I start getting nervous. This Santana is at least 10 years old and falling apart. To the right of the driver's seat, there is a steel pipe wrapped in bandage. That is obviously tonight's tool. Subtle as thunder. I cannot stay calm at all. Yes, I hate that they bullied me, but asking me to hit someone still makes me nervous. I try to persuade second uncle not to cause trouble, but he completely ignores me. I am basically talking to the dashboard. Around 9:15, the main characters finally appear. The man who beat me that night, and Li Xia, the woman whose car got too friendly with me, both show up. They walk side by side to the Range Rover. The man heads to the driver's side. He opens the door. Chen Xiaojie coldly asks if it is them. I tell second uncle to forget it. Chen Xiaojie grows impatient. He tells me to stop talking and just answer yes or no. I take a deep breath. I finally admit it is them. Chen Xiaojie does not vent yet. His eyes lock onto the Range Rover. The Range Rover starts. It slowly leaves its parking space. Chen Xiaojie also starts the Santana. He follows right behind the Range Rover. I stay tense the whole way. I know exactly what Chen Xiaojia can do. That is the problem. I know too well. The Range Rover drives ahead. After several turns, it exits the second ring road. Then it turns onto a quieter side road. Chen Xiaojia catches the timing. After passing the Range Rover, he jerks the wheel. He cuts right in front of it. Then he slams the brakes. The Santana blocks the white Range Rover at an angle. I have to admit, the Range Rover's brakes are excellent. If it were another car, it might have already crashed into us. After stopping, Chen Xiaojia is in no hurry to get out. The Range Rover driver, the same man who beat me that night, has already gotten out. Furious, he walks to the Santana's driver's door. He kicks the door. He curses and asks how second uncle drives. He yells that he must not know how to drive. Chen Xiaojia grips the prepared steel pipe in his right hand. With his left hand, he unlocks the Santana door. Then he shoves it open hard. The man outside the door takes the hit directly. He stumbles back several steps. Chen Xiaojia gets out with the steel pipe. He wastes no words. He swings the pipe toward the man's head. The man instinctively blocks with his left arm. Chen Xiaojia's foot is already kicking into him. The man staggers back 2 steps. He trips over the curb. Chen Xiaojia's aura scares him stiff. He falls to the ground. He looks up at Chen Xiaojia. His face goes pale. He does not dare say a word. All his arrogance from 1 second ago is gone. Li Xia gets out from the passenger seat. She rushes to the man's side. She crouches down and calls him Jiahao with concern. She asks how he is. She asks if he is hurt. After those 2 questions, she looks up and asks second uncle why he hit him. Second uncle turns to me instead and calls me over. He asks what I want to do with him. I tremble my way to second uncle's side. I quietly call him second uncle. I say forget it, he has already been hit. I say we should leave. Li Xia asks who we are. She clearly does not recognize me. Thinking about it, that is not strange. That night, she left in a hurry. I was wearing delivery clothes. I was riding an electric bike, and I had a helmet on. It is normal that she does not remember me. But right now, she looks carefully at me and Chen Xiaojia. Terrified, she asks what we want. Chen Xiaojia ignores Li Xia. He grips the steel pipe in his right hand. Then he slowly crouches down. The lower end of the pipe presses against Jiahao's thigh. I can tell second uncle is putting force into it. Jiahao's expression starts twisting, but he is actually pretty tough. He keeps holding back and does not scream. Seeing his twisted face, Chen Xiaojia looks a little pleased. He reminds Jiahao that he beat me up. He also smashed my phone, so he gives him a discounted total. 5,000 yuan. He wants the money transferred immediately. If the money arrives, this ends here. Chen Xiaojia sneers and says if it does not, then Jiahao will not leave here in one piece. I look toward Li Xia. Maybe she knows what kind of person Jiahao usually is. Plus, second uncle has that ruthless energy. It scares her. She opens the bag across her shoulder. She begs us not to hurt him. She says she will give us the money. As she speaks, she pulls out cash from her bag. Without even counting, she stuffs it into second uncle's hand. She says she does not know how much is there, but she gives us all of it. Chen Xiaojia gives it a quick glance. He says it is about enough. For now, this matter is over. He warns them not to bully people just because they have money. He tells them to remember that. If they are not satisfied, they can come find him again. He says his phone number is easy to remember. Then he rattles off the number, saying it is a new one. He says they can call any time if they are not convinced. After saying all that, Chen Xiaojia puts away the steel pipe in his hand. Then he tells me to leave with him. Second uncle says if Jiahao dares bully me again, he will cripple him. Very family-friendly, as always. I admit, he is a little too fierce. That is just how Chen Xiaojia handles things. As we leave, I cannot help glancing at Li Xia a few more times. She really is beautiful. Her features are so delicate, my vocabulary resigns on the spot. While I am looking at her, she is also looking at me. The moment our eyes meet, I feel so ashamed I want to melt into the road. I quickly pull my gaze back. Then I turn and get into the car. Chen Xiaojia notices I am worried. He asks in that disappointed elder tone whether I am scared. He says people all carry one head on 2 shoulders. So he asks what I am afraid of. He says a real man should fight them head on. Honestly, I am a little tired of this. After all these years in Kunming, I have always played the role of an outsider nobody. I do not like arguing with people, and I like fighting even less. My rule is simple. One less problem is one more blessing. I just want to work hard and send money home. I keep hoping to save enough for my father's kidney transplant. Seeing me stay silent, Chen Xiaojia tries to comfort me. He tells me not to look so miserable. To him, this is nothing. To me, it is fireworks. If Jiahao dares trouble me, second uncle says he will go after him again, until Jiahao is properly convinced. He tells me to get off at the next intersection. He tells me to keep the money and spend it carefully. He says he will be in Kunming for a while. If anything happens, I should call him. He does not care whether I agree to take the money. He dumps it all on me anyway. I know my father's treatment costs a fortune, so I do not pretend to be noble. There are probably more than 6,000 yuan. I put all of it away. I ask if he is not going home. He tells me not to ask what he is doing in Kunming. Anyway, he says, it is not delivering food. He reminds me that if Jiahao bothers me again, I should fight back. He tells me not to be weak, but our survival manuals differ. Mine has a lot more pages labeled caution. After getting off at the intersection, I wander alone through the midnight city, with several thousand yuan in my pocket. I feel like this money came too easily. So easily it makes me uneasy. I even think about contacting Li Xia. I want to return the money to her and explain that all this is a misunderstanding. I admit I have this thought, partly because I am a poor, ordinary guy. I cannot afford rich people storms. But there is another little motive too. I fantasize about getting to know Li Xia. At least I want her not to think badly of me. Then I realize that thought is dangerous. How can I beg a goddess for attention and dream of knowing someone as stunning as Li Xia? I cannot help laughing at myself. The next day, I luxuriously sleep until I wake naturally. Then I tap the app and start taking orders. The first one is a big order. A full 40-box meals. My arms file a complaint. They are going to the Kaidi International Hotel. Security tells me to take the staff elevator. I am to deliver them straight to the meeting room on the 29th floor. The first trip, I carry only 20 meals up. Only the girl who placed the order is in the meeting room. She tells me to put the meals on the table. Then I go downstairs for the rest. When I come back up again, carrying the boxed meals into the room, I see a scene that nearly freezes my soul. Li Xia is standing among the crowd. The moment our eyes meet, I almost cannot believe what I am seeing. But Li Xia really is in this meeting room. A man opens one boxed meal in front of me. He respectfully addresses her as President Li. He says the meeting must have been tiring. He asks her to eat first, and my scalp goes numb. Just yesterday, Chen Xiaojie and I beat up her boyfriend. Now I am delivering food on her turf. This is not delivery. This is walking into a net. After putting the boxed meals down in a hurry, I head straight outside. I practically reach the elevator in one breath. The instant the elevator doors open, I go blank. At least 4 security guards are outside. I pretend to stay calm and lower my head to walk out. 2 guards immediately block me. They tell me to come with them. I act like I know nothing. I tell the guards they have the wrong person. 1 guard tells me to cut the nonsense. Their leader orders the other 3 to take me away first. I shout and ask on what grounds. I remind them they are only security guards. They have no right to control my freedom. Once I shout, many people in the hotel lobby look over. The lobby manager reacts quickly. He smiles at the watching crowd. He apologizes politely. He says they have disturbed everyone. He claims a hotel guest reported losing valuables. He says they suspect the delivery guy took the chance to steal. He says they have already detained the suspect and will send the suspect to the police station soon. He apologizes again, smooth enough to sell rain in a storm. Someone wonders if the delivery guy is a thief. Someone says delivery workers have terrible quality now. Another asks who would dare order delivery after this. I strain my voice. With a twisted expression, I shout that I am framed. But no one believes me, and no one cares about my shouting. All I see are cold faces and phones held up to take pictures. The 4 guards do not do what the lobby manager said. They do not send me to the police station. They only confine me in a room. They take my phone, then they trap me on a chair. I keep yelling for them to let me go. I say this is illegal confinement. I tell them it is against the law. The chubby guard threatens me. He says he does not understand illegal confinement. He only follows his leader's orders. If I dare keep shouting and bother him, he will use his week-old, unwashed socks to plug my mouth. He wins. That threat is brutally effective. So effective that I do not dare speak. Because I truly believe he can do it. I wait with my heart hanging in the air. I know something is coming. I just do not know who I will face. Before long, 2 guards actually fall asleep on the bed. I try to escape, but my hands and feet are tied to the chair. All my effort is completely useless. Maybe 3 hours pass. The closed door finally opens. At the sound of the door, the 2 guards quickly scramble up from the bed. Li Xia appears with 5 people. The girl following behind her is the same girl who ordered the meals today. Beside that girl is the lobby manager. The last 2 are also security guards. When the sleeping guards see Li Xia come in, they hurry to stand up. They respectfully greet President Li. Li Xia frowns. She asks why they tied me up. The lobby manager glares at the chubby guard. He snaps at him for tying me up. Then he orders them to untie me quickly. After I am freed, Li Xia tells the people beside her to leave first. Without her order, no one is allowed to come in. Her tone is so firm that nobody dares say another word. They all slink out of the room. Li Xia looks at me coldly. She asks what grudge I have with Jiahao. She asks why we hit him so hard yesterday. So his name is Jiahao. Now I finally know what that man is called. She asks if I really need to play dumb. She thinks I know exactly why he was beaten. Li Xia uses that tone. The one that says she has seen through people like us. She says we spend all day fighting. She asks if that is interesting. She asks why we cannot sit down and talk properly. She asks if violence can really solve problems. So Li Xia has decided I am a thug. I look at Li Xia and ask if she will hear my explanation. She says she has no time, giving me zero face. She tells me she kept me here, just to say one thing. Li Xia tells me not to ambush Jiahao at midnight again. She says if I want money, I should just ask her, and not make things hard for him. That instantly makes me unhappy. I look at Li Xia and ask why she had me tied up for 3 or 4 hours. She has wasted my whole afternoon of work, all just to tell me that nonsense. Very executive. Li Xia asks what else I expected. She asks what else she could possibly say to me. My temper shoots up like it found an elevator. Since she has something to say, I also have something to tell her. I ask if she ate the first boxed meal I delivered at noon. I want to know if that one went into her stomach. Then I tell her the truth. I say I had already taken several bites from it, so she ate my leftovers. Congratulations, President Li. I even claim I spat into it. Li Xia's eyes suddenly go huge. The next second, she covers her mouth and runs to the restroom. That feels incredibly satisfying. I grab my phone. Then I swagger out like I just won a tiny war. Outside the door, the lobby manager is waiting. Several security guards are there too. They look at me strangely, but I am feeling bold. I walk away with my chest practically playing drums. The more I think about it, the better it feels. I step out of the hotel lobby. It is just dinner time. I plan to keep taking delivery orders. Then I discover my account has been suspended. I ask customer service what is going on. They say I may be connected to a theft case. So my rider qualification is temporarily canceled. In plain words, I have been fired. I seriously wonder who I offended in a past life. Is delivering food supposed to be this hard? Somehow I have ended up fighting these people. I glare bitterly at Kaidi International Hotel. Then I spit hard on the ground. Suddenly, a group of guards rushes out of the hotel. They shout for someone to catch me. They yell not to let me run. Seriously? One spit, and now I am public enemy number one. I take off running. But the gate guard kicks me down. The others rush over and grab me again. This time, they do not drag me back into the hotel. Instead, they shove me forward. They push me into a Buick GL8 business van. Li Xia sits in the second row. She takes the seat on the left. My tied hands and feet are dumped on the right seat. They worry I might move around. So they wrap rope around me twice. Very thoughtful. 2 guards sit in the third row. Another one sits in the front. I immediately start getting nervous. I turn to Li Xia beside me. I ask what she is trying to do. I say I only ate 2 bites of her lunch. Surely that is not enough to silence me forever. Li Xia glares at me with disgust and tells me to shut up. She says if I mention lunch again, she will have them throw me out of the car right now. But I still need her to tell me where she is taking me. I tell her she has already ruined me badly enough. Even my job is gone. Li Xia coldly says my job is none of her concern. But if Jia Hao is hurt, she will definitely take me to court. I pause and ask what Jia Hao is to her. I ask what his condition has to do with me. She says Li Jia Hao is her younger brother, and she does not want him hurt. Her younger brother? Hearing Li Xia say that, I actually feel a tiny bit excited. I ask what her brother's injuries have to do with me. She says my friend kidnapped her brother. Now she is taking me to exchange hostages. I look at Li Xia and ask, how I never knew. I had such a powerful friend. She says it is Chun Xiaojie from last night. Oh no. Second uncle. What on earth has he done now? I feel like my head is about to explode. Did we not agree yesterday that this was over? Why did he go after Li Jiahao again? Does he think Li Jiahao is rich and easy to bully? Could second uncle really do something like this? Honestly, I am not sure anymore. So I do not dare ask too much. The whole ride stays relatively silent. We drive from downtown all the way to the east third ring suburbs. Finally, we reach an old warehouse. Beside 2 cars sits a table. Several cans are placed on it. There are a few plates of braised dishes too. A dozen empty beer bottles lie around the table. Chen Xiaojie sits alone on one side of the square table. Li Jiahao and several others sit on the other 3 sides. These guys look miserable. Every one of them is bruised and swollen. Even Li Jiahao is no exception. Seeing this, Li Xia cannot take it. She gets out and runs straight to Li Jiahao. She asks Jiahao how he got beaten like this. As she asks who did it, her eyes land on second uncle. Second uncle does not even bother with Li Xia. The chubby guard kicks me out of the car. 2 other guards drag me up from the ground. They shout for second uncle to release their young master. Otherwise, they threaten to tear up the hostage. Very classy. Second uncle is clearly surprised when he sees me. His brow tightens, but he says nothing. Second uncle puts down his wine cup and stands. He asks what is going on. Li Xia looks at Chen Xiaojie. She asks if he beat her brother like this. She says they agreed last night that everything was fine. She asks what he actually wants. Jiahao tells his sister to stop. Li Jiahao lowers his head and says this is not their fault. He says he and 4 others failed to beat one man. He says he deserved it, and my ears almost resign. If I had not heard it myself, I would not believe it. The 4 men Li Jiahao brought clearly have the advantage in build. Yet Chen Xiaojie handled all of them, and somehow beat them into complete respect. Li Xia raises her hand in distress. She touches Li Jiahao's swollen face. She carefully asks if it hurts. Li Jiahao first nods. Then he shakes his head and says he is fine. He says getting beaten is nothing new. But this is the first time someone beat him into submission. He says this is not their fault. Second uncle cuts Li Jiahao off. He says Jiahao's sister really has some tricks. She actually captured his nephew. So today, he says, they are even. They release his nephew, and he lets Jiahao leave. As for today's little activity, he waives the appearance fee for fists and feet. But he warns there had better not be a next time. The chubby guard tries to show off in front of Li Xia. He rolls up his sleeves and addresses President Li. He says these people are too arrogant. He asks to teach second uncle a lesson. Li Xia shoots the chubby guard a glare. Then she looks at Li Jiahao and asks what grudge they have. She asks if they can clear it all up today. She begs him to stop making trouble. She says he is not a child anymore. She asks when he will finally grow up. She says their father told her to take good care of him before leaving. She asks him to have some backbone. She has to take care of him alone. And she also has to manage the company. She asks if any of this is easy for her. As she keeps talking, Li Xia's tears actually fall. When Li Jiahao sees his sister cry, he immediately panics. He begs his sister. He says he knows he was wrong. He asks her not to cry. He admits this is his fault. He says he got beaten last night, and he could not swallow it. So today he called some buddies to teach second uncle a lesson. But he was simply not skilled enough. 5 of them could not beat one man. Math hurts. He promises he will not cause trouble for her again. He keeps begging her not to cry. I call out from the side. I ask if, while they are catching up, they can untie me first. After all, I am still tied up. People talk about exchanging prisoners. But my second uncle never even tied up her brother. I ask if they can show a little honor. At least let me go first. Li Xia glances at the chubby guard. The chubby guard quickly unties me. She cares deeply about her younger brother. Then she asks why we stopped him last night. I ask if she can stop pretending already. I shout at them. I say they hit me with the car. Then send him to my place to beat me up. He even smashed my phone. I tell her not to claim she knows nothing. When Li Xia hears me say this, she is completely stunned. She stares at me for 3 full seconds. Then she turns to look at Li Jiahao. Li Jiahao lowers his head and calls her sister. He asks her to hear him out. Li Jiahao barely dares to meet her eyes. He quietly says that night, she told him she had hit someone with her car and asked him to get her ID card back. So he thought she had met a scammer. He thought the other person kept her ID and planned to extort her. Brilliant logic. So he took some buddies to my place and snatched the ID card back. He also worried I had her phone number and might keep bothering her. So before leaving, he smashed my phone too. Then Li Jiahao's voice gets smaller and smaller, and that leads to last night's mess. Li Xia is completely shocked. She looks at me. Then she looks at Li Jiahao. He is almost shrinking into his own collar. He looks properly scared now. I ask if everything is clear now. I look straight at Li Xia. She had no time to hear my explanation. Fine. Then she can hear her brothers. I ask again if she understands now. They hit me with a car. Then had someone come beat me up. Today, their lobby manager smeared me as a thief. And now, the delivery platform has blocked my rider account. Even my job is gone. This is their masterpiece. Applause, anyone? I ask if I ever provoked them. Why did they have to ruin me like this? Li Xia apologizes, her face flushed red. Her tone finally softens. She says she will compensate me. I thank her and refuse. I tell her money does not mean they can do anything. After saying that, I strut over to second uncle, feeling mighty. I pick up a bottle of beer. Then I tilt my head back and drain it. I toss the empty bottle aside. I tell second uncle I did not know he could fight so well. Second uncle casually says he is all right. Humble monster. Then he stands and addresses Li Xia. He says she seems reasonable enough. And talking to reasonable people feels better. They are the ones who hit someone with a car. They also came to beat people and smash phones. Now they have cost his nephew his job. That, too, is on them. So they should offer a solution. A grievance this big cannot just evaporate. Li Xia blushes and asks how much money we want as compensation. Second uncle thinks for a moment and says forget it. If she gives me money, I will only mail it home for dad's treatment. So he suggests she give me a job instead. Li Xia immediately says no. I say no at almost the same time. Li Xia glances at me. She says her company does not hire people with bad character. Chen Xiaojie asks, annoyed, what is wrong with his nephew's character? Li Xia stammers. She gets flustered. Then she blushes and says I stole bites of her meal and gave her my leftovers. I cannot help bursting into laughter. I tell second uncle we should go. He does not need to worry about my job. If I cannot deliver food, I can do something else. Then I add one more question. I look at Li Xia and Li Jiahao. I ask if this matter is settled. They will not trouble me again, right? No more locking me up, right? Li Xia's face turns red from my words. Li Jiahao loudly tells me not to worry. He says he is convinced, genuinely admiring brother Jia. He says if we ever need anything, just say it. Second uncle ignores Li Jiahao. He tells me to go. The matter is settled. He says he will drive me back. I climb into that battered Santana. Curious, I ask him if he really took down all of them alone. Chen Xiaojie asks what is so hard about that. Suddenly I have no idea what to say. Second uncle is terrifyingly impressive. After he drives me back downtown, second uncle asks what I plan to do next. Will I keep delivering food? I say my rider account has already been blocked. So forget delivering food. I can survive with some other job. Before leaving, he says the same old thing. If anything happens, call him. After I get out of the car, a confusion I have never felt before hits me. I used to deliver food from dawn to night. I hope life could one day be less busy. Now that day has actually arrived, and I have no idea what to do next. I squat down by the curb behind Yanxi Spring. The city looks lonely and cold. Then a stray dog slowly walks over. It circles around me once. Then it sits beside me. 2 unfamiliar souls share the same serving of loneliness. Coincidentally, Linny Fei feeds this stray every day. Because of it, Linny Fei and I finally drop our grudge. After chatting, we become much more familiar. The next day, I wake at 7:30. Out of habit, I look for delivery work. Only after finding the app do I realize my rider account has already been blocked. Today, I am not qualified to take orders. My scooter. I suddenly remember it is still at Kaidi International Hotel. When I was grabbed yesterday, the electric scooter was still there. Where is it now? I throw on clothes fast. At the compound gate, I hail a motorcycle taxi and head straight to Kaidi International Hotel. Inside the hotel guard booth, I see yesterday's chubby guard. He is on duty. When I spot him, he also spots me. He lifts a rubber baton and asks why I am back. He asks if I am looking for another beating. I snap at him to get lost, already annoyed. Then I ask where my scooter is. The chubby guard asks what scooter. He waves the baton and says there is no scooter here. He tells me to hurry up and leave. I mean my electric scooter. Yesterday I parked it right here before someone stole it. I demand they pull the surveillance footage. The chubby guard laughs. In a very contemptuous tone, he asks if the surveillance at an international hotel can be pulled just because I say so. He asks if I think this place is my home. I really want to slap him. The chubby guard looks especially pleased. He keeps mocking my broken little scooter. He says if I report it to the police, they might not even open a case. Yet I treat it like treasure. Before he even finishes, the chubby guy suddenly stands straight and salutes. He looks professionally polished all at once. What kind of big shot is arriving now? I turn my head. I see Licia. Her white Range Rover drives over. The car stops beside me. From inside, she asks why I came here. I ask back, irritated, if she thinks I want to visit this lousy place. I am here to find my scooter. It was right here yesterday. Now I cannot find it. The chubby guard sidles over and addresses Presidently. He tells her not to bother with me. He says for that broken scooter. I even want to check their hotel surveillance. He says I think too highly of myself. He tells Presidently to handle her own work. He says he will deal with my scooter problem. Licia asks the chubby guard how he will deal with it. She asks where my scooter is. The chubby guard grins wickedly. He says he heard from Xiao Zhang on yesterday's shift that they personally watched my electric scooter get violently thrown onto a city management truck. I am completely furious now. They saw my scooter get hauled away by city management. So why did no one say anything? I came here to deliver food for them. They cost me my job too. Could they not even watch my scooter? Do these people have any human warmth at all? The chubby guard bares his teeth and glares. He looks thrilled by my misery. He asks, almost singing, why they should help me. Licia cuts in, clearly annoyed. She tells the chubby guard to swipe the elevator for me and bring me to her office. Then she drives off toward the parking lot. The chubby guard freezes, confused. He wonders if he just heard wrong. President Li wants him to take me to her office? Licia's office is on the 29th floor. The door says General Manager. I did not expect Licia to be General Manager. At her age, reaching this position is no joke. Honestly, that is impressive. Licia's office is the most luxurious workplace I have ever seen. Licia personally makes me coffee. As she hands it to me, she asks how much my electric scooter costs. I do not know why, but I suddenly want to tease Licia. I look at her and scoff at the word money. I ask if money is everything to her. Then I tell her, that scooter has been with me for 3 years. Since the first day I delivered food, that electric scooter has stayed by my side. It has seen wind, rain, and my tragic income. After one delivery to their company, it basically dies on duty. I ask if their conscience can handle that. Licia holds her coffee. She leans against her desk. She says I sound so righteous, as if I have deep feelings for that scooter. But deep feelings will not help. She will not ask city management for it. She tells me to be direct. She asks how much compensation I want. I ask if she can say anything besides money. Licia stays painfully proud. She says with someone of my character, she can only talk about money. I ask if my character really has a problem. She says good people do not steal bites from someone else's delivery meal. I am speechless. Truly, my mouth has clocked out. Licia raises her wrist to check the time. She tells me not to waste time. She has a meeting soon. She tells me to name a number. Whatever it is, she will pay. I do not know where this stubbornness comes from. I just want to argue properly with Licia. I say loudly that I do not want money. I only want my scooter. She asks if 5,000 is enough. I stay silent. She asks if 8,000 will do. I still say nothing. She says she will pay me 10,000. Licia raises her voice. She asks if that is finally enough. I look at Licia. I ask if she thinks I came to extort her. Does she really believe my character is that rotten? She cuts me off and offers 20,000. If I refuse, I should get out of her office and never show up again. I raise my finger at Licia. Pointing at her, I step backward. With maximum drama, I say her life is pitiful. In her eyes, there is only money. How could she understand the pain of losing a companion? Talking feelings with her wastes my feelings. I tell her to hug her money tightly and go live her shiny money life. I say goodbye and turn to leave. Licia calls for me to wait. She warns me not to regret it. She gives me one more chance. 20,000 yuan in compensation. I say no and keep walking. Behind me, Licia says fine. She says she owes me a favor. If I need her help, as long as it does not break her principles, she will repay what she owes. She tells me to remember her number. After leaving Kaidi International Hotel, I really want to slap myself. That act was a little too big. 20,000 yuan. Why did I not take it? Why show off in front of a rich woman? Sure, the performance was perfect. The price was losing 20,000 yuan. How do I comfort myself now? I got Licia's phone number again. Fine. That is all I have. As I walk back, I casually scroll through moments. Unexpectedly, I see a post from Lu Jun. Turns out, today is his birthday. Lu Jun is my high school classmate. Back in high school, Lu Jun and I were very close. There were already few boys in the liberal arts class. Seats were arranged by grades, and we both sat in the first row. Every exam, our scores were always near the top. First place was either me or Lu Jun. After graduation, Lu Jun got into Yunnan University with 590. I scored over 600, then gave it up. My family had no extra money for college, and Dad's kidney disease kept needing treatment. So I wanted to work early and help at home. For years ago, Lu Jun came to Kunming for university. I came to Kunming to work. When we first arrived, we often got together. Later, our circles became different, so we stopped contacting each other so often. But that bond is still there. Seeing Lu Jun's post, I reply below, buddy, happy birthday. Lu Jun soon replies to me on WeChat. He asks if I am free tonight. Could I come to his birthday party? He says we have not met in almost half a year. I reply that it has been over half a year. I ask if he is about to graduate. He says he can already leave school now and is looking for an internship. I ask if he has any good options. He replies that his major is business administration. He has rejected offers from some companies. He wants hotel management work. He tells me to come tonight. We can talk in person. The place is on Dianchi Road. He tells me to bring my girlfriend. He wants to see if I am living well. If I had gone to university 4 years ago, then maybe today I could also chat with friends and casually say, I want a hotel management job. Some people can choose their lives. Others are doomed to be chosen by life. A girlfriend? Where am I supposed to find one? Then I suddenly think of Li Xia. Did she not promise me one favor? Could I take Li Xia to dinner today and introduce her to Lu Jun along the way? Lu Jun wants hotel management work. Li Xia manages Kaidi International Hotel. Even if Lu Jun cannot enter Kaidi, she can at least introduce him somewhere. Maybe she can give Lu Jun a useful resource. I quickly call Li Xia. When Li Xia answers, she immediately asks if I regret it. Am I calling to ask for the 20,000? I ask if she can act normal. I tease her and ask, in her eyes, do I only call for money? Li Xia laughs without hiding it. She asks what I want then. I remind her she promised me one thing today. As long as it does not break her principles. She agreed to do it. I ask if those were her words. She admits that yes, she said it. Then she asks what I want her to do. I ask her to join a friend's birthday dinner tonight. Just have a meal. This request does not break principles, right? It is not too much, right? Li Xia exclaims over the phone. Dinner? She cannot believe I want her to eat with me. She asks if I think she has endless free time. I say if she does not come, I will not force her. At least it lets me see clearly what kind of person Li Xia really is. Besides seeing only money, she also does not keep her word. I tell her it is her call whether she shows up. Li Xia is probably fuming by now. She answers through clenched teeth. She says she will join me for dinner tonight. After this meal, I must never bother her again. Then we are officially even. I make her promise me one thing. At dinner, she cannot tear down my act. Of course, I will not pull anything improper either. She only has to appear as a friend. Li Xia agrees surprisingly fast. She says okay, she understands. With evening settled, I have Li Xia handled. I cannot help feeling a little smug. It has been half a year, and today is Lu Jun's birthday. Before going out, I buy a red envelope. I stuff 500 yuan inside. For me, 500 is not pocket change. But Lu Jun's friends may all be college students. College students these days spend boldly. If my envelope looks too thin, I may embarrass Lu Jun. My wallet size. At 6:15, I reach the restaurant entrance. Li Xia's white Range Rover is already parked there. When she sees me, she gets out and walks over. She is actually wearing business attire. I stand there and look Li Xia over. Li Xia shoots me a glare. She asks what I am staring at. She says I never told her what to wear. Besides, she truly had no time to change. After getting the address I sent, she came straight from the company. I laugh and say her work look surprises me. Without heavy makeup, she looks quite elegant. That earns me another huge eye roll from Li Xia. I bring Li Xia into the private room. Opening the door, I see Lu Jun in the main seat. He is chatting with a guy on his left. There are about a dozen people in the room. Lu Jun stands up as soon as he sees me. He greets me as Chin Fan. He says I finally made it. Everyone has been waiting for me. He calls me over to sit by him. After saying that, he signals the guy beside him to move. I take the seat that guy just left. I offer a cigarette to the guy who moved. He glances at my Hongtishan. He politely refuses it. He points at the donghua on the table. He says he already has his own. Lu Jun introduces me to the others. He tells everyone my name is Chin Fan. We were best friends in county high school. He calls me a former top student. He even mentions my score over 600. I give a bitter smile. I tell Lu Jun to let it go. There is no need to bring up old history. I wish him happy birthday. Then I hand him the red envelope. Lu Jun lightly pinches the envelope. He waves his hand and calls me too polite. He says I really did not need to do that. He invited me today, not to make me prepare any gift money. He just thought we had not met in half a year, so we should gather and catch up. He tells them to serve the food first. We can drink and chat as we eat. Then he asks if this is my girlfriend. He asks how to address her. Li Xia gives her name. She does not object to being called my girlfriend. She smiles and says her name is Li Xia. Lu Jun looks at Li Xia. Proudly, he introduces himself as Lu Jun. He studies business administration at Yunnan University, and he says he grew up with me. When Lu Jun says his school and major, his voice gets especially loud. The pride is practically doing a toast by itself. Another guy says to serve the food first. Everyone starts buzzing again. Lu Jun takes out his own cigarettes for me. He calls me Chin Fan. He says if I had kept studying, I would not deliver food. The words delivery rider land hard. A girl beside Lu Jun asks with barely hidden contempt which delivery platform I work for. She says online videos expose riders stealing food. She asks if that is true. Before I can even speak, another guy cuts in and calls her Wang Hui. He says she is making too big a deal of it. He says stealing bites is nothing. He asks if she has seen that video, the one where soup becomes mouthwash in an elevator, then gets spat back. Lovely dinner topic. He says the industry is disgusting and chaotic. The platforms really should clean it up. He says it is full of people without steady jobs, just loose people drifting around society. Anyone with a good job would not deliver food. For a moment, my face burns. I do not dare look at the chatting crowd. I dare even less to look at Licia beside me. While everyone keeps discussing this, a girl suddenly looks at Licia. She asks if Licia also delivers food. Licia looks at the girl. She smiles and says Chunemo and she are delivery riders. She says we are colleagues. The girl says with envy that delivering food every day means facing wind and sun. It must be very hard, working in that kind of environment, yet keeping skin that good, really makes her jealous. Licia only smiles and explains nothing. She lets these sheltered girls keep talking while Lu Jun looks awkward. Lu Jun quietly comforts me. He tells me not to take it to heart. They do not mean any harm. They are just chatting casually. I give a bitter smile. I tell Lu Jun it is fine. I say I understand. I am not just comforting Lu Jun. I truly do understand. After struggling in Kunming for years, I have met all kinds of people. College students can be the most fearless group. They have not really left campus yet. Few know how to read a room. Few truly notice other people's feelings. Each one looks like heaven's chosen scholar. After several rounds of drinks, the topics slowly multiply. Lu Jun asks how my father's illness is now. He asks if a kidney transplant is possible. At this topic, my mood turns especially heavy. I pick up the glass in front of me. I drink the full glass in one go. Quietly, I say there is not much hope. A kidney transplant costs hundreds of thousands. My family simply cannot afford it. And even money cannot guarantee a transplant. A matching kidney still has to be found. All these years, we have used conservative treatment. He goes to the hospital for dialysis every week. The illness has worn him down to skin and bones. Lu Jun sighs deeply with me. He remembers my score over 600 back then. He asks why I did not insist on college. He says he remembers. The whole school once held a fundraiser for me. That money was meant for my tuition. I interrupt Lu Jun. I say I used it for dad's treatment. He asks if I regret it. If I had studied, I would have better choices now. I shake my head. I light the cigarette Lu Jun gives me. Lonely, I say even with 100 chances, I would still give the money to dad. A girl says I am too immature. She sits on Lu Jun's other side. She speaks like she is teaching me life. She says I should have used the money for school. Like them, I should have entered a famous university first, then earned my diploma and bachelor's degree. That would give me more job options. Then I would not be like this now. Besides delivering food, what else can I do? Licia, quiet until now, speaks up. She says never judge what you do not understand. What the girl says may be right, but not under every condition. It is not always the correct answer. The girl rolls her eyes, unconvinced. Lu Jun stops her and calls her Lu Rian. He says my father became ill years ago. My mother stays home caring for my sick father. Now the whole family depends on me alone. Lu Rian mutters with disdain. She calls it short-sighted. What can I even say? My hand around the glass starts trembling. Then I suddenly feel something soft. A warm hand rests on the back of mine. I turn my head. Licia is looking at me. Her gaze is unexpectedly gentle. Lu Rian gives us a disdainful glance. Then she turns to Lu Jun. She asks if he sent the resume she mentioned last week. She says she has already received an interview notice. Then she asks if he got one too. Lu Jun opens his phone like a magician. He holds it in front of Lu Rian. Excited, he shows her the interview message. It came in at noon today. The interview is first thing tomorrow morning. Lu Rian is thrilled. She hugs Lu Jun and kisses him. Full of hope, she says she believes they will both get hired by that hotel. A girl across the table asks, what exactly is going on? She asks what happened. Everyone looks so happy. Lu Rian answers with obvious pride. She says she and Lu Jun applied together. Their favorite hotel has now notified them to come in for interviews tomorrow. Everyone offers congratulations. They raise their glasses to celebrate. Someone says high education really is useful. It lets people choose industries they like. They say Lu Jun rejected many good companies for her, so Lu Rian has to work hard. After dinner, the second round is KTV. The KTV place is about 2 kilometers away. When we leave the private room, his college classmates walk ahead. Licia and I walk at the back. I quietly tell Licia dinner is over. She has kept her promise. She does not need to worry about me anymore. I thank her and tell her she can leave. Licia softly asks if I am joining their second round. I shake my head. I will find an excuse and slip away. We do not have much in common anyway. Licia pouts a little. She asks where I plan to go. She offers to drive me there. When we reach the restaurant entrance, Lu Jun has already stopped 3 taxis. 4 people pile into the first taxi. 2 people get into the second. Another couple is about to climb in. That leaves 5 of us. Licia and me, Lu Jun and Lu Rian, plus 1 guy I do not know. Lu Rian speaks to Licia. She suggests the 5 of us squeeze in. They can ask the driver nicely. It will not take long anyway. Licia smiles. She says Chunemo and she still have something to do, so we can meet another day. Lu Jun sounds a little disappointed. He asks if we are leaving already. He wants us to hang out a little. After all, gatherings like this are rare. Lu Rian secretly pinches Lu Jun. She tells him to stop pushing. He should not force people. This is exactly the late-night snack rush. At night, they can deliver a few extra orders. She says not to waste our time. Ouch, thanks. I tell Lu Jun maybe next time. We are all in Kunming anyway. We can keep in touch and meet often. For now, we should head back first. Lu Jun reluctantly says goodbye. He offers to call us a taxi. He tells us to be careful on the road. Li Xia says no taxi is needed. She has not been drinking. Then Li Xia presses her remote key. The white Range Rover beside us flashes its lights. Then she kindly waves goodbye to Lu Jun. Lu Jun and Lu Rian's faces stiffen. Li Xia and I walk side by side toward the Range Rover. As I open the door, I hear Lu Rian behind me. Her voice is sour enough to pickle vegetables. She says this childhood friend of Lu Jun's is really something. He must have borrowed a car to save face. I do not hear what comes after that. Because I am already sitting in Li Xia's car, I lean back in the seat. I close my eyes. I cannot see my future, but I feel tears slide down my face. When life presses so hard I can barely breathe, I can only lick my wounds in the dark. I do not want Li Xia to see my tears, so I lower the window. I let the wind dry them for me. They vanish into the air. The car stops outside Paris' spring residential compound. I get out and say goodbye to Li Xia. Just as I am about to leave, Li Xia calls me back. She calls my name, Chinemo. She asks if she still owes me anything. I stop walking. I turn back and look at her. I shake my head and say she owes me nothing. She says that is good. A relaxed smile lifts the corner of her mouth. Calmly, she says goodbye. I sleep until the sun is high the next day. A phone call is what finally wakes me. I do not even check who is calling. Out of work habit, I answer. I say hello first. Li Xia's voice comes through the phone. She asks if I'm still sleeping. She asks how I can be this lazy. Half asleep, I ask. What my laziness has to do with her. She asks if I can do her a favor. I ask what it is, and she tells me to come to her company. She will tell me face to face if I want to refuse. She will not force me. I hesitate for a few seconds. Then I tell Li Xia to wait for me. I will arrive in half an hour. I add that her watchdogs had better behave. They cannot be allowed to bite me. Li Xia laughs, like I was really bitten before. In Li Xia's office. She is at her desk handling files on the computer. I walk up to her desk. I plant both hands on the tabletop. I look at her and ask what major problem requires my grand return to solve. Li Xia puts down her mouse. She leans back in her chair. She folds her arms across her chest. Then she looks at me. She says HR is interviewing several people today. She wants to ask me for help. Today, I will act as their HR supervisor. I should see whether these people are usable. I stare at Li Xia and ask if she is joking. She wants me to be an interviewer? Me? She says yes. Completely calm, she says she is not joking. The candidates have already arrived. If I am willing to help, I can start interviewing them now. Her assistant Xiaoru will assist me the whole time. Actually, being an interviewer is not hard. I only need to look at the candidates. If they feel right, they can stay for internship. If they feel wrong, I can reject them directly. Apparently, it is all based on feeling. Very scientific. I look at Li Xia in total confusion. I really cannot understand this. Why is she asking me to help with interviews? Does she have some special purpose? Li Xia's mouth curves into a puzzling smile. She stands and tells me to go. She says Xiaoru will take me to HR. Soon I will know why she asked me here. Curiosity dragging me by the collar. I follow Xiaoru to the interview room. Her files are lying on the table. Xiaoru explains the situation. Only these 4 people passed the first round. But the company can keep only 2 in the end. She tells me to review their files first. She will go out and make arrangements. She will notify the 4 to enter one by one. As for which 2 stay, I will make the decision. This is President Li's instruction. I open the first candidate's resume. 26, with 2 years of hotel management experience. A graduate of Southwest University of Political Science and Law. The second resume belongs to a girl from business administration. Her education is not especially dazzling, but her self-introduction is very modest. She seems like a very low-key girl. When I open the third resume, I am stunned on the spot. It is actually Lu Jun. I suddenly realize something. I hurry to open the 4th interview file. Sure enough, Lu Rian's photo is printed on it. Last night, they were excited at the dinner table, saying they had received a hotel interview invitation. They were practically glowing. So the hotel they meant is actually Kaidi International. And Li Xia asks me to interview them. What exactly is she playing at? I think it over for a moment. I seem to understand Li Xia's careful intention. After a short while, Assistant Xiaoru returns to the office. She tells me everything is arranged. She asks if the candidates can come in now. I nod. I tell Xiaoru to bring all 4 in at once. She repeats, all at once. Xiaoru looks a little surprised. A flicker of doubt crosses her eyes. She seems to wonder if I even know interviews. I insist yes. Let all 4 of them come in together. Since I have said it, Xiaoru stops questioning me. She opens the door and walks out. When she comes back in, all 4 candidates are brought inside. In front of the 4 of them, Xiaoru begins the introduction. She introduces me as Director Chen from HR. Which 2 stay today will depend entirely on Director Chen. After the introduction, she returns to the desk. She sits on my left. Her hands move over the computer. She records the interview live. Lu Jun blurts out my name. He cannot help calling Chen Fan. Shocked, he asks if his eyes are lying. I smile and nod. My gaze sweeps over the group. Lu Rian's face is bright with barely hidden excitement. She looks like Victory already has her name tag. I put on my interviewer act and ask them to sit. I say I have read their resumes. Passing so many interview rounds to reach here means they are already outstanding among the candidates. Even if they cannot take this position in the end, it still proves they are excellent. The company currently has only 2 openings. Lu Rian speaks proudly. She says it must be her and Lu Jun. That line earns a displeased look from the other man. Lu Jun quickly tugs Lu Rian. He quietly tells her not to talk nonsense. Then he turns to that man and apologizes. The other girl shows no reaction at all. It is as if she never heard Lu Rian. I pick up the water cup in front of me. I take a sip. Then I say the final interview question is simple. If their monthly salary is 5,000 and 3 housing options are in front of them, the first is a single room in an urban village with rent of 500. The second is an apartment room shared with others with rent of 1,000. The third is an apartment rented entirely alone with rent of 2,500. I ask how they would choose. Lu Rian answers first. She wants the apartment at 2,005. She wants a good environment. She wants independent living space. Then I ask Lu Jun. Lu Jun scratches his head and chooses an apartment, but one shared with other people. I turn my gaze to the third girl. Her name is easy to remember. She is called by Pei Pei. This is the first time I hear her voice. It is delicate and gentle. She answers carefully. She would choose a shared apartment. After all, living environment matters. Roommates should have similar income levels and similar values. They should be easy to talk to. It can even expand one's social circle. So sharing with others is pretty good. The last man answers firmly. He would live in the urban village. After all, 5,000 a month is not much. Instead of spending money on housing, he would rather spend it on networking. After all 4 finish sharing their thoughts, I turn to Xiaoru beside me. I say today's interview ends here. Xiaoru looks at me and asks, which 2 will stay in the end? I say it will be announced tomorrow morning. Everyone can go back and wait for the call. Xiaoru stands up. She thanks them politely. She says Director Chen's meaning is that today's interview ends here. As for which 2 will be hired, they will be notified by phone tomorrow morning. It depends on Director Chen's final choice. She thanks everyone again. She offers to see them out. She asks them to follow her. Xiaoru walks out first. The man follows right behind her. Then comes by Pei Pei. Once the first 2 are outside, Lu Rian suddenly rushes to my desk. Excited, she calls me Chen Fan. She asks if I was not a delivery rider. She asks why I am here. She says my interview was really great. She asks if she and Lu Jun can prepare to start work next week. The corner of my mouth lifts slightly. For once, I do not know what to say. Lu Jun pulls Lu Rian and tells her to leave. Then he asks if I am free tonight. He says I left too early yesterday. We did not get to drink properly. He asks what time I get off work. He says he will come find me. He wants to keep drinking tonight. I tell Lu Jun I will contact him after work. As they are leaving, Lu Rian holds Lu Jun's arm. She says with total confidence that his friend is actually HR director at Kaidi Hotel. She asks why he did not tell her earlier. She says Chun Fan is really capable. They should keep in touch more often. After all 4 leave the interview room, I sit there and think for a moment. Then I get up and head to Li Xia's office. When I enter, Li Xia is staring at the computer. I even hear my own voice. Seeing me come in, Li Xia smiles and says I did well. She says my final question was quite unique. A simple housing choice can reveal plenty. I frown. I ask if she saw everything. Li Xia turns her computer screen toward me. She says she was watching the live stream. Now she is watching it a second time. So that office has cameras. I am a little speechless. Is this distrust toward me? Just as I am about to speak, Li Xia explains first and tells me not to misunderstand. Their interview rooms always have cameras. Sometimes there are many first and second round candidates. They cannot decide on the spot. HR has to watch the recordings several times. Only then do they make the final decision. I give a small sound of agreement. Li Xia smiles and asks, which 2 I think should stay? I say by Pei Pei and Lu Jun. Li Xia asks for my reason. She asks if I am not keeping Lu Rian. Am I not afraid Lu Jun will fall out with me? Out of habit, I take out a cigarette. As I am about to light it, I realize it may be rude. After all, this is her office. So I put the lighter away again. Li Xia says it is fine. She does not mind people around her smoking. I thank her and light the cigarette. Then I say to Li Xia that I understand why she brought me here today. I thank her for thinking so carefully. Since she is treating me well, I cannot be irresponsible toward her either. Lu Rian thinks too highly of herself. She also lacks basic manners. She is not suited for serious training. Bai Pei Pei is a good person, whether in her resume or her words. She comes across as very humble, and her image is good. She has strong approachability. As for Lu Jun, although he lacks work experience, but his outlook on life is solid. Putting personal ties aside, I would still suggest keeping him. As for what she asked earlier, whether Lu Jun would be upset if Lu Rian failed, I can only say this. I will not use her kindness to me to do something bad for her company. That is why I did not announce the result. Who gets hired in the end should still be Li Xia's decision. Li Xia leans back and looks at me. She says she saw the resumes this morning and felt a little surprised. The coincidence was almost too neat. So she called me over. Through that interview, I can see it too. From delivery rider yesterday to HR director today, one simple identity change makes some people treat me completely differently. This society is painfully realistic. and people living in it can be painfully fake. I understand her good intentions. She wants me to regain dignity before my friend, but she also traps me in a deadlock. Lu Jun and Lu Rian both think I can decide whether they stay or go. Now things are awkward enough to file paperwork. Li Xia looks completely unconcerned. She says if I find it difficult, then just keep Lu Jun and Lu Rian. She says she does not mind. Kaidi Hotel already supports over 100 people. One more Lu Rian makes no difference to her. It all depends on what I do. I glance at Li Xia. I truly do not know what to say. I turn and walk toward the door. With my back to her, I tell her to play by herself. I am leaving. She had better not drag me into a pit. I am done playing this rich person puzzle. Li Xia calls me from behind and tells me to wait. She says if my best childhood friend cannot understand why I do not hire Lu Rian and breaks with me over this, then she thinks this friend may not be worth keeping. She says Lu Jun must know what kind of person Lu Rian is. Then she asks whether Lu Jun will be happy with such a fake girl. His future happiness is not a small matter. Of course, feelings are not for outsiders to judge, but when character is obvious, should I not say a word for my friend? I stand there. I listen to everything Li Xia says. I do not want to say more. I pull open the office door and walk out. Li Xia's voice comes from behind me. Since I have taken on this matter, she says I should produce a result. She does not want me quitting halfway, just like yesterday's dinner, which she hated but still stayed through. Tomorrow, I must announce the interview result. If I do not come, she will hire Lu Jun and Lu Rian. That would save my face before my friend. Li Xia's kindness throws a burning potato straight into my hands. I do not know how to face Lu Jun and Lu Rian. I can ignore Lu Rian's feelings, but I do not want to make Lu Jun suffer. Tonight's dinner may be painfully awkward. Even knowing it will be awkward, I still cannot run away. At 4:30 in the afternoon, Lu Jun calls me. He asks what time I get off work. I tell Lu Jun I am already free. He sounds especially happy after hearing that. He asks where we should meet. He wants us to drink properly today. I ask Lu Jun to come to Paris Spring. There is a very ordinary restaurant outside the compound. Tonight, dinner is on me. Lu Jun says he will come right away. After saying see you soon, he hangs up. What will happen tonight? I have no idea. Will over 10 years of friendship collapse here? Or become even stronger? I have no way to know. After all, we have both changed over the years. Our circles have drifted farther apart. Some words I do not know how to say. All I can do is pray. Great plan, right? At 5:30, Lu Jun and Lu Rian appear at the restaurant. I suddenly feel nervous. I want to protect this friendship, but I also cannot betray Li Xia's kindness. I am stuck between two walls. After the dishes are served, their conversation with me keeps circling around. Kaidi International Hotel. They ask what the environment is like inside. They ask about the pay. They ask how the whole company is structured. I do not know many of the answers, so naturally, I cannot answer them. I can only smile awkwardly and change topics. Lu Jun and Lu Rian both notice I am avoiding it. The dinner atmosphere stays half awkward the whole time. Everyone feels pressed down. The first to lose patience is Lu Rian. She holds her chopsticks. In a strange tone, she addresses Lu Jun. She says Chun Fan does not seem willing to let him work at Kaidi. I tell her not to think that way. I open my mouth. Whether they can work at Kaidi is not something I can decide. Lu Rian stresses her point. She says I interviewed them today. Apparently Xiaoru is the general manager's assistant. Even Xiaoru said I can decide their fate. So how can I claim I cannot decide? At this point, even the Yellow River cannot wash me clean. Lu Jun looks at me. Very sincerely, he calls me Chun Fan. He says this job matters to him and Rian. Although Kunming has several 5-star hotels, after comparing them, they feel Kaidi suits their growth best. I ask why. I look at Lu Jun in confusion. He said it himself. Kunming has so many 5-star hotels. Why must it be Kaidi? Lu Jun answers mysteriously. Since I work at Kaidi, he assumes I must have heard. Kaidi Group's boss, Li Dezhong, was in a plane crash in Hawaii. After failed treatment, he passed away. It is said the one managing Kaidi Hotel now is Li Dezhong's illegitimate daughter. She is making sweeping staff changes. She wants to build her own team. She also wants to establish authority. At a time like this, she needs more fresh blood. They chose Kaidi because they saw that opportunity. Heroes rise in chaotic times, Lu Jun says. He wants to take a shot with Rian. Instead of joining a calm company, he would rather enter a place full of power struggles. That is where he can prove his value. I understand Lu Jun's thinking. This is indeed a chance to show ability. But I really cannot hire Lu Rian against my conscience. I advise him as gently as I can. Actually, a stable work environment is good too. There are fewer schemes and headaches. Lu Jun looks at me and calls me Chun Fan. He speaks seriously. If possible, he asks me to keep him and Rian. He begs me, and my chopsticks suddenly weigh a ton. During the meal, I give Lu Jun no clear answer. I only tell them to wait for the call. I remember that scene in the abandoned warehouse. Li Xia said something to Li Jiahao. She promised she would take good care of him. If my guess is right, the illegitimate daughter Lu Jun mentioned is very likely Li Xia. After returning home, I walk to the balcony and call Li Xia. On the phone, Li Xia asks why I call so late. She asks what is going on. I say it is still about recruitment. Tonight, Lu Jun and Lu Rian treated me to dinner. What they said, she can probably guess. I think this joke should stop here. If it keeps going, it becomes too much. She has seen the interview recording. I believe she knows who should stay. Lu Jun and Bai Pei are the best choices. At least, that is what I think. I have to trouble her to clear up this misunderstanding. Li Xia asks me in a very unhappy tone. She calls me Chen Mo and starts the interrogation. She asks how well she kept her promise. I asked her to have dinner with me. She even skipped an important meeting for it. She says she hates dinner parties, but she still sat through mine. She even endured being treated like a delivery rider, and somehow swallowed it. Strong stomach. Because once she promises something, she says she always finishes it properly. Now I am the one who promised to help her. She asks if I plan to quit halfway. I ask her to stop messing around. I practically plead with Li Xia. I know she only wants to help me vent. I truly accept her kindness. But this has changed into something real. It is about to damage my friendship. Li Xia answers with full boss mode pressure. She says I can choose not to hurt anyone. I can hire Lu Jun and Lu Rian together. She has already given me that power. I ask if she can stop being so stubborn. The company is hers, after all. I ask if she is joking with her own business. She says no, not at all. On the phone, Li Xia sounds angry. Or maybe she is just trying to annoy me. Then she says it plainly. She claims this is revenge. Revenge for my disgusting joke about her lunch. She tells me to come to her office tomorrow morning. I must make the hiring calls myself. I have to notify 2 of them. They will report to HR and start work. Only then, she says, my promise to her is complete. If I admit I am a man, I should not quit halfway. Nice trap. Then Li Xia hangs up. I suddenly feel like I boarded a pirate ship, and somehow it has no exit. I lie on the bed. I wonder what I should do. A hard problem sits right in front of me. No matter what I do, it feels wrong. The next day, I am in Li Xia's office. I really dislike the way she looks at me. There is teasing in her eyes. Dangerous. A landline sits on the table. Li Xia sits across the tea table from me. She holds a cup of coffee. She looks far too relaxed for my suffering. I stare at the phone, tangled up inside. She tells me to make the call. Li Xia says it calmly. She says, taking a step back, even if I tell Lu Jun and Lu Rian now that I am not HR director, they will not believe me anyway. She asks if that is not true, and I stare at her. I ask angrily. I say maybe from the beginning. She never meant to help me regain confidence. She just wanted me stuck between 2 cliffs. I ask if I am right, and Li Xia's mouth opens. A flash of disappointment crosses her eyes. She says I can think whatever I want. Then she leaves the guest sofa. She returns to her desk. She is right though? If I tell them now that I am not HR director, Lu Jun and Lu Rian will not believe it. Since that is the case, what am I still hesitating for? I pick up the landline. I dial the internal extension. The call goes directly to Xiaoru. Holding the phone, I tell Xiaoru to notify Lu Jun. He has been hired. He should report on Monday. Xiaoru agrees, then asks from the other end. She asks who the second person is. The second person. That knife finally drops. I feel the phone trembling in my hand. Across from me, Li Xia never looks away. Xiaoru calls out from the phone. She asks Director Chun who else should stay. Lu Rian's name rises in my throat. It reaches my lips several times, but I still cannot say it. Xiaoru reminds me again from the phone. She respectfully calls me Director Chun. She says she is listening. No pressure, right? When I say Bai Pei's name, relief rushes through me. I realize my whole back is soaked with sweat. Xiaoru says she understands. She will notify Lu Jun and Bai Pei. They will report to HR on Monday. She says she will hang up if nothing else is needed. I am the first one to put down the phone. I lean back on the sofa. I stare up at the ceiling. Li Xia's footsteps come closer. She sits on the sofa across from me again. She calls me Chen Mo. She thanks me and says this was a test. I laugh dryly, because of course it was. I ask what exactly she was testing. I tell her not to comfort me with fantasy excuses. I am not a 3-year-old child. She did all this just for revenge. Revenge for the way I teased her. If I could, I would go back a few days. I would not lie about eating her food. The truth is, I never did it. Li Xia sounds completely unconcerned. She says that does not matter. The world has no rewind button. She is actually glad I told that lie. It gave us more chances to meet. Either way, she says she should apologize first. She should not have given me such a hard test. Before Li Xia can finish, my phone rings. Just as I expected. The call is from Lu Jun, my old friend. I answer, and Lu Jun asks me why. He asks if I can explain it. Li Xia is sitting right across from me. I cannot explain much here. So I tell Lu Jun I will call him later. He says he will wait. After that call, my mood sinks even heavier. Li Xia says she will apologize first. Then she will explain why she did this. Whether I forgive her or not. She thanks me for what I did today. I look at Li Xia in silence. There is faint guilt on her face, and some helplessness too. She says she gave me a huge problem. But at the key moment, I still thought of her. The company has had problems lately. Every department is being adjusted. She hopes to have people beside her who truly think for her. She wants to build her own team. Yesterday, asking me to help with interviews was simply meant to help me save some face in front of my friends. Even if I hired Lu Jun and Lu Rian, it would not have mattered much. For the company, it only meant one more intern. At worst, they could dismiss her after a month. At this point, Li Xia pauses. She carefully checks my expression. Then she continues, saying that during my interview yesterday, she watched the whole thing. She was surprised I did not choose Lu Rian on the spot. When I returned to her office, I told her Lu Rian was not suitable. She says she also thinks Lu Rian does not fit. As for the reason, she leaves it unsaid. Hearing me say that, she suddenly had a new idea. This hiring decision had to be completed by me. She wanted to see what I would choose. In the end, I did not disappoint her. I still stuck to the right choice. She knows this choice is hard for me. It may even break my friendship with Lu Jun. She wants to know why I still held firm. She asks if I did it for her. I raise a dismissive smile. I tell her not to overthink it. I have my own principles. I simply do not want to betray my own conscience. Li Xia happily says that is good. She says she needs someone like me. She suggests we have a proper talk. I ask what there is to talk about. I pull out a cigarette and hold it in my mouth. Li Xia cannot help frowning. I loudly tell her not to frown. I am not her employee right now. If I want to smoke, I smoke. She has no control over me. Finally, a tiny victory. Even if I were her employee, she still should not limit my freedom to smoke. She calmly says it is fine. Li Xia says it very calmly. She says I smoked in her office yesterday too. Apparently smoking wakes up my brain. Finally, medical research. Every position in the company is being reshuffled right now. She asks which department I want to enter. She asks which department interests me most. She asks what industries I've worked in before, and what experience I actually have. I say I delivered food, including the alleged food-stealing kind. Li Xia glares at me hard. She tells me she is being serious. She asks me to stop joking around. I say I delivered food and worked as a KTV waiter. I also hauled bricks on construction sites. The more I talk, the less confident I feel. Basically, I have done every bottom-level job there is. So if she truly wants to offer me work, Li Xia encourages me to say what I want. She says I can just speak up. She promises the salary will satisfy me. It will not be lower than my delivery income. I tell her not to underestimate me. Delivery can still make 6 or 7,000 a month. She offers me 8,000. So I say I will be a security guard. Li Xia's expression becomes impossible to describe. She stares at me for ages, then asks if I am serious. Of course, I press on. I ask whether security gets free meals and lodging, and whether there is an attendance bonus. I ask how the shifts are arranged. How many hours working, how many resting. With breaks, I can even read more books. Being a guard sounds pretty good to me. She tells me to start on Monday. She will have Xiaoru arrange my security post personally. The company provides food and lodging, but the room is a shared dormitory. Basically, I only get a bed. Still, it is enough for resting. As for the security department's shift schedule, she is not too clear on the details. The people below handle that. At this point, Li Xia checks the time. She asks me to have lunch with her. I ask first whether she is treating or I am. That earns me another giant eye roll from Li Xia. At noon, we eat at the hotel. Before I leave, Li Xia has Xiaoru bring me a security uniform. She tells me to wear it Monday and find Xiaoru. Xiaoru will arrange my position. I ask Li Xia again, does a security job really pay 8,000? Li Xia calmly says yes. Back home, I change into the uniform in my room. In the mirror, I look surprisingly sharp. While I am busy admiring myself, Lu Jun calls again. After I explain Li Xia's background to him, he finally understands everything. At 8 on Monday morning, I wear the uniform and find Xiaoru. She sizes me up and even calls me handsome. But I say the outfit is still pretty low-end. If I were in charge of uniforms, all guards on duty would wear tactical combat gear. Now that would be handsome. Unexpectedly, she laughs and says once I take office, I can change the security department's uniforms. Then she takes me to the second-floor security department. She knocks on the deputy minister's office door. The man inside scolds us without even looking up. He tells us to knock again properly. Xiaoru calmly calls him Minister Chow. She asks if we interrupted his game. He instantly panics, hides his phone, and stands. Xiaoru introduces me and Minister Chow to each other. She tells him to cooperate with my work as the new minister. After the awkward introductions, Xiaoru takes me to another office. This office is spacious and tidy. I never dreamed that a delivery rider from a few days ago would now have his own private office. Xiaoru hands me the key and says security is mine. If work gets difficult, I should contact her directly. She will have Minister Chow send over some files. This job has many little tasks. She tells me to work hard. I promise not to fail her or Li Xia. She wishes me a good first day, but before my seat even gets warm, someone knocks on the door. A guard at the door says arrogantly, Minister, a guest is causing trouble outside. He asks me to go handle it. I ask why that is not the lobby manager's job. Trouble from guests at Katy International Hotel apparently belongs to our security department. The guard, cigarette in mouth, sounds impatient. He says they blocked the parking lot gate with a car. They are standing there refusing to move. He was sent to ask me for a solution. When I rush over, I finally understand. A BMW is parked sideways across the exit. The owner curses, saying his car was scratched. The key problem is there is no footage. And of all places, his parking spot has a broken camera. How convenient. Minister Chow points at me and says I am the new minister. He tells them to relax, because I will explain properly. The owner explodes and asks if I am responsible. He demands an explanation, and asks exactly how I will compensate him. Well, fantastic. Less than an hour in, and they hand me a welcome slap, just as I am completely at a loss. A beautiful woman appears. She says she made the scratch. She mistook the BMW for her ex-husband's car. My first crisis is solved just like that. Minister Chow can only stare helplessly. But not long after I return to my office, Big President Li Mingquan arrives with Minister Chow, and several directors. Li Mingquan gives me one look, then coolly says to remove me. He wants Chao Yue made security minister. I am completely stunned. I just started the job, for heaven's sake. Luckily, Xiaoru and Li Xia walk in too. Xiaoru smiles and says the general manager arranged me personally. He wants to remove me just like that? She asks if that is appropriate. The suited man looks surprised and calls her Xia. He asks if she arranged me. Li Xia calmly says security complaints have been high lately. Removing the old minister did not solve the issue, so she personally arranged someone to handle it. She asks her brother if he has a problem. Li Mingquan immediately laughs and says of course not. But changing a department head should go through the board, he says. Li Xia stays neither humble nor pushy. She asks if even arranging an intern needs the board. There is no need for such trouble. They can meet later for a formal appointment. She thinks a disobedient deputy minister is optional and can be removed. Then she asks what her brother thinks. Chao Yue freezes in shock. He looks toward Li Mingquan. Xiaoru silently signals me not to speak. The man quickly says Chao will not be removed for now. The new minister is still unfamiliar with the work. He needs old Chao's support, so old Chao can help him for now. Li Xia tells him that they will do as he says. Chao Yue gets one more chance. Then Li Xia leaves with Xiaoru. As Li Mingquan walks out, he gives me a cold, deep look. Only later do I learn he is Li Xia's half-brother, Li Mingquan. After Li Dezhong died, he left the company to his illegitimate daughter, Li Xia. Li Mingquan seems to assist her on the surface, but he uses her staff changes to stir dissatisfaction among shareholders. His own popularity keeps rising. Li Xia's position is hanging by a thread. That night, I return home. Exhaustion hits me like unpaid overtime. I collapse on the sofa and fall asleep. Lin Fei is the one who wakes me. I also shamelessly mooch a meal from him. Since the stray dog helped clear our misunderstanding, we have become more and more familiar. After dinner, Chen Xiaojia's call wakes me again. He tells me to come drink at a bar. I happen to need some relaxation too, so I casually invite Lin Fei along. Unexpectedly, he actually agrees. Chen Xiaojia takes me into the bar. There are 3 men and 1 woman in the booth. They all look around 30. The woman has a graceful figure. Chen Xiaojia says I should call the men elder brothers. And this woman is Huajia. I raise my glass. I toast the 3 elder brothers. I also toast Huajia and Chen Xiaojia. Someone jokes about my uncle and Huajia titles, then asks who exactly my uncle is. I answer that it is Chen Xiaojia, obviously. I tell them Chen Xiaojia told me to call them elder brothers, but I cannot let them take that seniority for free, so I plan to drink a few extra rounds with them. Everyone bursts into laughter. Inihua tells Chen Xiaojia he is truly wicked. She says his nephew is even more interesting than him. Huajia offers to drink a cup with me. During our chat, I learn they are all fitness club coaches. Chen Xiaojia teaches Sanda there. Everyone drinks casually. Nobody pushes drinks on anyone. I really like this kind of atmosphere. Just as the conversation gets lively, Li Jiahao suddenly appears. He grabs a beer from the table and drains it. Panting, he calls Chen Xiaojia brother Jia. He says he finished 300 push-ups. I freeze on the spot. Li Jiahao grabs another beer and faces me. He says he wants to apologize to me. He says fighting led us to friendship. He says he will finish this bottle. He tells me to drink as I like, then tilts his head back. I look toward Chen Xiaojia. He smiles faintly and says Li Jiahao is his member. Apparently, Li Jiahao is learning Sanda from him. Li Jiahao finishes another bottle for me. He says he has never admired anyone before, but he truly admires brother Jia. He says everything before was a misunderstanding. He asks me not to take it to heart. The past can stay in the past. After all, we are all men here. I shift closer to Lin Fei. I raise my glass and toast him. Li Jiahao boldly finishes his 3rd bottle. While chatting, I ask which department he works in at Dikai. He shakes his head and says he dislikes working at Dikai. His sister also does not let him go there. I ask why, since Dikai is his family's company. His sister is the chairwoman and general manager. Li Jiahao sighs and says I can look down on him if I want. He says he has accomplished nothing since childhood. He dropped out before finishing high school and drifted around. He even argued with his mother. Only after his mother died did she tell them that their father was Li Dezhong. He treated them pretty well. He gave them quite a lot of money. At the beginning of this year, Li Dezhong died unexpectedly. He divided Dikai's shares into 3 parts. 1 part went to his sister, 1 to him, and 1 to their half-brother Li Mingquan. But he made Li Xia the chairwoman. She asked Li Jiahao to help out. But after 1 week at the company, he realized the people there were not friendly at all. He is used to being lazy and loose, and that became another excuse to attack his sister. So he simply resigned. The more he talks, the more emotional he gets. He lifts the beer bottle. He asks if I think he is especially useless. I clink my glass with his. I tell him not to think that way. If he cannot stand scheming and backstabbing, it means his nature is simple. For friends, I prefer people like him. I say I do not have many strengths, but I do value loyalty. Li Jiahao pats his chest and says we fought into friendship. From now on, I can ask him for anything. If he hesitates, he will call himself my grandson. We clink glasses and drink. Then I tell him, Li Xia arranged for me to work in Dikai's security department as a security guard. He says his sister really lacks tact. He says he will tell her tonight. He wants her to move me to another department. I say I chose it myself. He repeats that I chose it myself. With so many hotel departments, why pick security? I light a cigarette. I say helplessly that I know nothing else, so I start at the bottom. His sister has already treated me well enough. She directly made me head of security. I am already very satisfied. Li Jiahao gives 2 dry laughs and says honestly, someone must have messed with me on my first day. If not, he will drink 3 more bottles. Everyone's eyes land on me. I smile bitterly and say the deputy minister set me up. They ask what happened. Even the usually quiet Chen Xiaojia asks. I tell them everything from today. At the end, I add that Chen Xiaojia should not hit people over everything. This is not something violence can solve. I want to treat the job as a real challenge. If I cannot handle even this little thing, even I will look down on myself. Inihua nods. Hua Jie says she supports me. To survive in an environment, I have to adapt to its hidden rules. Violence cannot solve every problem. Chen Xiaojia, silent until now, suddenly speaks. He says I should break Chao's authority, then dismantle his team. That is how to solve the problem at its root. I repeat his words in my head, thinking through the details. It sounds easy. Doing it may be another mountain entirely. Yu Zhuang, sitting to Chen Xiaojia's right, laughs. He says the security department has dozens of people. They cannot all be loyal to Chao. Some only obey because of his power. If I show strength and attitude, someone will naturally switch sides. As the person in charge, personal charisma matters more than pressure. I just need to give them a chance to erupt. The more I think, the more sense it makes. This drinking session is not wasted at all. That night, I cannot sleep. I keep turning over the next steps in my head. I only fall asleep around 2 in the morning. In the morning, I message Li Xia first. I say I want to lead Dekai well. Whatever I do next in security, I hope she can support me. After the message goes out, I still get no reply by the time I reach the company. Naturally, my heart feels a little hollow, but the arrow is already shot. No pulling it back. After a simple meeting, sure enough, just as expected, not everyone is on Minister Chao's side. The young guard on duty when the camera failed is fired by me directly. Because of this, Chao Yue and I have a huge argument. Before long, someone from HR comes to find me. Li Mingquan disagrees with firing that guard. Luckily, Lu Xiaoru appears at the right moment. She tells the HR staff that President Li asked her to pass on a message. They should follow the security department leader's arrangement. The HR staff looks troubled. He says he will report back to the director. After he leaves, Lu Xiaoru smiles and says I can see it too. This is not just about firing a guard. It is a clash of the forces behind him. I take a deep breath. I say I understand. I am clearing rivals and building a team right away. Moving too fast may make people resent me. But she says she supports me. Suddenly, Lu Xiaoru's phone rings. She answers, says only a few words, then hangs up. She says this is blown up. The board wants to use it to trouble Xia. Xia wants me to get ready. She needs me. I ask what is going on. I ask Lu Xiaoru directly. Did I cause trouble for Xia? What does she need me to do? Lu Xiaoru explains. Li Mingquan is unhappy that I fired an old employee right after taking office. So he calls a board meeting. He wants to impeach Xia. The meeting is at 2 this afternoon. This began because of me, so I must be present. Whether I can turn the tide depends on me. I get a little nervous. Shareholders only care whether the company makes money. As long as I can convince most of them to support Xia, Lu Xiaoru says we will be fine. If we fail, Li Mingquan will push for a new general manager, maybe even a new chairperson. Xia cannot lose control of Dekai. I understand and take a deep breath. I prepare myself and wait for the notice. After Lu Xiaoru leaves, I go to Guofang Road to buy combat clothing. I choose a set costing over 1,000. It is light and breathable. Once I wear it, I look like special forces. My ego salutes. At the 29th floor conference room, I have barely walked in when one shareholder questions Li Xia unhappily. He says I look so young. Another older shareholder asks if I am reliable. He says lateness should have a reason. Since this meeting is being held, it is because of me. They want to hear exactly what I have done. Li Mingquan sighs and says it is nothing much. Just me firing an old employee on day 2. He says Xia is poor at hiring people, and now she is making big cuts. He says he worries about Dekai's future, so he wants to discuss company development and re-elect the general manager. That could not be more obvious. He is trying to remove Li Xia. As soon as Li Mingquan finishes, one shareholder says he invested to make money. Whoever has ability gets his support. Someone immediately praises that point. Another shareholder agrees that Dekai is not only the Li families. They respect the old chairman's will, but they support whoever is capable. Li Xia, Li Mingquan, or anyone else. Whoever convinces them wins their vote. Li Xia thanks everyone. She keeps her voice steady. She says she changed the security leader because complaints have been piling up lately. Then she asks Minister Chun to explain his view. I walk to the empty seat beside Li Xia. I scan the room. At noon, I bought this outfit on Guofang Road myself. I believe a guard's image is the hotel's image. Right now, the guards wear shirts and slacks. They look lazy and loose. That does not match Dekai. I plan to put every guard in combat uniforms. They will join daily training. I will lead by example. I will train with them and rebuild the department's image. As for firing the old employee, the situation is simple. I briefly explain what happened yesterday. A man who cannot even watch the monitors does not need to stay in security. I want to build an elite team. No more paid lounging. This is not a nap club. I hope everyone will support me. I am confident I can lead security well. I thank them, and the words barely land. An old man starts clapping first. Li Jiahao follows right behind him. The others also clap along. Then I apologize to everyone. I excuse myself first. Then I leave the meeting room. Back in my office, I find 6 or 7 self-recommendation letters on the floor, all from guards wanting to be team leaders. I am reading the letters. When Li Xia walks in, her face looks exhausted. I ask if the board meeting is fine. Li Xia forces a bitter smile and interrupts me. She says the board is fine. Everyone accepted my idea. They support me working in security, but they only give me a 1-month trial. Whether I can hold it depends on me. I speak softly. I thank her for giving me the chance. I say if I ever deliver food to her again, I promise not to steal a bite. That earns me a giant Li Xia eye roll. Li Xia stays in my office for over 10 minutes. After a few casual words, she leaves. I sort the recommendation letters. I lock the door, my blood running hot. But I know the road ahead will not be easy. When I get home, Chen Xiaojie calls about my day. I tell him everything honestly. He suggests I sideline Xiao Yue immediately. I should train 3 team leaders as my own people. Give them enough authority. Enough to stand against Xiao Yue. He explains that I am new here. I do not know the situation yet. Giving leaders real power makes them value the job. Chen Xiaojie's words wake me up. That night, I draft a management plan. The next day, when I reach the company, I select 3 team leaders. One of them is named He Dazhuang. He is a veteran. I am quite satisfied with him. In the afternoon, I hold a full department meeting, right in front of Xiao Yue. I announce the 3 team leader appointments. I stress that members must obey leaders absolutely. If leaders make mistakes, punishment doubles. Xiao Yue attacks me on the spot. He asks if I take him seriously at all. He says such a big matter should be discussed with him. Every guard's eyes gather on me. I smile lightly and remind him he is deputy minister, so he should discuss matters with me first. If anyone has work or life problems, they can report directly to their team leader, or report to Minister Chao. If neither side can solve it, the team leader can bring it to me. I end today's meeting there. Meeting dismissed. Xiao Yue's face turns blue with anger. After that, I find Lu Xiaoru to apply for uniform funds. She tells me it has to go through finance. After that little paperwork parade, I go to Guofeng Road to discuss purchasing. The next day, the military supply shop owner brings the goods himself. After counting the goods, I casually invite him into my office. He does not stand on ceremony. After following me inside, he actually locks the door. 2 men locking a door in broad daylight. My brain immediately runs down the wrong alley. Just as I wonder what he is into, he pulls an envelope from his pocket and places it on the desk. He smiles awkwardly and calls me Director Chun. He asks me to accept it. I ask what it is. The shop owner smiles and calls me Director Chun again. He says this is how the business works. His shop is small, with thin profits. He hopes I will look after him later. Next time, he can invoice a higher price and give me a bigger cut. I open the envelope. Inside is a stack of 100 yuan bills. I cannot pretend I am not tempted. My father needs money for dialysis every week. Back when I delivered food from dawn to midnight, money never came this easily. But my heart starts wrestling itself. One voice tells me to take it. It says this is just an industry rule. Another voice reminds me. Li Xia would be disappointed if she knew. After struggling for a long time, I decide to hand the money to finance. Earning trust is worth far more than this 10,000 yuan. Just as I am about to go out, team leader He Dazhuang calls. He says Team 1 is gathered behind the hotel. They are ready for their first training. I promised I would take part, so I casually put the envelope in the drawer. I change into combat gear and hurry over. After training with them for half an hour, I drag my tired body back to the office. I light a Hongtashan cigarette. After one puff, something feels wrong. I pull open the drawer. The envelope full of money is gone. I check both drawers again and again. There is no trace of the envelope. The office door lock is not broken. The window has anti-theft bars outside. The only possibility is someone else has a key. My back turns cold, and I contact He Dazhuang at once. I ask him to check the surveillance. I need to know who entered my office in that half hour. But the meeting room camera was already covered months ago, with chewing gum by the guards. Very professional, truly. In that half hour, 6 or 7 people entered the room. Every one of them is suspicious. Then Li Xia sends me a WeChat video. After opening it, my scalp goes numb. The video shows the shop owner giving me the envelope. The entire process and conversation are crystal clear. My office has a hidden camera, and I knew nothing about it. Wonderful. Even worse, Lu Xiaoru calls. She angrily says I went too far. 3 days in office, and I am already taking kickbacks. She says even if I wanted to take one, could I at least be careful? She asks if a donkey kicked my brain. The kickback video has spread through every department group. She asks how Xia is supposed to see me now. She asks what else I have to explain. I stand there frozen with the phone. I quickly try to explain. I ask Xiaoru to listen to me. I say I plan to hand the money to finance. Lu Xiaoru gives a cold laugh. She asks if I expect her to believe that story. I suddenly realize how ridiculous my explanation sounds. Honestly, if it were me, I would not believe money left in a drawer either. Not with a neat little excuse about handing it in. The call gets cut off in anger. After I watch the video in the work group, everything clicks at once. Great, mystery solved badly. Only embarrassment is left in the office. I light a cigarette. I no longer want to explain. Explanation is useless anyway. Then the HR director walks into my office. He directly tells me I am fired and should leave. The company keeps the right to pursue other responsibility. Fired on my third day in office. Honestly, even comedy needs better timing. After that, I sit dejected by the old town pool. I lift my beer and drink hard. Li Xia appears behind me at some point. She sits quietly beside me. I ask if she came for that 10,000 yuan. Li Xia says yes, then explains. Work has been heavy lately. She used to live near the old town with her mother. She often came here to walk with her. Today she comes back to remember. I say I disappointed her. I look into the distance and ask, right? I say I plan to hand the money to finance. Then I ask if she would believe that. I laugh at myself. Forget it. Who would believe that line? Li Xia asks if I got HR's notice. Her voice is very soft. I drink and say I got it. I also know Chao Yue secretly filmed me. The 10,000 in my drawer was taken by him too. She answers very calmly. She also knows he handed it to legal affairs. I laugh and ask if they will sue me for taking bribes. Li Xia comforts me by saying my name. She says she understands and tells me to let it go. I mock myself for how dramatic this is. I parachute into security as the wrong leader. I arrive full of ambition, chest puffed like a rooster. Then on day 3, bribery gets me fired. I know Chao Yue set me up. After all, I blocked his road. I thought I could actually do something. Instead, I played myself into a hole. Li Xia says maybe I am too young. She only wanted me to have a decent job. She did not expect it to become this mess. I stand and say this is not her fault. It is my own fault for being too naive. I thank her for saving me tonight. Then I carry half a bottle of beer. I stagger toward the exit. Suddenly, I want to escape this city, but I do not know where to go. I keep walking outside. A 6 or 7-year-old girl comes up to me. She looks adorable, and I have nothing better to do. So I buy her flowers and chat with her. Her grandmother is with her too. After talking with the old lady, I learn her daughter and son-in-law vanished after coming to Kunming. She brought 3-year-old Nyonyo here to search. 3 years have passed since then. They have slept in streets and alleys. Later, a flower field owner took them in. They live in a mud house and watch the field. They sell leftover flowers to survive. The little girl is sweet and sensible. I talk with the grandmother and child until late. I feel they are truly pitiful. Compared with them, what reason do I have to stay this gloomy? I leave my contact information with them. I plan to help however I can after going home. At home, Lin Yifei sits on the sofa, depressed. It turns out he has resigned. He cannot stand his boss's workplace games. I show him Nyonyo's photo. I tell him their story. He is moved by it. He wants to help Nyonyo with me. Then Li Jiahao calls and shouts for me. He asks where I am and tells me to come now. The place is Jinhua Fitness Club. He and Chen Xiaojia are both there. He says we can talk face to face. Then he rushes me and teases me. He says Chen Xiaojia is now his second brother. Chen Xiaojia is basically stealing family seniority again. The call ends amid laughter. I switch rides and hurry to the fitness club. In the rest area, Chen Xiaojia is smoking with his head down. The people from the bar are chatting nearby. Chen Xiaojia kills his cigarette and scolds me. He asks why I did not tell him I was trapped. He says he has told me so many times. If something happens, I should call him. I do not dare talk back. My pride is already limping. Yin Yihua steps in to smooth things over. She tells Xiaojia to say less. She says I just did not want to trouble him. Chen Xiaojia finally stops scolding me. He makes a call and tells someone to come up. Soon, a man walks in. Li Jiahao curses at the guy the second he arrives. Then he tells him not to be angry. The man says he did not expect it to get this bad. He smiles awkwardly and apologizes. I look up. It is the military supply shop owner from Guofeng Road. When he sees me, he quickly calls me Director Chen. He says he is truly sorry. That 10,000 caused me so much trouble. Chen Xiaojia tells him to stop apologizing. Solving the problem is the key. Chen Xiaojia speaks coldly. He tells the owner to go over the plan. The owner takes out a USB drive and places it on the table. The chat records and video are ready. Li Jiahao brings up a laptop. I am curious about the USB drive. After opening it, I am completely shocked. So this kind of trick exists too. The first file is a 2-minute video. The shop owner says to the camera that 1 day ago, someone added him on WeChat. That person asked him to send me 10,000 as a kickback. If he refused, the order would be returned. He thought I was using a secret account to demand it, so he did as told. Only after I was fired did he realize someone had set me up. That WeChat account has already blocked him. He also has chat screenshots as proof. The screen switches to WeChat screenshots. The last one shows he has been blocked. Li Jiahao explains. The WeChat avatar belongs to Chao Yue. The video and screenshots are meant to frame Chao Yue. He says I can return to Dekai anytime. This time, Chao Yue cannot wash it clean. He says second brother is still the best. I look at Chen Xiaojia. I know this is all his arrangement, but I lose interest in it. I say forget it, and not to frame Chao Yue. I do not want to return to Dekai's scheming world. My personality does not fit there. I can find work anywhere. Chen Xiaojia asks what I am afraid of. He questions whether I have gone soft. He says society never pities the weak. If my surname is Chun, I must climb up where I fell. I say our survival rules are different. He should not force his thinking onto me. I speak with a heavy heart. I only want a small, ordinary life. I do not need some huge achievement. Chen Xiaojia gets so mad, he grabs an ashtray. Yinihua and the coaches quickly hold him back. Yinihua tells me to stop talking. She says my uncle is still angry. Yinihua pulls me away. She says she will take me to lunch. She asks if I have eaten yet. Li Jiahao urges me to go before second brother breaks loose. He hurries me along too. Inihua drags me to a small restaurant. Lunch is gloomy enough to season the soup. When we say goodbye, Inihua asks if I really will not return to Dekai. I answer simply that I am not considering it for now. Then Li Jiahao calls. He says all the evidence is ready. He asks what I am afraid of. I say I am not afraid. I just dislike that kind of environment. He asks if I am willing to be misunderstood and willing to let his sister keep suspecting me. He says seriously that I did take the 10,000. I also claimed I meant to hand it to finance. He says nobody would believe that, even if his sister did not argue. She may just think 10,000 is not a big deal. I do not really know what she thinks. I freeze. I have never thought of it that way. He says his sister has it hard. Dekai has many shareholders. She and Li Mingquan fight in the open and dark. She needs people around her she can trust. Li Jiahao tells me to think it over carefully. Li Jiahao says he will wait for my message anytime. He says Chao Yue must be removed. To him, Chao is a threat to his sister. I do not answer that. I only say I need a few days. I need to figure out what life I actually want. That evening, Lini Fei and I carry flyers printed with Nyonyo and her grandmother. We find Nyonyo and her grandma. After discussing it, our idea is simple. Helping sell flowers only helps for a moment. The real goal is helping them find family. Lini Fei squats and hands Nyonyo a flyer. He tells her we will give out flowers tonight. The flowers will be free. We only hope people will read the flyer and take photos to post on Moments. He says we will also take a photo of her. Then he asks if she understands. Nyonyo nods hard. Tiny boss reporting for duty. After a whole night of effort, the result is obvious. Kind passersby reposted on Moments. Some film Nyonyo and her grandma for the internet. Many good people even want to donate. Since the old lady has no smartphone, Lini Fei collects 3,000 yuan for them. Afterward, he withdraws it and gives it to grandma. We imagine Nyonyo meeting her parents again. But what comes is terrible news instead. A local lifestyle media account publishes an article. It insists Lini Fei bought off Nyonyo and grandma, then used the chance to scam money. Because Lini Fei collected the donations, and the video caught his face. While I stood on the far edge, only my blurry outline shows up. He becomes everyone's target in an instant. People dox him online. They even expose his identity and job. All I can do is keep comforting Lini Fei. Lini Fei chokes in my arms and asks me, what is wrong with this world? Why is doing good without reward so painfully hard? I comfort him and say it will be okay. I say we should find Nyonyo and grandma. We need to know how they are now. The truth will come out eventually. But the moment we step out, we become street rats. People curse us. Some even put hands on us. To protect Lini Fei, I get beaten until my mouth is full of blood. Lini Fei breaks down crying. He says he is tired. He asks if we can go home. In the end, we do not find Nyonyo. So the two of us turn off our phones. As if that can make us vanish from the world. We try every method we can think of. We post clarification articles. We call the evening papers at hotline. But none of it works. We sit on the sofa in despair. Then one day, several self-media reporters arrive with cameras. After a round of interviews and questions, Lini Fei and I hope they can clear our names. Instead, a bigger nightmare arrives. Around 3 in the afternoon, another public account posts an article even harder to accept. The article includes a video. It is footage of that woman interviewing us. But the whole thing uses a voiceover. Our faces are lightly blurred. Viewers can only tell that our mouths are moving under the blur. But every word is dubbed. The dubbed content is outrageous. It says Lini Fei and I admit using Nyonyo's story. It says we were scamming money. It says we knew grandma had no WeChat. So we acted on purpose and used our own QR code to collect money. At the end of the video, we are made to apologize to everyone and beg for forgiveness. Even worse, the second section has another video. It interviews grandma and Nyonyo. They have no idea what happened. Facing the camera, they keep thanking Lini Fei and me. Even through the screen, I can see grandma and Nyonyo are truly happy. They are speaking from the heart. They are thanking Lini Fei and me. The two videos create a brutal contrast. It stirs up the audience's emotions. The repost count keeps climbing. But the article's story claims Lini Fei and I hid everything from grandma and from Nyonyo. It says we used their story for our own profit. What I cannot accept most is that this account has over 30,000 followers. It spreads the matter instantly. In just over an hour, views pass 100,000. Reposts also pass 100,000. The comments below are unbearable. Lini Fei's tears keep falling. Beside me, he quietly asks me, can I tell him? What is wrong with this world? Why are they treating him like this? Did we do something wrong? I have no answer. I hold Lini Fei tightly. I comfort him and tell him to wait. Just wait. It will get better. Lini Fei says softly that he is tired. He says he wants to sleep for a while. I watch Lini Fei walk into the bedroom. His back looks so lonely. Inihua also calls to comfort me. She says Chen Xiaojie is already checking for me. That local public account is run by people in Kunming. They are using this matter for heat, all to raise their own profile. But none of us expects Lini Fei to use the simplest, most final way to end his pain. When the police break in, I am in Lini Fei's room. They find a final letter he left. I want to look at it, but the police seal it in a plastic bag. I am also taken away as a suspect. In the statement room, I explain how I met Lin Fei and why he died. I tell them everything. Before I know it, 2 hours pass. During those 2 hours, the officer gives me his whole pack of cigarettes. He even gives me a bottle of water. When I talk about why Lin Fei jumped, I choke up several times and cannot continue. The female officer taking notes is in tears too. I do not want to sound dramatic, but every word is true. Officer Qin Mu, who has stayed quiet, hands me the completed statement. Choking up, she tells me to read it. If there is no issue, I should sign below. I do not carefully read what she wrote. I sign my name underneath. Then I look at the police. I say the local account. Push Lin Fei to death. The people running that account cannot escape responsibility. I beg them to clear his name. The female officer nods. Then she takes out her phone and hands it to me. She says the original farewell letter cannot be given to me for now. She can only take photos of it. And let me look. I take her phone. On the screen, I see a letter. It is Lin Fei's final letter before he jumped. Only after reading it do I learn. Lin Fei's life was also this painful. His father had an affair and abandoned the family. His mother could not bear it and also passed away. At 16, he became a child with no home. After reading it, I am sobbing. I collapse on the table and cry. The phone slips from my hand. I do not even notice. Officer Qin Mu bends down and picks it up. She comforts me and tells me not to worry. She says she will find the operators of those 2 accounts and give him justice. I roar back at the word justice. I ask what justice means now. He is already dead. What use is justice now? I ask where they all were earlier. After I realize I have lost control, I stop saying anything. I look into Qin Mu's eyes. I tell her I want to see Lin Fei. Qin Mu asks where he is, then tells me to trust her. She says I definitely would not want to see him like that. She wants me to keep his best side in my heart. Then she suggests we do something else instead. She reminds me that I said a self-media person came today to interview us at our place. She says she can help me find the account operator. After Qin Mu works her keyboard magic, she quickly finds the public accounts. Verified registrant name. His name is Zhu Dalong. He is the one who interviewed Lin Fei and me. Qin Mu keeps working on the computer. Soon she finds that the local account belongs to an advertising company. The company's legal representative is Tian. We keep searching Tian in the police system. This time, the woman on the screen is the woman who interviewed us today. If I were not holding my temper, I might have punched the screen. Bad plan, but honest. Then Qin Mu makes a phone call. She confirms their BMW X5 plate number. She also gets the car's exact location. I tell Chen Xiaojia what we found. Then I head to their location with Qin Mu. I never expect Qin Mu to help this much. She says Lin Fei was a kind girl. A girl like that makes people ache for her. Qin Mu does not want her to leave wronged. On the way, Qin Mu tells me to hold her back. She worries she might do something over the line. That answer catches me completely off guard. Half an hour later, we find Tian BMW at Fanqing Bar. Qin Mu and I are finding a parking spot while staring hard at the BMW. Then Tian and Zhu Dalong appear. The moment I see them, I tell Qin Mu to stop the car. I say they are right there. Qin Mu is calmer than me. She asks why we should stop here. She wants to block the BMW's front directly. She asks if I am afraid they will run. Qin Mu drives straight toward the BMW. Suddenly, 2 white beams appear ahead. High beams, so bright my eyes nearly resign. Then comes the roar of an engine and the sharp sound of sudden braking. The next second, someone screams. Then the car with the high beams flashes past us. The whole thing takes barely 10 seconds. When that car leaves, our vision finally returns to normal. But Tian and Zhu Dalong are gone. Qin Mu and I both freeze. 2 living people just vanish like a bad magic trick. Qin Mu quickly shifts into reverse. She wants to chase them. The car that just flew past us is already gone when we turn around. We cannot even see its taillights. After we get out, we see 2 people on the ground. Zhu Dalong lies by the roadside. He still has a little awareness. Tian is completely unconscious. It is a crash witnessed by many people, and the driver actually flees the scene. I never imagined Chen Xiaojia would vent for me this way. I am stunned on the spot, but I also feel this still cannot equal Lin Fei's death. Right then, Qin Mu asks to check my phone. She suspects I arranged all this. I guard my phone like it is my last rice bowl. I say she has no right to check my things. Besides, a phone is private. While we argue back and forth, a familiar voice sounds beside us. Qin Mu and I turn at the same time. Li Xia arrives with several people. She speaks to Qin Mu very politely. She introduces herself as Dikai International Hotel's general manager. She says I, Chen Mo, belong to Dikai. She wants to take me back to the company. She says there are matters to handle. Qin Mu looks a little stunned. She stubbornly lifts her chin. She stresses that I am now a suspect, so I must return to the station with her. Li Xia's mouth curves slightly. Her aura turns the air into polished steel. She asks if suspects can be taken from stations freely. Then she asks who Qin Mu is and what her identity is. Qin Mu realizes Li Xia is making things hard. Her tone changes. She says she is following orders from above. She is taking a suspect to carry out a task. She says Li Xia can check her identity. She says she is police. Li Xia asks what right police have to detain citizens. She says citizens have personal freedom. She suggests Qin Mu speak with Dikai's legal counsel first. Then she asks if that is necessary. Qin Mu is so angry she cannot speak. This is also my first time seeing Li Xia talk to someone like this. Li Jiahao once told me, his sister never shows joy or anger. He said she was deep, very deep. Today, I finally see it. Qin Mu seems a little too young for this match. Aside from her bold, honest temper, she really has no hidden layers. Li Xia looks at me. She calls me Chinemo. She tells me to go back with her first. Any problems can go through company lawyers. Qin Mu calls my name loudly from behind. She says she knows she cannot stop me, but she asks me to promise her something. If they need me these 2 days, I should come to the station at once. She promises they will not waste much of my time. Keeping me at the guest house was to protect me. Honestly, from the station until now, Qin Mu has treated me well, including using her own methods to find Zhu Dalong and the others. I look at Qin Mu and nod. I tell her to call when she needs me. I say I will come whenever called. After getting into the car, I find Li Jiahao acting as the driver. Lu Xiaoru sits in the front passenger seat. Li Xia and I sit in the back. Once I get in, Li Jiahao pokes his head over. He excitedly calls me Chinemo. He asks if I expected this. I ask what he means. He says, of course, what Chen Xiaojie did. He did not expect Chen Xiaojie to be so clean. He says he was still planning a beating. Before he finishes, Li Xia tells him to drive. Li Xia instructs Li Jiahao. She tells him to send us over. She wants to talk with me alone, inside a luxury hotel suite. Only Li Xia and I remain in the huge room. Li Xia places a glass of water before me. She tells me to drink some water first. She says she has heard about recent events. She will use every connection to help me clear things up. I say the truth no longer matters. I look out the window and tell Li Xia, even if everyone realizes they were wrong, for Lin Yifei, nothing can be saved anymore. I smile bitterly. I say I have already let many things go. So what if people misunderstand me? After hearing me, Li Xia calls me Chinemo. She tells me not to be like this. She knows I am in pain now. She says if it were her, she would be heartbroken too. She tells me to pull myself together. She admits she does not know how to comfort me, but no matter what, she will do her best to help me. I look at Li Xia and ask why she helps me. We are just friends who met by chance. Li Xia shakes her head and looks at me. She says she does not know either. Maybe I feel strangely familiar to her. She tells me to rest here tonight. She has a meeting early tomorrow morning. She tells me to sleep early. I watch Li Xia walk out of the room. Then I take out my phone. I delete several WeChat messages with Chen Xiaojie. I lie on the bed like a corpse, trying to sleep. But I find I cannot sleep at all. So I decide I might as well go home. Only when I return do I discover Lin Yifei's room has been sealed. I find a bag of rice and pour some into a milk pot. I stick 3 cigarettes in it before his door. Late at night, Qin Mu calls and says Zhu Dalong reported me. He suspects I caused the crash. So I need to return and cooperate with the investigation. I sneer that when Zhu Dalong got hit, I was in Qin Mu's car. She was the one driving. I ask if this still needs investigating. Qin Mu snaps at me. She says even she suspects I am involved. She reminds me I promised to come when called. She asks whether I will come myself or wait for them to drag me in. Charming options. I return to the police station. Qin Mu is drinking coffee in the duty room. 2 officers from the North District Station sit beside her. She says they want to ask me some questions. No formal statement this time. The officer says Zhu Dalong claims I threatened him. I deny it and say heaven sees what people do. I admit I snapped and asked why the car missed him. I ask if that counts as illegal. My mouth needs brakes. Then I explain Zhu Dalong and Tian Yifen's malicious interview. I say it pushed Lin Yifei to jump. At the end, I add, maybe Lin Yifei's wrong spirit came for payback. Qin Mu cuts in. She says she can testify. At the time, I was in her car. She says she was moved by our story. So she privately took me to North District for fish. We just happened to meet Zhu Dalong. The ghost revenge part is, sadly, not official evidence. She says it was only coincidence. The officer says I do have a motive, so they cannot rule out instigation. I will need to cooperate later. I say they can call me anytime. After that, I invite Qin Mu for late-night food. We talk about a lot. She really is a decent person. Even while suspecting me, she still helped me just now. Life loves contradictions. After the late meal ends, Qin Mu arranges for me to stay at the guest house. The next morning, Qin Mu's urgent knocking wakes me. She says Lin Yifei's final letter went online last night. Today, the Times has also reported it. Provincial and city TV stations are watching the case. She tells me to prepare for reporters. Nyonyo and her grandmother have also arrived. Both of them are heartbroken. Once they see me, they keep crying. Then Grandma kneels before the media with her ID. She tells how Lin Yifei and I helped them. She explains everything from beginning to end. At last, the truth comes out. Because Lin Yifei's father and relatives cannot be reached, the police help arrange his funeral. His ashes were meant to stay at the crematorium. I truly cannot afford a grave. In the end, Nyonyo's grandmother buries him back home. She accepts him as her granddaughter. My heart just folds. 3 days later, Qin Mu asks to meet me. She tells me Tian Yifan did not survive. She asks again whether the crash has anything to do with me. I stay calm and ask if police now bluff suspects. Qin Mu shows no expression. She tells me to have the driver hide for a while. The car's route has already been traced. If they keep digging, they will find the person. After saying that, she leaves. I wrestle with whether to warn Chen Xiaojie, but I fear Qin Mu is only testing me. After thinking it over, I decide to find him at the gym in person. I tell him Tian Yifan died in the hospital. and give him the news straight. He is shockingly calm. I lower my voice and tell him to hide for a few days. Chen Xiaojie says nothing. I remind him. I am already under suspicion. Police may follow the trail back to him. He lights a cigarette. He sits in the rest area. He lowers his head in silence. I can tell he is afraid too. After all, someone died. He asks how I became a suspect. I say I called him to report dojoanime's location, which Qin Mu discovered. She suspects I leaked the location. That night, she wanted to check my phone. Luckily, Li Xia arrived in time. Today Qin Mu told me dojoanime died. She told me to tell the driver to hide. The surveillance route has been found. Chen Xiaojie looks up and stares at me. His eyes are full of confusion. He asks if she knows it was him. I say she only told me to pass the warning. Chen Xiaojie finishes his cigarette. He stands up and says, I should not worry. At most, it is hit and run. He says it will not be a death sentence. Whether they find him is still uncertain. I expose him. I say he knows they will find him eventually. He glances at me. He tells me to stop worrying. He tells me to find a steady job and earn more money for my father's treatment. He sent 5,000 yuan home the day before yesterday. If he really goes in, the burden of earning money falls on me. Looking at his forced calm back, I suddenly feel like crying. Life has never been gentle to anyone, but we still have to grit our teeth and stand. Chen Xiaojie tells me to hold it in. He tells me to act like a man. He asks what is so useful about red eyes. He says the Santana had fake plates. He also wore a mask. Whether they find him depends on whether Qin Mu talks. I look up and ask if it is that serious. Right now, only she can connect my leaked location to Chen Xiaojie. Chen Xiaojie analyzes it calmly. He asks how likely she is to keep investigating. I say I do not know. I light a cigarette. I lower my head and take a drag. I have not known her long, but I can feel she has a sense of justice. She is also blunt. Chen Xiaojie stays silent for a moment. Then he stands and tells me to go do my own things. He says I should call my parents more. He says it like nothing matters, but it sounds like final instructions. That day, I get a call from Qin Mu. She says Nyonyo's father has been found, but the bad news is, he refuses to admit Nyonyo is his child. Nyonyo's mother is still missing. They have notified everyone to meet at the station. She worries the scene may turn ugly, not just a little ugly. She asks me to come if I have time. After all, I did most of the work. Half an hour later, I arrive at the police station. A flashy red BMW X6 is parked outside. Qin Mu introduces it. She says it belongs to Deng Qiming. He is Nyonyo's father. I ask how a BMW X6 driver lets his daughter suffer like this. Qin Mu says it is complicated. The political commissar is talking sense into him. Qin Mu says, the officers bringing Nyonyo and Grandma are almost here, so we should wait in the chief's office. What we do not expect is, after Nyonyo and Grandma arrive, Deng Qiming is unbelievably cold. Grandma looks at Deng Qiming and asks about Cuilan. She asks where Cuilan is. Deng Qiming sighs and calls her mom. He says Cuilan divorced him 3 years ago. He asks if she did not know. Grandma is completely stunned. All of us are shocked too. Deng Qiming continues with a dark face. He says they divorced by agreement 3 years ago. Cuilan took custody of Nyonyo. He takes out the divorce certificate and puts it on the table. After the divorce, they lost contact. He thought she was living well with them. Then he takes a tissue. He wipes the corner of his eye. Grandma asks how this could happen. Her expression goes blank. She keeps asking where Cuilan went. How could there be no news for 3 years? Afterward, Deng Qiming takes Nyonyo away. Grandma leaves too. At noon, Li Xia suddenly asks me to eat. She says she wants to talk about her brother. Li Xia pours red wine. Casually, she asks if Chen Xiaojie is my relative. She notes that I call him second uncle. I say he is my grandfather's adopted son. She asks if I know what he usually does. I suddenly realize she probably knows something. Thinking back to the crash that night, she and Li Jiahao appeared at just the right time. Was that really just coincidence? I let out a breath. I look at Li Xia and ask what she wants to discuss. I tell her to speak directly. She says it is nothing much. She just wants to know more about Chen Xiaojie. Li Xia smiles faintly and says her parents left early. She admits she has not cared enough for Li Jiahao. Now he is close to Chen Xiaojie, so she wants to judge his character from the side. I stay silent a few seconds, then tell her not to worry. Chen Xiaojie's character is not the problem. He just carries a heavy street vibe. Extra seasoning. Li Xia raises her glass and clinks mine. Casually, she asks whether Chen Xiaojie has been jailed. She asks what it was for, then asks if he ever hit someone with a car. That sentence hits my tightest nerve. I stare into her eyes. She looks right back, not dodging at all. Her eyes feel like they are forcing a confession. I take out a cigarette and light it. I use the motion to catch my breath. I admit he has been in jail, and not just once. Back in school, he was a police station regular. A few years ago, a fight got him 6 months. But I never heard of jail for a crash. She tells me to eat something. Li Xia changes the subject right on time. She says this grilled fish is quite flavorful. After a pause, she says Li Jiahao is her only family. She does not want him getting into trouble. She asks me to talk to Chen Xiaojie. He should stop bringing Li Jiahao along. I understand and lower my head. I do not want to look at her face, even if she is beautiful. Right now, that beauty feels unfamiliar. Li Xia asks if I still have no job. She asks if I want to return to Dekai. I cut her off and say no. After Lin Yifei's incident, the landlord has taken the room back. I need to find a place to live first. Then I will find work nearby. This meal feels suffocating. Afterward, I refuse the driver's ride. I call Chen Xiaojia. I ask how many people knew about that crash, and why Li Jiahao and Li Xia were nearby. At first, Chen Xiaojia does not want to say. Only after I push does he confess. When I called him, he was training Li Jiahao in Sanda. When he went out, Li Jiahao followed by car. In North District, Li Jiahao lost him. While searching around, he ran into the crash scene. Li Xia came to pick Li Jiahao up for dinner, so she also saw the scene. She must have guessed the truth long ago. She simply did not say it. I realize Li Xia also knows. But unlike Qin Mu, she is not driven by raw justice. She just does not want Chen Xiaojia ruining Li Jiahao. So I am not worried she will report him. That afternoon, with Lu Chang's help, I moved to the second floor of a bar in Guandu Old Town. There is a small yard behind it. Out the back door of the bar is a winding staircase. Very cinematic, very broke. The landlord is called Old Zhou. The bar downstairs is also his. Business, however, is as quiet as a library. After showering, I'm just about to rest. Then an unknown number calls. It is the police asking me to cooperate. Still about that crash. Of course. At the North District Station, an officer shows me Zhu Dalong's report. He says I threatened Zhu Dalong at the scene. I admit it plainly. Zhu Dalong smeared Lin Yifei and me. The crash only hurt bodies. He trampled our reputations. He wounded our hearts. So yes, saying harsh words made me breathe easier. The officer asks how long after the crash I arrived. 1 minute or 2. I say I cannot remember. I heard someone shout. So I went over to watch the commotion. They ask where I was before it happened. I say I was in Qin Mu's car. We were looking for parking nearby. They asked why we were nearby. After Lin Yifei jumped, Qin Mu stopped me from seeing his body. She said barbecue might distract me. They asked if Qin Mu was with me at the time. She drove, and I sat in the car. The officers whisper to each other. Then one stands and thanks me for cooperating. He tells me to keep in touch. He asks if I plan to travel soon. I ask if I cannot leave Kunming. He says he is just asking. Sure. Very casual. I walk out of the station, but I do not leave right away. I keep feeling Qin Mu will come. Half an hour later. Sure enough, she drives up. I hide in the dark. Then I look up and see cameras everywhere. Seeing all those cameras, my guilt meter instantly explodes. My mind goes blank. Do I go out to meet Qin Mu, or keep hiding like a guilty raccoon? After a few seconds, I decide not to show myself. Once I appear, the police may think we coordinated stories. Checking cameras would show I never left. I watch Qin Mu enter the station. I pray she does not say the wrong thing. My heart pounds hard. If our reason for going to North District does not match, the consequences will be ugly. I even want to run, but I have nowhere to run. 40 minutes later, Qin Mu comes out and gets in her car. My phone rings immediately. She says she sees me. I ask if she is in the car. I speak first, trying to sound normal. She asks why I have not left. I say I thought they would summon her too. So I waited a bit longer. She says I am feeling guilty. I ask what I have to feel guilty about. I claim I am only curious. She tells me to stop talking and wait at the next crossing. She will pick me up. Qin Mu hangs up. Honestly, I am guilty, but I refuse to look scared in front of her. Before getting in, I buy 2 bottles of Coke. A classic distraction tactic, 5 yuan version. A few minutes later, Qin Mu drives over. I take a deep breath. I get in and hand her a Coke. I say I know she prefers Coke. Qin Mu rolls her eyes at me. She takes the Coke anyway. She says I even need courage to get into her car. That, she says, is guilt talking. For once, I have no comeback. A detective's sensitivity really is built different. I tell her it is good she knows. I act calm and say girls being too sensitive is bad. I mention a news story from days ago. A man's shirt had lipstick on it. His wife made him kneel on a keyboard. Turns out it rubbed on during a crowded bus ride. I say he was wronged, but she tells me not to dodge. She asks why I feel guilty. I deny it. Qin Mu is annoyingly hard to fool. When I deny it, she gives a cold laugh. She says during her statement, they asked why she went to North District. She asks if they asked me the same. She asks what I said. I chase the answer too eagerly. She asks if I still claim I am not nervous. Qin Mu throws the question back. She says I called a number ending in 44. For 3 minutes. She found it. I ask if she investigated me. She snaps that of course she did. Otherwise, how would she explain anything? She asks if I thought denial made her blind. I say that was Chun Xiaojia's number. With such a big incident, I called him. I raise my voice to cover my guilt. Qin Mu gives me a dismissive look. She says if she wanted to check, she would have verified the owner already. They asked why she went to North District. She said she went to eat. She said she took me there herself. She asked whether they asked what I ate. I say they did, and I said I forgot the exact promise. I said she only mentioned good food in North District. I pat my chest in relief. Good thing I said barbecue to ease my mood. Qin Mu smiles smugly. She says I basically admitted it. I tell her not to trick words out of me. Her smile gets even brighter. Terrifyingly bright. Qin Mu tells me not to lie to her face. She says she may be police, but her justice stands on morality, not just the law. She says Zhu Dalong and Tian Yifan deserved it. They wronged Lin Yifei. They built profit on another person's pain. Living on would only let them hurt more people. I have to look at Qin Mu differently now. Her words move me. They also make me feel glad for Lin Yifei. Then she says she may need my help soon. Just like that, the topic turns. She has investigated Deng Qiming and missing Cuilan. She has found many suspicious points. Suelon's disappearance and divorce both feel strange. I tell her I will do my best. Deng Qiming's current wife is Deng Jing. She is Dikai's finance director. Qin Mu knows I am close to Dikai's general manager. She asks if I can check his work from inside, and also his marriage situation. She says I can forget it if it is too much trouble. I tell her to wait for my news. Honestly, this is not hard. Because of the crash, I have no heart to job hunt anyway. When old Zhou has business, I help around the bar. At least it earns pocket money. Survival has rent. The next day, I invite Li Xia to the bar. I plan to talk to her about Deng Jing. I ask if she knows about Nyonyo's story online. Nyonyo's real father is Deng Qiming, and he is Deng Jing's current husband. Li Xia asks what this has to do with Nyonyo. 3 years ago, Deng Qiming and Suelon came to Kunming. After they finalized the divorce, Suelon disappeared. Deng Qiming claims she ran off with a rich man, and she only wanted Nyonyo. Li Xia frowns and catches my meaning. She asks if Suelon planned the divorce early. Maybe she used the house purchase, divorced, then ran. I am startled that Li Xia sees deeper. Women really are sharp. My brain salutes. I say it is probably like that. I pour a cup of coffee. Deng Qiming vanished for 3 years. Now he drives a million-yuan BMW X6. His rise must be tied to Deng Jing. Deng Jing is Dikai's finance director. I ask if she does not find that suspicious. Li Xia says that still proves no abuse of power. She thinks it is too hasty. I say we will know after checking. I pretend to stay calm. I say I want to investigate them. Not only because of Deng Jing, but also because of Suelon. She has been missing 3 years. A mother. How could she ignore her daughter and mother for 3 years? Nyonyo was all over moments days ago. There is no way Suelon saw nothing. Li Xia sips wine and says she understands. She asks how she should cooperate with me. She says she knows what I am thinking. She says it casually, like dropping a chess piece. The company is chaotic now. She and Li Quanming look united, but are not. Their open and hidden fights are fierce. Her father left the company to her, not just out of guilt, but because Li Quanming has character problems. Mistresses, gambling, the usual rich man disaster menu. The shareholders all know. Recently, hotel complaints keep increasing. Service supplies are failing quality standards. Li Quanming handles procurement. Deng Jing manages finance. If I want to check Deng Jing, Li Xia says she supports me. She says I need recent financial details. She will send them privately. Every major expense passes through Deng Jing. I ask foolishly whether every expense has a finance record. It is only divided among departments. She sounds very certain. I ask for 3 months first. I pause a little. Then I take a small sip of coffee. I admit my suspicion. Nyonyo's mother may have been killed by Deng Qiming. Li Xia nods slightly. She tells me to investigate, and she will support me. She says I once cleaned up Dikai's security well. The guard's image improved a lot. If only I had not left in anger. She asks if Li Jiahao mentioned it too. I smile bitterly and shake my head. Scheming workplaces are not for me. She says every workplace is like that. The key is how I understand it. She stresses that no team is truly peaceful. Where people meet, friction appears. Built-up emotions always need release. I talk with Li Xia for a long time. She has unique ways of seeing problems, especially in company management. Winning shareholder support clearly does not rely only on her father. The next morning, Li Xia sends me an email. Inside are Dikai's 3-month financial details. The total is nearly 200 million. Monthly net profit is about 30 million. Daily income passes 1 million. My wallet weeps. She messages me separately. This file cannot be spread around. If it leaks, she will be in trouble. Then I contact Qin Mu. I tell her I got it. Dikai's 3-month financial details. Every transaction was confirmed by Deng Jing. I ask if it is useful to her. She says it is great and wants it now. She will look immediately. Qin Mu sounds excited. I tell her to wait. Only she can read this file. If it spreads, the provider will be attacked. Li Xia helped because she pities Nyonyo. We cannot drag her into a pit. Qin Mu says she knows what to do. She suggests meeting at noon to discuss details. After hanging up, I forward the email to Qin Mu. She has justice beyond professional duty. She breaks rules, but not her moral line. So I trust her. At noon, I eat with Qin Mu. She says she found something in Dikai's records. They spend over 10 million each month on alcohol, cigarettes, and other consumables. Qin Mu pauses on purpose. She asks me to guess what she found. I ask what. The supplier for Dikai's tobacco and alcohol is one company. The hidden boss is Deng Qiming. I instantly understand how Deng Qiming got rich. Qin Mu says that is not the key. She takes out a notebook, then flips open a page. Deng Qiming owns several companies. All are full of complaints and reports. One liquor company was shut down 2 years ago, yet Dikai was still buying from it then. She tells me to inform Li Xia. Li Xia will thank me for it. I say I do not know how to start. Qin Mu says I cannot even seize a chance to impress her. She rolls her eyes at me. She still needs to investigate. Deng Qiming's first company was registered 3.5 years ago. Back then, he had not divorced Suelon. Even though I am mentally prepared, Qin Mu's words still shock and sadden me. Maybe it is for the stained word, called love in my heart. Love should share hardship. It should not run when the bill arrives. Qin Mu says she knows I hate this guess, but facts still need proof. Qin Mu sighs. She has given up searching directly for Suelon. Now she will focus fully on Deng Qiming. Once she gets hard evidence, She wants to see what he can still say. Only poor Ñoño suffers most. I ask what else she needs from me. My voice comes out dull. She says not for now. She will contact me if needed. Then she reminds me to tell Li Xia what she found, so Li Xia can prepare. It is also an easy favor. After that, I call Li Xia. I tell her Dang Jing may be abusing power. She is unusually calm. She only asks if more proof can be found. I am about to call Qin Mu for help. Then Li Jiahao's call comes in. His tone is furious enough to fry eggs. Li Jiahao asks what I am doing. Li Jiahao tells me to come help if I am free. He says he wants to end someone today. Great, casual. I ask who managed to offend him. He tells me to come fight with him. He says he will take the blame if anything happens. He says he will send the location on WeChat. He tells me to take a taxi over. He says the tools are ready. Wonderful, a group project. After my persuasion fails completely, I rush over at once. When I arrive, several guys around Li Jiahao's age are already waiting for him. Someone hands me a steel pipe. They say those guys are waiting in the bar. Once we go in, we fight. They say not to spoil those punks. They claim it will not kill anyone. Comforting. Barely. I weigh the steel pipe in my hand. It feels strangely light. Honestly, it probably cannot hurt much. I ask Jiahao what is really going on. I ask if we really cannot settle this peacefully. His tone is hard as brick. He insists we must fight, so my advice retires early. A few minutes later, 2 more people arrive. 6 of us walk into the bar. At 8 or 9, the Collegetown bar is packed. The moment we enter, every eye lands on us. At a corner table, 4 men and 3 women stand up too. Li Jiahao shouts that they are the ones. Then he charges first. Bravery outruns brain again. We follow with steel pipes in hand. This beating has no suspense. The result has no suspense either. The local police take us all away. Handcuffed, we squat in a row in the interrogation room. The guy who claimed he would take the blame is now completely wilted. After a simple check, police fine each of us 500. They also want family to come pick us up. They warn next time means detention. Li Jiahao calls the officer uncle, suddenly polite. He says we know we were wrong. He says he will pay the fine. He begs them not to notify guardians. Then he says his parents are gone. Li Jiahao blurts it out in a hurry. The officer starts lecturing him. He says Jiahao should not speak like that. After all, they are his own parents. The officer asks if he has any filial sense. Jiahao insists he is not lying. He tells them to check. After verifying it, the police find his parents really have passed away. Even their household records are cancelled. With no better option, I call Chinchong. Soon after I get home, Li Xia arrives wearing anger on her face. This is my first time seeing her truly furious. She demands to know what we are trying to do. She asks if she warned me before. She told me not to lead Jiahao down the wrong road. I stand there completely confused. She stares at me and questions me. She asks what my silence means. She asks why I took Jiahao to fight, and why we got caught by the police. She asks if I dare deny it happened. I am about to argue that it was not me. Li Jiahao rushes over and blocks me. He tells his sister not to be like this. He says it is men's business, and she should not join. He says helping a brother is only right. He tells her to blame him instead. Li Xia's face turns iron blue with anger. The whole scene turns painfully awkward. Li Xia is burning with rage. Li Jiahao acts like none of it matters. I apologize and say I was too impulsive. I say I should not have called Jiahao. I apologize to her for dragging him along. I promise nothing like this will happen again. Li Jiahao looks at me with grateful eyes. But he only manages to call my name. Li Xia tells me and my family friends to stay away from her brother. She shouts it loudly. She says we do not deserve to be his friends. She grabs Li Jiahao. She warns him never to contact us again. Li Jiahao shakes off her hand. He says she has gone too far. He asks how she can talk about others that way. I know if this argument keeps going, Li Jiahao will definitely spill the truth. So I quickly stop him. I tell Jiahao not to fight with his sister. I tell him to listen to her. He should go back first. When he calls my name, I raise my hand to cut him off. I tell him to go back. 2 days later, Qin Mu brings the second investigation file. I am genuinely shocked. She has checked every company Deng Qiming registered, even the ones under relatives' names. They are all shell trading companies. These companies specialize in hotel supplies. With Deng Jing's help, Deng Qiming sells cheap goods to Dekai. Each company only does one deal. After making money, it vanishes. By the time Dekai finds the goods defective, there is nobody left to find. Dekai can only buy replacements at high prices. Then his next company appears and keeps digging money out of the same pit. In 3 years, he set up 6 such companies. Qin Mu asks if I should treat her to a meal. She looks at me proudly. She says if I give these to Li Xia will owe me a favor. I ask what she wants to eat. She says forget the meal. She wants me to help in a few days. Qin Mu smiles like a fox with a badge. Her parents are pushing her to find a boyfriend. She wants me to play the temporary role. Just 1 meal, she says. Famous last words. Her mother is easygoing. Her father is a bit serious. I purse my lips and tell myself not to panic. There is pressure, sure, but it is only dinner with elders. Helpless, I can only agree. That night, I send Li Xia Qin Mu's material. It shows Deng Qiming and Deng Jing stealing from Dekai. I photograph the files and send them over. I do not ask for thanks. I only hope she shows mercy and does not expose me. Since she scolded my uncle last time, we have not contacted each other. Li Jiahao has sent me a few sincere messages. After the files go out, Li Xia does not reply. I lie in bed smoking. My head is full of worry for my uncle. Just as the cigarette is nearly done, my mother calls. She rarely calls first. She is afraid of wasting phone money. I ask why she has time to call me. She pretends to sound relaxed and asks about work. I say it is fine. Being busy means more money. She tells me not to get too tired and stay safe. Then she pauses and says Dad has dialysis tomorrow. She sold our old egg-laying hen. If I want eggs, I should buy them myself. She says to pick the clear ones. Fresh ones, she says, and my chest tightens. My heart turns sour. I tell her I got a bonus recently. I say I was named outstanding employee and got 2,000 yuan. I make an excuse and say I will transfer it tomorrow. At month's end, I will get paid. Then I will come home to see her and Dad. As she talks, she starts crying. She keeps saying they delayed my life. She says she is sorry to me. My heart feels even heavier. Later, I go to the gym to mooch dinner from my uncle. Li Jiahao has been there every day. His body is getting better and better when he sees me arrive. He insists on inviting the trainers to a bar. Inihua thinks that is too noisy. She suggests roadside barbecue and beer instead. At the night market stall, 7 or 8 of us order 2 cases of beer. Halfway through the meal, over 20 people with sticks surround us. The leader is the student. We beat at the college town bar. He tells everyone else to move aside. Today, he says he only wants him. He points straight at Li Jiahao. Everyone looks toward my uncle. Li Jiahao stands and curses, asking if numbers scare him. The other side says they are bullying him with numbers. The guy sounds arrogant. He says he wants to see who dares interfere. My uncle stands and calls him brother. He says they should each take 1 step back. He offers to settle it with drinks instead. My uncle asks if that will work. The guy walks over to our table. He pours a glass of beer. Then he sneers at Li Jiahao. He tells Jiahao to kneel and drink it. Then their grudge will be over. How generous. Li Jiahao instantly starts cursing. The beer splashes straight onto the guy's face. Li Jiahao grabs a bottle to fight back. The other side raises steel pipes. A brawl is 1 breath away. Seeing that, Li Jiahao suddenly loses nerve. He does not dare swing. Duan Wentao gets even smugger. He points at his own head and dares Jiahao. He says he planned today for a long time. Tomorrow, he will show Xiaoqin the video. He wants her to see how cowardly Jiahao is. He mocks Jiahao for stealing his woman. Then he insults Jiahao's dead parents. Low blow. He says beating him is only step 1. He says Li Xia's time as Dekai chair is ending. He says if Jiahao kneels and begs today, maybe his father will still support her. Laughter bursts around us, ugly and loud. Li Jiahao's face turns iron blue. Even his hands are shaking. There are 5 men on our side. I have basically no combat value. Li Jiahao has already gone soft. Only my uncle and 2 others remain. The other side has over 20 people. Once Li Xia is mentioned, Li Jiahao finally gives in. He says he admits defeat and will kneel. His knees go soft as he starts to drop. My uncle grabs his shoulder with his left hand. With his right, he snatches up a beer bottle. He smashes it straight at Duan Wentao's head. I thought H had calmed him down. Silly me. Turns out he is even wilder than before. The bottle shatters. He charges forward in a flash. 1 kick sends Duan Wentao flying 3 meters. Over 20 men rush up with steel pipes. At first, they are arrogant because of numbers. But after one gets split open and runs, their whole aura collapses. They scatter like pigeons hearing firecrackers. I am completely stunned. Inihua and the 2 female coaches do not fight or stop it. Only after they run does she hand over tissues. Li Jiahao looks both relieved and worried. Duan Wentao is the son of a Dekai shareholder. Jiahao fears dragging Li Xia into this. That is why he backed down earlier. A fight like this means the police will come. My uncle tells us to leave first. He will stay and wait for the police. Li Jiahao steps up and says he will take it. He tries to stand tall for once. He tells my uncle to hurry and leave. Inihua gets anxious. She knows my uncle cannot enter a station now. My uncle lights a cigarette and says no need. He says he and Jiahao will stay. Everyone else should leave first. He says trouble comes if it must. Then he tells me to go too. He says not to make my parents worry. He waves me away. His face is impatient, as usual. Inihua pulls me away and stops a taxi. We go to Daichenyuan in Shijiqing. It is a high-end neighborhood, not even in the same league as Dianchi Spring. At Inihua's detached villa, I see that Santana in the garage. Somehow it feels cursed. Upstairs is full of Chun Xiaojia's things. Clearly, they have lived together for a long time. Late at night, I cover my face with a scarf. I drive the Santana toward an abandoned Dianchi embankment. I release the handbrake. Then I push the car. It slowly sinks into the water. The water here is deep enough to swallow it. I get back at 3 in the morning. Inihua is still waiting in the living room. She asks if anyone saw me. Her concern makes the room feel heavier. I shake my head and ask if Chen Xiaojia contacted her. She knows I am worried about the crash too. Inihua nods. She says she feels panicked, like something is about to happen. This thing called sixth sense has no science behind it, but it can be terrifyingly accurate. After one anxious night, the next morning, Inihua takes me to the police station. She wants to get my uncle out his family, but the officer tells us Li Jiahao's family already paid fines and compensation. He has been released. But my uncle is tied to the crash from half a month ago, so he has been taken for investigation. I panic instantly. Of course, the thing I fear most arrives on time. Why is Chen Xiaojie suddenly linked to the crash? I call Li Jiahao 3 times in a row. Every call says his phone is off. Yinihua stands beside me. She says Jiahao only has his sister as family. She asks if I know her. She tells me to call and ask what happened. We cannot just wait here like 2 boiled dumplings. She is calmer than before. No matter the result, we still have to face it and find a way to solve it. I call Li Xia. No one answers the first time. The second time, Xiaoru picks up. She tells me to stop calling President Li. She says Li Xia does not want to speak to me. I say I will not bother her. I only want to know Li Jiahao's situation. Why was he released? And why is my uncle dragged into another case? Before Xiaoru can explain much, Li Xia takes the phone. She says she warned me. She told me not to let my uncle drag Jiahao around. Since we refused to listen, she can only stop it her own way. Then the call is cut off. I curse at the phone. Naturally, the phone does not care. Yinihua asks what happened. Her voice is urgent. I suspect Li Xia reported Chen Xiaojie's crash. This trouble is big now. As I speak, I call a third time. Li Xia still does not answer. Yinihua says she will find a way. Then she leaves alone first. I already have the answer in my heart, but I still cling to a thin fantasy. I decide to confront Li Xia at Dekai. I slip into Dekai's internal elevator like I know the place. I push open Li Xia's office door. I rush straight to her desk. I slap the desk and demand the truth. I ask what exactly she said. Li Xia looks deadly serious. She says she can tolerate anything, except Jiahao going down the wrong path. He is her only brother. Her mother's dying wish was for her to guide him. If something happens to him, she cannot face her dead parents, nor can she face the rest of her life. I ask what about my uncle. Tears burn in my voice. He stood up for Jiahao and took the blows. Now his own side reports him and may ruin him. I ask if she ever thought about him. I ask if he is really wrong. I ask if she knows what happened. I ask if her conscience hurt when she reported him. Li Xia avoids my eyes and looks away. She says she does not want to know. She only wants Jiahao to grow in a good environment. That is all. My tears finally break loose. I raise my hand and point at her. Backing away, I say I hope the truth will not make her conscience ache. I turn and leave the office. The pain and despair inside me are beyond words. This rainy, hot season soaks my youth raw. I think of Lin Fei again. The road ahead is still long. I do not know how to stay strong. Yinihwa's phone call comes in right then. Her tone is urgent. She tells me to send her my address. Then she tells me to turn off my phone and not contact anyone. When she gets free, she will bring people to find me. She warns me to remember one thing. Before then, official people must not find me, especially the police. If they cannot find me, they cannot make me give a statement. She tells me not to say the wrong thing. Holding the phone, I ask when she will come. I ask who she is bringing. I ask if I should turn my phone off now. Yinihua adds one more thing. She is bringing her company lawyer. She says we will talk later in person. For now, I need to shut my phone off. Her own company lawyer? My brain takes a small punch. Yinihua's family is clearly not simple. When Yinihua arrives, she brings a man in a gray suit. He carries a briefcase, very official. She says I can call him Zhoubo. Yinihua introduces him. His name is Lawyer Zhou Guofa. She says we can fully trust him. I greet Zhoubo politely. I thank him for the trouble. He says family should not be polite. After sitting down, Zhou Guofa gets serious. He says he needs the full story. That way, he can handle later accusations. He starts with the crash night. He asks if I called Chen Xiaojie. I nod and admit I did. I say I told him where the victim would be. I only wanted him to beat that person up. Unexpectedly, Zhoubo raises his hand to stop me. He repeats the question. Did I call Chen Xiaojie? And what exactly did I say? He asks if I know how to answer now. I suddenly understand. Lawyer magic, apparently. Did my uncle really hit someone with a car? He asks if I saw it myself. He presses me, and I shake my head. He says I never saw it myself. And no one told me directly either. So why assume he appeared at the scene? And why assume it must be related? Where was Chen Xiaojie that night? Honestly, I do not truly know. We never met that night, right? Zhoubo says my accusation has no evidence. Without evidence, it does not stand. Yinihua says Zhoubo has practiced law for over 20 years. His win rate is 99%. With him here, Xiaojie can be cleared. I just need to stay steady. I nod hard. I understand what can be said, and what must stay locked in my teeth. Halfway through dinner, the police come to the door. No need to guess. It is about my uncle. During the statement, the officer looks deadly serious. Before I say anything, he says I know why I am here. He brings up leniency for confession, and harshness for resisting. Classic opening move. He claims my accomplices already confessed. He tells me to think carefully. I say I already said everything before. I have nothing to add. He tells me not to be stubborn. I say I did nothing. So I do not need leniency. I keep Zhoubo's words nailed in my head. The police cannot get anything more. They tell me to keep my phone on. When I leave, the sky is already dark. My heart is packed with anxiety. If Chen Xiaojie and I both get arrested, who pays for my father's dialysis? The weight on my shoulders steals my breath. The next day, Li Jiahao, missing for 2 days, appears. He drops to his knees in front of me. Crying, he tries to explain. I pull him up. I know he values loyalty. This has little to do with him. I tell him not to take it to heart. Li Jiahao begs me to forgive his sister. He says she was too worried about him. She feared brother too would lead him astray. He cries so hard his face becomes a mess. But he never expected her to be this selfish. She locked him up for 2 days. He just had a huge fight with her. He asked me to take him away. He says he wants to follow me. He does not want to go home and face her. I ask him to do me a favor. I pat his shoulder. I ask him to get Li Xia out to talk. In Li Jiahao's living room, Li Xia is already waiting. Fruit and coffee sit on the table. Li Jiahao tells me to sit anywhere. He speaks carefully. I sit across from Li Xia. I look at her without saying a word. Her face is full of guilt as she apologizes. She says Jiahao told her the cause. And the whole process. She says she did not know. Turns out Duan Wentao is a major Dekai shareholder's son. Both he and Jiahao like Xiaoqin. Li Jiahao adds from the side. Last time he took me to the bar fight, it was because of this. Duan Wentao's father threatened his sister. He said if Jiahao kept causing trouble, he would stop supporting her. Later, Duan Wentao grew more arrogant. He even stole Xiaoqin away. Then he brought people to force Jiahao to kneel. Brother 2 stepped up for him. Jiahao says he owes him too much. I say apologies are not the point now. I let out a sigh. Then I look at Li Xia. Things have reached a point we cannot undo. A real name report is not a game. Chen Xiaojia was already suspicious enough. If he is found guilty, it becomes intentional killing plus fleeing. My chest aches as I say it. Li Xia's face turns dark. She murmurs another apology, full of regret. I light a cigarette. Then I continue, a life for a life. He may face death, reprieve, or life. His whole life may be ruined. And I cannot escape either. I say I am not afraid of prison. But I have too much I cannot abandon. My father's kidneys are failing. He needs dialysis 2 or 3 times a week. My mother is a laid-off worker. She sells roasted sweet potatoes to get by. After high school, I came to Kunming to work. I carried bricks, hauled cement, delivered food. I saved every coin to send more home. Chen Xiaojia is not related to my family by blood, but his earnings all went into my father's treatment. Maybe before long, both of us will end up in prison. The cigarette keeps burning. My heart feels like it is bleeding. I take a hard drag. I hold back my tears. I say I came today, not to blame her or fight. I know she did it for Jiahao. I only want to beg her. If I get locked up, could she look after my parents? Send them a few thousand every month, so my father can keep doing dialysis. I know this request is too much, but if I do not say it now, I may never get another chance. When I get out, I will repay every cent. This is my only request. As I plead, my knees bend and I nearly kneel. Li Jiahao rushes over like an arrow. He kneels first. Holding me, he cries my name. He tells me not to worry, no matter what happens. He will not forget what I asked. He will keep my dad's illness in mind. Even if he stops smoking and drinking, and stops going to nightclubs, he will make sure there is money. He says he can decide that much. From today on, my parents are his parents too. He says he recognizes me as his brother for life. When Li Xia gets up and leaves the sofa, her eyes are red. Even though she tries to hide it, I still see it. I believe Li Jiahao's promise. A few thousand is not much to him. That night, he insists I take him to learn my home address. I think I may be arrested soon anyway, so knowing the door early is not bad. I drive him home overnight to meet my parents. Li Jiahao and I drive Li Xia's white Land Rover back to my hometown. The car was gifted by Duan Wentao's father. He wants his son to marry Li Xia, then pull her shares into the Duan family. On the road, Li Jiahao tells me many things. He and Li Xia only inherit Dekai. Their grandfather leaves the houses and savings to their uncle. Li Chuanmin's business leaves them with little cash on hand. Li Xia knows how to manage money. She uses grandpa's secret allowance to play stocks. That is also why grandpa leaves the chairman's seat to her. After more than 4 hours of driving, we reach the town at 1 in the morning. We find a hotel and stay there. Li Jiahao does not understand why we do not go home. My dad sleeps early. My mom sells food by day and cares for him. I want him to sleep peacefully. That night, I barely sleep. I keep wondering how to tell my parents what comes next. Early the next morning, we buy apples, watermelon, and 2 jean of pork filling. My mom is selling roasted sweet potatoes at the corner. When she sees me suddenly back, and in a nice car, she rushes over, asking why I came back. Before I can open my mouth, Li Jiahao steps up and calls her mom. Then he turns and asks if she is our mom. My mom freezes on the spot. I explain he is my sworn brother. I tell her to treat Li Jiahao like a son. Jiahao says he came to see mom. Then he asks if dad is home. He calls it so sincerely it almost sounds rehearsed. My mom is completely stunned. I push the sweet potato cart and declare the stall closed. At noon, I want her wontons. I bought the meat filling already. Back home, my dad is also happy. Li Jiahao keeps calling them dad and mom. His mouth is sweet enough to sell sugar. I tell my parents that he has no parents. He and his sister depend on each other. My parents immediately soften with sympathy. They tell him to bring his sister here on holidays. Li Jiahao does not act shy. After eating, he grabs the dishes. He says a son has to work when he comes home. He says he finally has a mom, so he needs to enjoy it properly. After lunch, I return to my bedroom. It is a tiny room under 8 square meters. I once shared it with Chen Xiaojia. Yellowed young and dangerous posters still cling to the wall. They were Chen Xiaojia's idols back then. Li Jiahao studies them with great interest. He says this is his real idol. From now on, he wants to follow brother too. Then he picks up the nunchucks on the wall. He says the grip feels good. They are badly worn. He asks if I train with them. I say they are my uncle's, and he can take them. I tell him my uncle practiced with them back then. He hit his own head plenty of times. Once, in a fight, he used those nunchucks. 17 or 18 guys could not get close. Jiahao says that is too cool and wants lessons in kunming. In the afternoon, we go to the market. We buy fruit, vegetables, and meat. We fill the fridge until it looks wealthy. I keep feeling like I am arranging my final affairs. During dinner, my dad asks if we caused trouble in kunming. He tells me not to carry it alone, saying it might make me feel better. I deny it and tell him not to overthink. I say we are doing fine. We have just been busy with a project. This time, I bring Jiahao to know the door. I do not know when I can come back again, so he can visit them for me. My dad lets out a long sigh. He says he has been disabled all his life. He says he should have left earlier, so he would not burden us. My mom cuts him off immediately. She says he burdens no one. He just needs to live well. This family cannot be without him. At night, Li Jiahao and I squeeze into one bed. Before, Chen Xiaojie was the one squeezed here. I am already used to human sandwich mode. Jiahao is uncomfortable for half the night. Later, he finally falls asleep too. Early the next morning, the City Public Security Bureau calls. They ask me to come in. I say I am back in my hometown. The other side instantly becomes alert. They ask if I am fleeing out of guilt. I promise to arrive before 2 in the afternoon. I explain quickly, before their imagination grows legs. Only then do they relax a little. After hanging up, I feel even more nervous. Before heading back to Kunming, at the small-town train station, I buy an anonymous phone card. I put it into Li Jiahao's phone. On the way back, I call Yinihua. She asks if I am all right. That is the first thing she says. I say I rushed home 2 nights ago. I arranged things at home. I keep feeling my days with my parents are running out. I sigh and mention this morning. The city bureau wants me there before 2. They need me to assist the investigation. I ask how Chen Xiaojie is doing. Yinihua says the police are watching him. He said the wrong thing during questioning. Her voice drops. My heartbeat instantly speeds up. I ask what he said wrong. I ask if it is serious and what I should say later. My words come out in a panic. At first, he denied leaving the gym, but cameras caught when he left. Then he said he forgot where he went. Yinihua sighs deeply. The police checked his phone movement trail. They already treat him as the killer. They only lack the detailed evidence. I completely panic and ask what to do. I say I should turn myself in. This whole mess started because of me. Yinihua tells me not to be impulsive. She is anxious now. She says Xiaojie met her once. His only hope is me. He told her to protect me. He says I am the family's hope. My parents are still counting on me. Right now, the police lack enough proof. They cannot convict him yet. She is also looking for connections. She wants to get him released on bail. Tears fall before I can stop them. I choke up. I tell Huajie I understand. I will listen to her. She tells me to be good and not cry. She says Xiaojie will be fine. After hanging up, I hold my head and cry out loud. Li Jiahao hears everything. He hands me tissues and cigarettes. He keeps apologizing. I only hope that if Xiaojie and I go down, he takes good care of my parents. As we near Kunming, I still feel something is wrong. So I call Qinmu. She says I finally remember to call her. She asks if I want to thank her for the files. Her laugh comes through the phone. I say we can skip that for now. I hold back my grief. I ask if I can fully trust her. I say I am helpless right now. Qinmu's tone turns serious. Because of what Lin Yifei and I did for Nyonyo, she already sees me as a good friend. I take a deep breath. I say she knew the crash involved me long ago. On the other end, she pauses for a few seconds. She tells Chen Fan some things need not be said too clearly. It is enough that we both know. I say Chen Xiaojie is under investigation. The police confirmed he appeared at the scene. He has been reported and arrested. I keep talking. The bureau wants me there before 2. I am already on the road. I do not know what to do. Qinmu tells me not to be afraid. That day, she and I were together. When I called Chen Xiaojie, I was only chatting about family matters. I casually mentioned we were going to Beishir district for food. She says she can testify to all of that. Police work needs evidence. Without enough proof, they cannot convict anyone. She says she will come to the bureau this afternoon. She asks when I will arrive. I check my watch. About 1 hour left. She tells me to go ahead first. Qinmu says she will arrive right after me. She tries to encourage me. She tells me to trust her and meet her soon. I ask if she is sure she can still see me. I worry I may be locked up for questioning. Qinmu says no with scary confidence. She says we will meet soon. After hanging up with Qinmu, I light a cigarette. Bad habit, loyal friend. Li Jiahao, still driving, quietly calls my name. He asks if I really hate his sister. I freeze for a second. I am about to deny it. He cuts in and says, about this matter. He hates her too badly. He says he wishes someone could beat her once. But she is his real sister. She has always taken care of him. He knows apologies are useless. He promises to care for our parents. I look at him. I nod, keeping it polite. I say no more words are needed. I entrust my parents to him. As for hate or not, I say it is all past now. If you want no one to know, do not do it. Ancient wisdom, modern headache. Even if she had not reported it, the police would find out sooner or later. Li Jiahao says nothing more. Back in Kunming, we do not even eat lunch. We head straight to the city bureau. He says he will wait at the gate. I tell him to go back first. I dare not say I may not come out. This interrogation setup is totally different. 2 light boxes sit at 45 degrees. 4 officers are present. 2 of them ask questions. 1 records with a DV camera. 1 types everything on a computer. I sit down under pressure. After my previous visits, I am strangely less nervous. Growth, sadly. They keep asking where I was during the case. They ask what I told Qin Xiaojie. They ask whether he knew my grudge with Zhu Dalong. I follow Qin Mu's version. I adjust a few details. I say Qin Xiaojie and I chatted about family. He asked what I would eat that night. I casually said I was heading to Beishir Food City. A friend was taking me there. We were just grabbing something simple. When the questioning ends, the police say I am also a major suspect. They want to detain me for now. I laugh at myself. Honestly, I saw this coming. Just as they are about to cuff me, someone knocks on the interrogation room door. A hatless, middle-aged officer with badge 001 walks in. Qin Mu follows behind in uniform. She even sneaks me a wink. Bold girl. The officers immediately salute. Director Qin asks if my questioning is done. An officer says it is finished. They explain I am Qin Xiaojie's nephew. They only asked me to assist the investigation. The officer answers in a hurry. Director Qin says if it is done, I should join them for dinner. His tone makes handcuffs suddenly look shy. The officers say it is all done. They answer quickly. They insist they only invited me to cooperate. Qin Mu pops out from behind him. She hooks my arm and introduces her dad. She says this is her father. Director Qin laughs and calls her a brat. He jokes that she has no fake father, does she? Qin Mu sticks out her tongue. She asks why I am not greeting her dad. I quickly greet Uncle Qin. Meeting for the first time in a place like this is a little awkward, to put it politely. I hurry to say so. Director Qin says there is nothing wrong with it. He smiles and tells me to go home with Mumu first. Her auntie has cooked dishes. He says we will talk properly tonight. So it turns out, Director Qin really thinks I am Qin Mu's boyfriend. After I get into Qin Mu's car, she complains that I have no conscience. I promised to fake being her boyfriend. Then I shut off my phone and vanished. I say I was not hiding from her. What I promise, I will do. I explain myself quickly. I say her dad does not seem that scary. She says that is only in front of outsiders. Qin Mu warns me to be careful tonight. Her dad has many ways to make people suffer. But if I make her mom like me, her dad cannot lose his temper. I ask how to please her mom. Gifts over 200 are beyond my wallet's courage. I scratch my head as I ask. Qin Mu rolls her eyes and says her family lacks no gifts. There is only one way to please her mom. I need to take good care of Qin Mu in front of her. She says she should not need to teach me that. The road is jammed the whole way. By the time we reach her complex, it is 4:30. My heart is restless. But what must be faced has to be faced. Qin Mu lives in a duplex with elevator entry. Inside the villa-style elevator, she notices I am nervous. She holds my arm and tells me to act natural. Even if I am a fake, I still need to look real. Great, acting class. She asks how I treated girlfriends before. Today, I should treat her the same way. She tells me to perform at full power, but I am still nervous. Qin Mu rolls her eyes again. As soon as we enter, a middle-aged woman is cleaning. Qin Mu calls out to her mom. Then she turns to me and says, Qin Fan. This is her mom. I quickly greet her. Auntie Qin is extremely warm. She brings out slippers. She says she told Mumu to bring me home long ago. This girl always made excuses. Even dating, she sneaks around. Qin Mu says she did not bring me back because she thought she could find someone better. She changes into kawaii slippers. Then she jokes like a spoiled princess. Qin Mu's mom scolds her. She says if Qin Mu can marry, she will burn incense in gratitude. Why be picky? She thinks Qin Fan is great. Then she turns to me. She tells Qin Fan to sit anywhere. Auntie says she will wash fruit for me. I tell her not to trouble herself. I rarely eat fruit anyway. Qin Mu puts on her young lady act. She says she wants last night's apples. When Qin Mu's mom goes to the kitchen, only the two of us remain in the living room. She tells me to sit for a bit. She is going in to change clothes. I lean closer to her. I whisper that since we are a couple, should she invite me in to watch? That earns me a giant Qin Mu eye roll. I notice the treadmill, dumbbells, and punching bag. My brain pictures her in tight gear and boxing gloves. It feels both sexy and powerful. Dangerous combo. A few minutes later, Qin Mu comes out after changing. Her mom also arrives with a fruit plate. Qin Mu picks up an apple. She hands it to me and wants it peeled. Her mom says this child is spoiled by her. Qin Mu's mom sounds displeased, but her tone is full of affection. I smile and take the apple and knife. I peel it slowly, like a model boyfriend. Her mom chats with me. She only says Qin Mu is naughty and stubborn. She asks me to be patient with her. She never asks about my education, job, or family. Qin Mu argues back now and then. Her mom ignores her completely. I cut the peeled apple into small pieces. Qin Mu sits cross-legged, playing Honor of Kings. She opens her mouth, signaling me to feed her. I do as requested. I also hand half to her mom. I tell Annie to eat some too. She says she ate this afternoon. She politely refuses. Then she tells me to look at Mumu. She says Mumu is truly spoiled rotten. She turns to Qin Mu. She tells her to stop playing games. It is Qin Fan's first visit. She should keep me company. Her mom says she will go downstairs for groceries. Qin Fan is eating at home tonight. Before I can finish my polite refusal, Qin Mu loudly cuts in. Qin Mu blurts that I like braised fish. Her mom laughs that Qin Mu is the greedy one. Auntie teases her for drooling over fish. Qin Mu bursts into laughter. She tells me to sit for a bit. She says she is going to buy fish. She promises to come back soon. I quickly say I will go too. Qin Mu drops her phone and stands up. Her mom asks what she is going for. She says Qin Mu only knows how to cause chaos. Auntie says it with full motherly disdain. Qin Mu insists she is going anyway. Helpless, I follow along as the driver. When we return, Director Qin is off work. Facing him, I tense up without meaning to. Maybe Qin Xiaojia's case has made my conscience sweat. He asks nothing about school, income, or family. He only asks if I can play Chinese chess. My chess skills are nothing special, but I play slowly. I carefully study every move. He keeps telling me to think slowly. No rush, he says. Easy for a chief. One game drags on almost an hour. We still have no winner. Then Qin Mu's mom calls us to dinner. At dinner, Director Qin asks if I drink. I politely decline. I drink juice with Qin Mu instead. All meal long, I am half boyfriend, half waiter. I keep putting food in Qin Mu's bowl. I try hard to look qualified. After dinner, Qin Mu drags me out for a walk. I say goodbye early. That chess game stays unfinished. In the elevator, I finally breathe. I say the princess is already out of the castle. No need to hold me so tightly. Qin Mu smiles playfully. She gives me a thumbs up. She calls me a professional actor. I tell her thanks. I suspect her parents already know I am fake. Otherwise, why not ask about my job or family? Qin Mu says no, I acted very well. She says it like it is nothing. Her parents hope her boyfriend enters public security, so they do not care what I do now. If the relationship becomes real, they will arrange a decent job for me. That tempts me a little. A police chief father-in-law sounds pretty useful. But that dream lasts only one foolish second. Qin Mu drives me to Guandu ancient town. Then she heads back. The next day, she brings burgers and fried chicken over. She has another idea about Qin Xiaojia. Holding a suspect forever without evidence does not make sense, legally or logically. She wants me to use online opinion to help him, but I know no self-media people. The only person I think of is Li Jiahao. When the call connects, he happily calls my name. He asks if I am awake and busy. He says he has something to tell me. He says he is busy guarding a spot. I ask what he is guarding, and he says the operating room. He pauses for effect. He says our dad is inside. He says dad is having surgery. It is almost finished. Our dad is having surgery? My face goes blank. I ask what happened to my father. What kind of surgery is this? He chuckles and corrects me. Our dad. Li Jiahao is very serious about the title. He says dad is getting a kidney transplant. If it works, no more weekly dialysis. A new kidney fixes the root problem. I can hardly believe my ears. He says yes, bursting with pride. He says he has not been idle this week. He found a kidney source and contacted a hospital. In 3 days, he found a match. He negotiated the price. He brought doctors to verify everything. Then he rushed dad to Shanghai for surgery. He asks if his efficiency is impressive. He says I owe him skewers later. I ask if he is joking. He says nobody jokes about this. He and my parents are in Shanghai now. He says he lied to them, claiming I have been busy lately. After surgery, I can come over. A kidney transplant, surgery, and a kidney must cost 400,000 or 500,000. He says money is not my worry. Our dad will recover soon. Next week they will return to Kunming for recovery. Once there is no rejection, dad can leave hospital. He pauses again. He says mom is coming out of the restroom. He hands her the phone. After some seconds, my mother's voice reaches me. She calls my name, and I call her mom. I ask why Jiahao brought them for transplant surgery. Why did she not tell me? My mother sounds surprised. Jiahao told her I already knew. I tell her to focus on dad's surgery. I say I will rush over tomorrow. She says plane tickets are expensive. Food and lodging there are expensive too. She can take good care of dad. She tells me to wait obediently. Even phone charges are expensive. She asks if I still need Jiahao. She gives the phone back to him. Li Jiahao laughs and asks how it is. He asks if I believe him now. I take a deep breath and call him buddy. I thank him and say I will remember this debt. I would even work like an ox or horse for him. He laughs and says no need for farm animals. Then he asks if I would rather be his brother-in-law. He tells me the truth. Finding the kidney and contacting the hospital were all Li Xia's idea and arrangement. He only accompanied my parents for surgery. He says I should thank her face to face. Maybe I should consider his sister. After all, she is very pretty. Being her man would not be a loss. I know his brother-in-law talk is a joke. Arranging dad's transplant is a huge matter. Li Jiahao could never manage it alone. Most likely, Li Xia led the whole thing. She handles things reliably, much more mature than Li Jiahao, no contest. After hanging up, I wonder how to thank Li Xia. Qin Mu grabs the last chicken wing. She says my father is in surgery. Li Xia helped arrange it. Maybe guilt is doing charity today. Qin Mu smiles faintly. She says if Li Xia had not reported it, the police would not have watched Qin Xiaojia. So this is her buying peace of mind. That may be true, but I am still grateful to Li Xia. When I reach for a burger, I discover only staple food remains in the bucket. Qin Mu has eaten every wing and drumstick. She notices my look. She giggles and apologizes. She also skipped lunch. She forgot the food was for me. Convenient amnesia. Her quirky nature is actually pretty likable. Qin Mu keeps me company for 2 hours before leaving. My heart is a messy hot pot. Whatever Li Xia's reason is, I will remember this favor. Several times, I want to call and apologize. Several times, courage calls in sick. The image of her scolding me about Li Jiahao is still fresh in my mind. Later, although we met at her house, she did not talk much with me. After hearing my request, she returned to her room. There is still a wall between us. After thinking all night, I decide to thank Li Xia face to face at Dekai. As soon as I reach the office floor, I run into Gao Su in a hurry. He asks why I am here. Am I looking for him, or President Li? I say both, Li Xia for thanks, and him for drinks tonight. I need to spit out the bitterness in my chest. Gao Su advises me to find President Li later. He lowers his voice. He says she is in serious trouble. There was a board meeting this morning. There is an employee meeting this afternoon. Rumor says she misused company funds and lost power. Li Quanming wants to grab the chairman's seat. Gao Su looks left and right. He says this is not a place to talk. He suggests Starbucks on the 3rd floor. I say I need to see Li Xia. He says to do that later. Gao Su quickly warns me. Duan Jingnan is in her office. He is Duan Wentao's father. Gao Su says I definitely will not see her now. So I follow Gao Su to Starbucks. We sit in a corner, drama with foam. Today's board meeting was started by Li Quanming. Gao Su lowers his voice. Finance Director Dang Jing reported Li Xia. She claims Xia moved 800,000 last week. Li Quanming used it to cut her power. Any expense over 500,000 needs half the board to approve. The power cut is already settled, but one shareholder gives her 3 days. She must explain where the money went. Then the decision can be cancelled. I say even 500,000 needs reporting? Then the chair is basically a decoration. I scratch my head. Very corporate genius. Gao Su sips coffee and says pretty much. The company factions are fighting hard. Dang Jing belongs to Li Chuanming's side. Several shareholders follow him too. But some major shareholders still back Li Xia, even after the afternoon staff meeting. They especially stress receipts for expenses and signatures from department leaders. As we talk, Dang Jing walks into Starbucks. She sits diagonally across and makes a call. She tells Director Ming not to worry. She says she has Li Xia's email. It includes Li Xia's bank card details. The 800,000 really was transferred there. Dang Jing says Xia cannot deny this money. It has been over a week. There are no invoices or receipts. Since she dares report it, she has blocked her own way back. She reminds Director Ming not to forget her. After a few seconds of silence, she says she understands. She has all department heads spending records. If they really dig deep, no one gets away clean. She says they just watch and wait. The accounts are already arranged. Whoever's financial records he wants, she can hand them over anytime. Dang Jing hangs up. I quietly ask Gao Su if she plans to threaten other staff. Gao Su nods. He makes a shushing gesture. The company waters are deep, apparently shark deep. Li Chuanming's group is set on toppling Xia. Dang Jing holds the iron proof of 800,000. Xia has clearly left them a handle. After Dang Jing leaves, we return to Dekai's office floor. Gao Su goes back to work. I arrive outside Li Xia's office. I press the doorbell. Her assistant opens the door. Lu Xiaoru looks far from friendly. She asks what I am doing here. Li Xia's voice asks who it is. Xiaoru calls me the minister fired after 3 days. She glares at me. Nice title, sharp packaging. Li Xia tells her to let me in. She wants to talk with me alone. Li Xia hands me a glass of water. She wears a smile. She says she should have apologized sooner. Li Jiahao told her why that fight happened. She says she regrets it. If we had not hit Duan Wentao, she might not have lost control and reported Chen Xiaojia. She apologizes, and I thank her. I look at her. I say I came specifically to thank her. Without her, Dad could never afford a transplant costing hundreds of thousands. I do not want to owe her. But right now, I really cannot repay her. At this point, words jam in my throat. If this were Qinmu, I would joke about repaying with myself. But with Xia, that line would self-destruct. She asks why I stopped talking. My face turns red, very heroic. I want to say she can ask for help anytime. Then I remember I am not exactly mighty. That would sound painfully fake. So I simply shut up. Mostly, I am just grateful. Li Xia smiles and says she should politely reply that my words alone are enough. That is how people talk at banquets. I sigh and tell her not to tease me. I know she paid Dad's transplant costs, mostly to ease her guilt. She shoots me a fierce glare. She calls me a heartless guy. She says I can think whatever I want, since I want to thank her, and hate owing favors. She tells me to buy her a vanilla cornetto. Bring it back, and we are even. I ask if it is really that simple. She asks what else I expect. She jokes about hiring me back as security minister. That topic is too heavy, so I go downstairs for the cornetto. I return with the ice cream. Li Xia is propped on her desk, daydreaming. I hand it to her. Vanilla flavor, as ordered. She lifts her eyelids. She carefully tears open the wrapper. She sticks out her pink tongue and licks it. A satisfied smile appears. I ask if she is satisfied. Extremely. She says cornetto is her favorite. Her eyes narrow happily. She asks what snack I like most. I shake my head. Childhood had few snacks. If I must choose, it is 5 Mao spicy strips, the kind that oils up both hands. Back then, Chen Xiaojia stole snacks from me. That was our snack supply chain. Very illegal, very cheap. Li Xia looks completely confused. She cannot understand boys robbing snacks to eat. After finishing her cornetto, Li Xia suddenly calls my name. She asks if I am busy this afternoon. I ask why, and she says Moon Bay. Only later do I learn. Moon Bay has one special activity, bungee jumping. Had I known that, death itself could not drag me here. I have feared heights since childhood. Looking down from 100 meters up makes my head spin like cheap wine. Li Xia finishes fastening her gear. She looks at me and asks if I will try. The wind roaring past your ears, she says, can make you forget every worry. Like being reborn. I remind her this is madness. What if there is an accident? Then everything really goes blank. The corners of her mouth rise. She says it lightly. If something happens, that may be fine. Living is so tiring. Leaving by accident might not be bad. Then she spreads her arms and jumps. I grip the railing and look down. Her figure grows smaller and smaller. The worker asks if I want to try. He says it is very exciting. My legs disagree. He says many people come to bungee jump to taste the instant thought of death. If you are not afraid of death, what else can scare you? He keeps talking. The girl who just jumped comes often. Before, she always came alone. Today she brought me. Even he is surprised. I ask if she often comes looking for death. He says people mostly release stress here. The worker laughs and says no. I say I have not lived enough. I quickly kill that thought. I only want to leave, preferably by elevator. Half an hour later, I see Li Xia again. She seems different somehow, but I cannot say how. She never shows joy or anger easily, yet the feeling around her keeps changing. On the road back to Kunming, she brings up Chen Xiaojia first. She asks if there is any way to fix things. I mention Zhu Dalong using self-media pressure. Maybe we can fight back the same way. I am only chatting casually. But the very next day, several hot local Kunming accounts post articles at the same time. The issue is instantly pushed into the storm. One article is especially sharp. A self-media post blows the topic wide open. The headline is harsh. It says local city chased clicks and drove Lin Yifei, who helped Nyonyo, to death. Lin Yifei's death had already quieted down. This article drags it back into public view. The article does more than insist. Local cities post forced Lin Yifei to die. It also includes detailed analysis. Logical, sharp, and annoyingly effective. Another post exposes Zhu Dalong and Tian Yifan. It reveals Tian Yifan died after the crash. Public opinion says she deserved it. Cold wind, cold hearts. The timing of both posts is perfect. They appear right after local city posts. A WeChat account can only post once a day. Even if Zhu Dalong wants to explain, he has to wait until after midnight. That gives us enough time to steer opinion. Tomorrow we can hit back at his excuses too. No guessing needed. This is Li Xia's work. And now I owe her another favor. Great, debt has legs. The matter keeps getting bigger. By day 3, opinion turns toward Chen Xiaojia. The police lack enough evidence to convict him, so they can only let him go for now. I want to see him the day he gets out. But Inihua stops me. She says his situation is too sensitive. Qinmu also calls to warn me. Lately, I should not stay too close to Chen Xiaojia. Even phone calls should stay short. Criminal investigation methods are smarter than I imagine. Using self-media to pressure the police was Qinmu's idea in the first place. She knows police weak spots best. Professional menu. That afternoon, I squeeze onto a bus. Then a sharp slap cracks through the air. A familiar voice snaps hard. She tells someone to move his dirty hand. I look toward the sound. I can hardly believe it. I actually meet Li Xia on a bus. For a second, I think my eyes are broken. How could she possibly take the bus? The man she slapped is a 30-ish guy with glasses. That slap nearly knocks his glasses off. The man freezes first. With everyone watching, he probably feels trapped on stage. He denies touching her, then asks if she has proof. His words make Li Xia even angrier. She raises her hand for a second slap, but before it reaches his face, he grabs her hand. He holds Li Xia's wrist high. He tells everyone around us to look. He says this woman hit him and falsely accused him of groping her. He wants everyone to see, then stops. He cannot continue because my fist has already reached his face. The man buckles. From the pain, he releases Li Xia. He covers his nose and stumbles back. I shield Li Xia with half my body. I ask if she said he touched her. Then why is he the one acting guilty? A passenger looks at him with disgust. The passenger says he looks creepy. Shameless, pure and simple. A bus groper. Public transport's bad souvenir. Someone in the crowd shouts to hit him. The closest passenger kicks him without ceremony. Quite a few people start kicking too, but almost no one truly hits hard. The man gets kicked toward the front door. He hides there, not daring to move. I do not join much of the later crowd beating. Li Xia stands beside me, looking wronged. She watches it all. I want to take her to my seat, but that seat has already defected. The bus stops at Xingyafang station. The kicked man rushes out the front door. He runs away like smoke with shoes. A few passengers get off from the back. Some seats open up. With my years of bus squeezing experience, I easily find a spot and help Li Xia sit down. I stand beside her. One hand presses the row in front, the other on her chair. I block other passengers from getting close. She sits there. She looks up and asks what pose this is. I feel depressed enough to laugh. I tell Li Xia, this position circles her inside. It keeps wandering hands away from her. She can treat me as her flower protector. Li Xia rolls her eyes with disdain. She says she honestly cannot make herself connect this pose with the phrase, flower protector. She says I look more like I am catching a pig. Catching a pig? So she's the pig? Li Xia realizes she said it wrong. She gives up arguing with me. She turns her head toward the window. She clearly does not want to deal with me. Standing beside her, I ask why she takes the bus. Is she experiencing normal life? Li Xia answers naturally. She says she is experiencing life. Can we talk properly for once? Every time we meet, we bicker a little. So I invite her to chat about how it felt to be groped just now. Li Xia turns and glares at me. Then she keeps staring out the window. Now she truly refuses to answer me. I was only joking with her. The bus sways through 6 or 7 stops. We get near Li Xia's neighborhood. She stands and tells me to move. She is getting off. I ask if this is how she treats her savior. Can her attitude improve by one tiny grain? Savior? Li Xia curls her lips in cold mockery. She asks what I saved her from. From a creep, obviously. Is that not the truth? If someone helped me chase off a creep, I would definitely treat him to dinner. Did she just say that while getting off? I ask what she thinks. So I happily trot along. I get off the bus with Li Xia. There is a shopping street near her neighborhood. After we get off, Li Xia heads straight there with me. As we walk, she asks what I want to eat. She is too lazy to cook alone at home. I tease her and say anything is fine. As long as she does not make me pay, then I have no complaints. When I say this, people on the shopping street all throw me disgusted looks. They are probably thinking, how can a man be this shameless? Li Xia is completely helpless. She asks if I can act serious for once. I spread my hands. I ask what is wrong. Is there any problem with my image? Li Xia sighs. She turns right into a Korean barbecue place. She chooses a booth. She says we will eat this. She refuses to walk farther with me and lose face. I say she has attacked me with words all day, but I am generous. I will not argue with her. Li Xia clearly wants no part of this boring topic. While reading the menu, she asks what work I am doing now. Too much has happened lately. I have barely worked. When free, I just do part-time jobs. She says seriously, Chinemo, have I considered returning to Decai? Actually, many senior leaders recognize my ability. Even though I worked only 3 days, the security department's whole spirit changed. Now the security minister is He Dazhuang. Chao Yue has already been fired by her. At this point, Li Xia closes the menu. She looks at me seriously. She says we should talk properly today. Li Xia and I sit facing each other. Her expression is serious. There is no joke left. She starts with 2 matters, same as before. She cannot control Jiahao anymore. But she asks me to tell Chen Xiaojia not to drag him into fights. If anything happens to Jiahao, she will not know how to keep going. She says last fight was not Chen Xiaojia's fault, but she is still worried. I say I understand and ask about the second matter. The second matter is about me. She really hopes I can return to Decai. I stare at her in disbelief. I search her eyes for an answer. She tells me not to doubt her sincerity. Li Xia explains that she thinks I have ability. Last time, I only worked 3 days. Most security guards speak well of me. They say I have ideas. They say I have leadership. My working style actually makes people respect me. She asked if I will consider coming back. Finding a suitable job now is not easy. If I only want 3,000 to 5,000 a month, delivery or security would both do. She says she is not looking down on those jobs. She just thinks work needs long-term planning, not just chasing a few thousand yuan. Then she asks what I think. Her words are fair, painfully fair. I used to only think about earning for dad's treatment. Stability and growth never made my menu. Now my heart is actually moved. After a moment of silence, I nod and thank her for telling me. I admit she is right. I ask her to let me think it over. Then we talk about studying. She asks if I was good at school. I say my Gaokao Chinese was only 60-something. I did not even write the essay, but my total score was over 600. Li Xia's eyes go wide. Her face says her brain needs a reboot. We eat and talk for nearly an hour. When it is time to leave, I sincerely ask if I can consult her later. She says I can, anytime. The condition is that I treat her to meals. After all this time together, I feel my relationship with Li Xia is changing. 2 mornings later, Li Jiahao calls suddenly. Dad's transplant went well. The rejection reaction is not obvious. They arrive at Changshui Airport at 1. He tells me to pick them up. The stone in my heart finally drops. I immediately call Chen Xiaojia with the good news. Turns out he already knows. Jiahao trusts him more, apparently. After lunch, I rush to Changshui Airport. At domestic arrivals, Yinihua leans beside Chen Xiaojia. On a chair not far away, Li Xia sits alone reading documents. They clearly know each other. But right now, they act like strangers. Very rich people theater. Yinihua greets me first. She says I am here. I look at Chen Xiaojia. I ask if he plans to become a new man. He curses me and tells me to get lost. I walk toward Li Xia. Only when I stand before her does she look up. She naturally smooths her hair. She asks if Jiahao called me. She puts away the documents. Now dad's condition is under control. She says I should feel much lighter. I thank her from the bottom of my heart. I say my mom's dumplings are especially good. Once dad is stable, she should come to my home. I will have mom make them for her. Li Xia agrees at once. She tells me to keep my word. So that matter is settled. As soon as she finishes, Li Jiahao brings my parents out. He calls out to Chen Xiaojia and Yinihua. He announces they are back. He waves loudly, like an airport celebrity. Chen Xiaojia goes forward to greet them. I tell Li Xia we should go over. Li Xia follows me. Chen Xiaojia introduces Yinihua to my parents. After a few words, I finally speak. I ask Dad if he feels much better. Dad says it is all thanks to Jiahao. Otherwise his second half of life was finished. Dad's face is full of gratitude. Li Jiahao calls him Dad like it is natural. He tells Dad not to thank him. His sister handled the kidney source. He says he will introduce his sister. Dad calls out Xia, deeply moved. He thanks her like she saved the roof over our heads. Li Xia smiles and tells him not to be polite. She says Jiahao and I get along. Since he became their godson, we are all family now. No need to be so distant. Li Jiahao chimes in immediately. He tells Dad not to be polite. He says not to waste time at the airport. He calls Chun Xiaojie to go. First stop, food. Jiahao's life philosophy is simple. The five of us head to the parking lot. Then I notice something. Li Xia is driving a reception Buick GL8. Li Jiahao is stunned. He asks why she is driving this car. She says the Land Rover needed maintenance. She sent it to the 4S shop. Li Jiahao refuses to believe it. He says it just had its second service. How could it need maintenance again? He asked if it got scratched. Li Xia says she bumped it by accident. A small problem, she says, too smooth to be innocent. Li Jiahao stops asking. I stop Li Xia from taking the driver's seat. I say she is not used to this car. I will drive. She hesitates. Then she hands me the key. She tells me to drive. I take the key. I stare into her eyes. I ask if the company money she used was for Dad's kidney transplant. Her Land Rover is not at the 4S shop. She sold it. She used that money to cover the company funds. I ask if I am right, and she looks at me coldly. She asks what any of this has to do with me. She gives me no chance to continue. She walks around the car to the passenger side. Back in the city, we have a simple lunch. Then we handle Dad's hospital recovery admission. Li Jiahao settles every fee. The doctor says Dad needs 1 to 2 weeks of observation. My parents think it is unnecessary. Li Xia and Li Jiahao both refuse to budge. After my parents are settled, the two of them leave first. I stay in the ward with Dad. He says stitches come out in 7 days. After that, just observe. Why stay half a month for 7 days? Shanghai already took more than 10 days. 3 days in Kunming should be enough. He says not to waste money. I tell Dad the paperwork is done. Staying 1 week is fine. We can talk about home later. Illness has tortured him for years. For these last days, he should rest here. Dad carefully calls me son. This trip to Shanghai cost a lot. The surgery alone was over 600,000. Flights and lodging are not even included. He and Mom have discussed it. They will sell the house when they get home. If it is not enough, they will find another way. I panic and ask where they will live. Mom says from the side, a house is just a place to stay. They can go to the shanty area and rent a small 30 or 40 square meter room. Chen Xiaojie and I rarely go home anyway. A big house feels empty. Dad says the matter is decided. He cuts me off. Before, he thought if he was gone, Mom should at least have a nest. Now he is better, so earning money is not impossible. He says I do not get a vote. He is even more stubborn than I am. Back then, I also insisted on not going to college. I have nothing left to say. Yep, that is definitely my real father. That night, Chen Xiaojie and Yinihua come. Chen Xiaojie buys a pile of Dad's favorites. Yinihua gives Mom a big red envelope. I pull Chen Xiaojie to the ward balcony. After making sure no one can hear, I quietly ask if things are still tense. He says even he is not nervous. So why am I nervous? Without enough evidence, they cannot do much to him. He even praises me for handling the Santana well. I scratch my head and laugh. That day at Inihua's place, the car looked unlucky to me, so I moved it that very night. He asks if it is safe. I say yes. I say that in this season, the water surface is green. The pollution is serious too. By the time it turns clear enough to see, the car will be corroded beyond recognition. Chen Xiaojie keeps his left hand in his pocket. He holds a cigarette in his right hand and looks outside. He tells me not to mention this again. If the police come for me again, I should stick to the old version. Lately I have dealt with police a lot. At this point, I almost have customer loyalty points. I laugh, but he says nothing. That calmness is something I cannot copy. I cannot help asking. I ask how the police found him. Chen Xiaojie calmly says he knows. Li Jiahao already told him everything. He says it like we are discussing lunch. Clearly, he does not want to talk more. I test him carefully. I ask if he really feels nothing. If he does not hate Li Xia at all. He says resentment is there, and not a small amount either. He admits it openly, but he can understand her thinking. Understanding does not mean forgiveness. Not forgiving does not mean revenge. She paid for Dad's kidney. That money would take us years to earn. He says people should know gratitude. He says he can handle it. Even if they are not friends, they will not become enemies. I finally breathe out. I say it is good he thinks that way. I feared his stubborn temper might explode. Chen Xiaojie turns and looks at me with contempt. He says stubborn does not mean brainless or heartless. Then he calls me low. Family warmth, apparently. If I could beat him, I would really punch him once. Yinihua chats happily with my parents. I want to stay and help. Chen Xiaojie and my parents both chase me away. They worry I will be useless at work tomorrow. I do not explain much. With Chen Xiaojie there, it is fine. Honestly, I also want to escape early. Not to rest, though. I suddenly really want to see Li Xia. Even just sitting face to face would do. As for what to talk about, my brain has not filed that paperwork. I arrive at Li Xia's fancy compound gate. The guard stops me. He says a resident must unlock the entrance. While I wonder whether to call, Li Xia arrives on a motorcycle taxi. A bone china bag hangs from her arm. She pays the driver 10 yuan. He gives her 5 back. She sees me and pauses. She asks why I am not with my parents, and why I have run here instead. I tell her she is shockingly careless. Riding a bike taxi with that bag? Bold rich girl survival. I fold my arms. Li Xia tucks her long hair behind her ear. She asks if a girl on a bike taxi would carry a real Gucci from her dad. No robber would risk jail for street stall junk. I give her a thumbs up. Fine, she wins. Even robbers have brains. She takes out her access card. Then she brings me into the compound. A breeze carries the scent of her hair. I turn and ask, because I came to figure out one thing. Did she sell the Land Rover for Dad's kidney? She answers casually that she did. She says she and Jiahao only own Dekai shares. Their monthly lives depend on salaries. They do not have 7 or 800,000 saved, so she could only sell the car first. I ask if she used company money first, then sold the car after being exposed. Li Xia stops when I ask if that is right. She asks what difference it makes. I ask why she did it. Was it just to buy herself peace? The moment I say it, I regret it. That line is too sharp, even for my cheap mouth. She keeps walking. She says I do not need her motive. I do not need to know either. She never asked me to repay it. So why am I so nervous? I stop her. I seriously thank her. Whatever her motive is, my gratitude is real. I do not know how to repay her, but I want to do something for her. Li Xia looks at my face. Then she glances down, seeing me holding her hand. She warns me not to offer myself. She says she cannot afford that disaster. I quickly let go. I tell her I am serious. She should not brush me off. She spreads her hands. She says not leading Jiahao astray is enough. She has no other request. After that, she heads toward the building. After a few steps, she stops and asks what I am thinking. She asks if I will not come up for a while. I say no, seeing her is enough. I should go back now. I say goodnight, and she says as I like. She turns with effortless grace, then disappears from my sight. I still cannot understand why she helps me. Is it guilt, regret, or some rich person mystery flavor? Without a clear answer, I can only let it go. After leaving the compound, I splurge on a 22 yuan pack of donghua. Consider it a celebration of Dad's recovery. I light one and call Qin Mu. Her dialect ringtone is ridiculous. It rings for more than 10 seconds before she answers. Her first sentence is my name. Then she asks if it is funny. She says I am that pig. I ask what pig, completely lost. She asks if I did not hear the ringtone. She sounds weirdly disappointed. She says I must listen again. Then she hangs up. Very official police procedure. I helplessly call again. Once connected, I quickly say I heard it. I admit I am that pig. I beg her not to hang up, and Qin Mu laughs. She says I must need something this late. I ask why she is so sure. She is mercilessly confident. Every time I call first, it means trouble. When nothing is wrong, I do not even like her posts. Thinking carefully, she is right, and my face warms up. The words I prepared suddenly vanish. Qin Mu sighs and lets it go. She says she will not argue with me. Then she asks what I need this time. Her words leave me nowhere to hide. Holding the phone, I nervously suggest inviting her to the bar to hear music. Qin Mu mutters that this is strange. Other people invite guests to bars to drink. With me, it becomes listening to songs. She says it should be drinking. I say I feared saying drinks would make her suspect evil intentions, like getting her drunk, then tricking her into a hotel room. Qin Mu calmly tells me not to worry. I cannot drink her under the table. Even if she does get drunk, she will not easily follow me to a hotel. She tells me to send the address. She happens to be free today. I send her the bar address. The place is quiet. More of a lounge bar. Snacks and beer are almost free. Even foreign liquor only costs the base price. No need to fear getting fleeced. Qin Mu holds a mug of draft beer. She says now we can talk directly. She asks what I want to say. I ask her to help me gather evidence against Deng Jing and Deng Qiming. I tell her I need it badly. Qin Mu rolls her eyes. She remembers when she offered before and I ignored it. Now somehow, I am asking her to collect it. If she guesses correctly, Li Xia asks me to help. I deny it, and Qin Mu raises her voice. She warns me not to lie to her. She says I am bad at lying and always look guilty. One glance is enough for her. I look at her calmly and say I am not lying. I chose to help Li Xia myself. Dad has had kidney disease for years. He survived on dialysis. I was useless. After 4 years in Kunming, I still could not earn kidney money. Earlier, Chen Xiaojia helped Li Jiahao in a fight. Li Xia thought Chen Xiaojia led it. In anger, she reported him. Back then, I prepared for the worst. Chen Xiaojia being investigated could mean execution, or a suspended death sentence, or life. And I cannot exactly float away clean. Worried, I told Li Jiahao that after we got arrested, I only begged him to care for Dad, just cover some dialysis money each week. I would pay it back when I got out. Later, Li Xia sent Dad to Shanghai for a kidney transplant. That money came from company funds she used. Deng Jing and Li Quanming seized the chance to attack her. They called a board meeting and cut her power. She had to sell the Land Rover to fill the hole. So I feel I should do something for her. That is my starting point, plain and poor. Qin Mu listens seriously and says I am not lying. She believes what I said is true. She says it fits my personality perfectly. When others treat me well, I repay them double, like an emotional loan shark. She says she checked Deng Qiming before. Those records can all count as evidence. Later she will check the transactions in detail. Then organize everything and give it to me. I thank her. I say we only met by chance. Yet she has helped me countless times. Besides saying thank you, I do not know what I can do for her. Qin Mu narrows her eyes and smiles. She says I can visit her parents more often. Last time was only one meal. Her mother already likes me way too much and keeps urging her to bring me home. She asks when I am free. She wants to parade me home again, just to make her mother happy and stop the endless nagging in her ear. She promises not to disturb my pursuit of Li Xia. I nearly choke and yelp. Me, chasing Li Xia? I tell her not to play matchmaker for fun. When did I ever say I was chasing Li Xia? Where did she hear this nonsense? Qin Mu says proudly that she does not need rumors. She has already seen it herself. When I talk about Li Xia, My eyes apparently go soft. Even my voice lowers without permission. It comes with a built-in gentle filter, especially when I mention Li Xia selling the Land Rover for me. She says my eyes are full of emotion. She tells me not to think she misses details. Maybe I have not even noticed it myself. So she is very sure. As my fake boyfriend handler, she will fully support me. She tells me to go win my goddess. I roll my eyes. I call it absurd. She is completely guessing wildly. Qinmu laughs and says some people are half-fools, and I can keep being my half-full self. She will quickly give me the materials I want, but I must not forget my promise. I agree to be the fake boyfriend to the end. I wish her luck finding the real version soon. We chat for more than 2 hours. The topics drift everywhere, like cheap smoke. After returning home, I shower and send Gao Su a voice message. I ask what Dekai is doing against Li Xia. Gao Su says if I had not called, he was about to call me. He excitedly says Dekai is about to have major trouble. I ask what happened. After Li Xia's fund issue broke, her shareholder support clearly dropped. Li Quanming accuses her of openly pulling executives into teams. I interrupt him. I ask if people really side with him. Surely it cannot be that simple. Gao Su says Li Xia has been stripped of power. She has the title, but not the steering wheel. Gao Su explains further. Everyone now sees Li Qiuanming's foundation. His prestige has actually risen. I think it over. From an objective angle, people would lose some trust in Li Xia. After all, she did use public funds first. I just cannot understand how she dared do it at this time. Gao Su sighs deeply. Dang Jing is Li Qiuanming's person. They hold the financial power. Is this not basically cutting off her own control over Dekai? The loss far outweighs the gain. Hearing him say this, I finally realize how much risk Li Xia took for me. She must have considered the consequences, yet she still did it. The next day, I wait outside the police station for Qinmu. She tosses me a file bag. The evidence I need is all inside. It is enough to prove Dang Jing, Dang Qiming, and procurement colluded for money. How to use it is my problem. She says her part is done. Now she asks about my promise. I offer to buy 2 turkeys for her family tonight. Qinmu glares and says no. Apparently, turkeys are not sincere enough. Qinmu rolls her eyes and stops playing along. She says she is still at work. I must remember what I promised. She will arrange another day, but not tonight. She has to be on duty. Right after she leaves, Gao Su sends a horrified emoji and my name. He says Dekai has exploded. A sudden board meeting has been called. They want to remove Li Xia as chair and general manager. Today may be very bad for her. Seeing Gao Su's message, I instantly lose my rhythm. I grab my phone and ask what is happening. I ask how he knows. He says he has been watching the executives. His gossip network is terrifyingly alive. Li Quanming just announced a board meeting at 2:30. Co-workers are whispering that he wants to remove Li Xia, then take her place himself. I snatch up Qinmu's file bag. Then I rush straight to Dekai. It is 7 or 8 kilometers away. I flag down an electric scooter. The driver flies like delivery fate itself. Traffic jams mean nothing to him. My left arm hugs the file bag tight. With my right hand, I dial. Li Xia's phone rings several times. She hangs up, but I stubbornly call again. When she answers, she immediately says my name. She says she has something urgent. She says she will reply later, but before she finishes, the call is cut off again. I call a third time. This time it says the phone is off. Out of options, I call Gao Su. He answers in 1 second and asks what happened. I tell him I am on my way to Dekai. I cannot arrive before 2. I will be a few minutes late. I ask him for a favor. Sneak into the meeting room. Hide his phone in a corner. Then keep the call connected. I need to hear what is happening inside. Gao Su asks what good that will do. He clearly does not understand. I tell him not to ask. Time is short. He knows Dekai's meeting room, so hurry. He agrees, and I grip my phone. I keep urging the scooter driver faster. Gao Su's voice comes through the phone. He tells President Li he has a file for her. She says the board meeting is about to start. Anything else can wait until after. Then Gao Su goes silent. Only messy discussion remains. Someone asks old Su what he thinks. Li Quanming calling a meeting now probably means he can replace the chair. Someone says siblings fighting helps no shareholders. The capable should take the seat. Whoever can lead Dekai well, that person gets support. Another says Li Xia does have ability. Low season occupancy is 20% higher than last year. That shareholder still plans to vote for her. Someone reminds them she misused company funds. Though she later filled the money back in, she still has not explained the use. If she dares do this after only half a year, what happens later? Corporate horror movie. Someone says the board already limited her power. Then someone tells them to stop. The future chair is here. Right after that, Li Qiuanming's voice appears. He notes that everyone arrived early. He says this is a temporary meeting. Then he politely apologizes, knife hidden in velvet. Someone notes President Li has not arrived yet. Another wonders if she will skip it. Someone says that is impossible. Lu Xiaoru's voice comes through. She asks if he especially wants President Li absent, so he can do whatever he wants. Li Quanming laughs like butter on a knife. He says they are discussing major business today, so President Li cannot be missing. Everyone is almost here. Li Xia calmly says they can begin. Several shareholders jointly requested this meeting. Their shares exceed 40%. So by practice, the request is respected. She announces the board meeting officially begins. She asks what they plan to discuss today. Li Quanming says since President Li is direct, He will not circle the block. He accuses the current chair and manager of misusing funds. After so long, she still has not explained it. He says she is suspected of dereliction. Today's meeting has only one purpose. They want a new chair and general manager election. The phone instantly turns into a beehive. I anxiously shout at the scooter driver. I beg him to go faster. I even offer extra money, dignity gone. The driver helplessly answers. He reminds me this is an electric scooter. It cannot run like a motorcycle. He says we are almost there. The phone stays chaotic for 10 more seconds. Then Li Xia's steady voice returns. She asks everyone seated there, how many agree with Li Quanming? They want to elect the chair and manager again. If over half agree, she will accept it. An elderly voice cuts in. The room instantly goes quiet. Elder Yi says since Li Xia took over Dekai, the company's results are obvious. This year has risen by a big margin. Impeachment over fund misuse can be argued. But today's election feels like someone planned this chance. As a shareholder, he supports capable people. He hopes the next person beats Li Xia. So why not see the nominees first, before deciding whether to re-elect? Someone says Elder Yi is right. Another supports Elder Yi's careful thinking. Li Quanming laughs. He says several shareholders have nominated him. If Elder Yi has someone in mind, he may nominate them too. They can vote fairly and openly. Elder Yi drops it and refuses re-election. He says he does not agree. Someone says his disagreement is useless. At that moment, another person joins in. He supports Li Quanming. Another supports young President Li too. Everyone starts talking over everyone. The scene becomes chaos again. I can only catch the general meaning. The rest is corporate soup and guesswork. Li Quanming asks everyone to quiet down. His voice comes through again. He says they will count simply. Shareholders who agree to re-election should vote, and I know he prepared this. My anxiety climbs another floor. I keep urging the driver. He says we are there after this street. Pressed by me, he crosses before green. My soul nearly files a complaint. The vote result comes out. More than half support replacement. Li Quanming's voice reaches me. By rule, the board must nominate candidates first. Li Jiahao nominates his sister. He calls out loudly. Re-election does not mean his sister is out. He has 13% of the shares. His sister has the same. Together, that is 26%. He asks who else supports her. A strange voice says he supports her. Duan Jingnan holds Dekai shares too. Add his portion, and I suddenly understand. This is Duan Wentao's father. He always wanted his son with Li Xia. But Duan Wentao likes another shareholder's daughter. Li Quanming asks if there are other nominations. His tone leaks disappointment. If not, they can prepare to vote. He asks President Li if they can begin. Li Xia says to begin, voice flat. It sounds almost like she has given up. Another voice says the process has reached this point. There is nothing more to say. He hopes everyone votes carefully. They should choose someone who can lead Dekai better. The scooter finally stops at Dekai. I throw the driver 50 yuan, then rush inside without looking back. Security stops me. He asks what I am here for. He asks if I have an appointment. I point at his badge and tell him to swipe the elevator. Tell he Dazhuang Minister Chen is here. I will chat with him later. I claim I am a Dekai shareholder, and I am late for the board meeting. Half believing me, he swipes the elevator. I add one more line. Tell he Dazhuang I will promote him later. He happily salutes me. Easy management. Li Quanming says if no one objects, they can start voting. His voice comes through the phone. I instinctively yell wait into the call, but nobody inside can hear me. The elevator suddenly kills my signal. The meeting room becomes a black box. The vote is really about to start. I wish the elevator could grow wings. The moment the doors open, I practically launch myself out. I charge straight toward the meeting room. I worked here for a few days before. The layout is embarrassingly familiar. In 40 seconds, I reach the door. Messy voices leak from inside. I take a deep breath. Then I fix my very wrecked appearance. The file bag in my hand is the comeback card. I push open the meeting room door. The room instantly goes quiet. Everyone freezes. All eyes swing toward me at once. Li Xia looks shocked, but somehow she stays calm. Li Quanming stands and asks what I am doing. He demands who let me in. I do not look at him. I walk straight to Li Xia. I bend down and loudly whisper to President Li. The financial investigation files are ready. They can be released to everyone now. I ask if she wants to announce the results, or if I should do it. She calmly tells me to do it. I stand behind her. I pick up the microphone and scan the room. Dang Jing is here too. Many Dekai executives are small shareholders. I hand the file bag to Lu Xiaoru. I ask her to place the contents under the projector. Put them on the big screen. Let everyone see our investigation results. Xiaoru immediately does it. I address all shareholders. What comes next is the investigation result. I grip the microphone. Everyone knows. Dekai's procurement channels have serious problems. Expensive low-quality hotel supplies keep drawing complaints. President Li had me investigate quietly. Now we finally have all the files. I tell everyone to look at the screen. The first supplier's company information appears. I explain. This company's legal representative is Deng Qiming. Years ago, it cooperated with Dekai once. The purchase contract is shown below. Xiaoru puts up the purchase contract. I continue speaking. After the deal, the company quickly vanished. Dekai had nowhere to seek compensation. After swallowing that loss, Dekai had to find another partner. Xiaoru shows the second company's file. The second company's legal representative is still Deng Qiming. The trick is copied exactly. After procurement, the company cannot be found. I point at the screen, third and fourth are the same. Over these years, all Dekai's bad supplies came from him. Every time problems appeared, Dekai had to spend more buying replacements. Meanwhile, Deng Qiming had already registered the next company. At this point, everyone must be curious. Who is he? And why does procurement keep working with him? Someone snaps that I am talking nonsense. A plump middle-aged man stands and points at me. He declares he runs procurement. He asks where I got these fake files. He demands an explanation. Or he says he is not done with me. I tell him not to rush. Fake or real, the truth will show itself soon. First, I mention Deng Qiming's identity. Li Quanming suddenly loses it and tells me to get out. He accuses me of spouting nonsense here. Someone says to let me finish. A dignified elder speaks in a deep voice. As shareholders, they have the right to know the truth. He tells the young man, meaning me, to continue. I nod. Deng Qiming is Deng Jing's husband. Procurement needs leadership signatures to buy supplies. Procurement repeatedly completed deals and got paid. Everyone can chew on the trick inside. I started with the bad product suppliers recently. That is how I found the secret. For the rest, I have no hard proof. So I will not run my mouth. Today the board is choosing new leadership. I hope everyone votes carefully. I place the microphone before Li Xia. Then I respectfully step back. The meeting room falls dead silent. 1 minute passes. The elder suddenly slams the table. He demands procurement and finance explain themselves. He proposes ending today's board meeting for now. The leadership change should be set aside. Li Jiahao is first to praise Uncle Wu's wisdom. He supports the recess. He wants his sister to remain chair while they investigate the mole first. Only then should they discuss elections. Others quickly agree. Hands go up one after another. The board meeting cannot continue. Li Xia does not announce adjournment yet. She looks at Li Quanming. She addresses him as Brother Ming, as chair and manager. She orders him to investigate this matter. Within 3 days, he must explain to all shareholders. She asks if he can do it. I freeze on the spot. Li Xia clearly knows. Li Quanming and Deng Jing are on one side. Why let him investigate? Has she lost the plot? Or is she trying to make peace? Li Quanming also stares at her, confused. He secretly glances at Deng Jing. Deng Jing's face has gone blue. Clearly, fear has clocked in hard. Deng Qiming's setup is very hidden. After every deal, he cancels the company. But Qin Mu still dug out the companies, registered under him and his relatives. Not one escaped her shovel. The projector files mark each legal representative's link to him. I really do not understand. Why Li Xia lets Li Quanming investigate? Isn't that handing him the eraser? Li Quanming says he will investigate clearly. He will report to the board soon. He says it after a few silent seconds. Li Xia nods. She tells everyone that since they propose recess, today's meeting ends here. She stands and leaves. Xiaoru gathers the files and follows. She even gives me a look. That look says, follow along, hero. We arrive at Li Xia's office. Xiaoru excitedly slaps the files on the desk. She hugs Li Xia. She says Xia was amazing today. She asks why Chen Mo was investigating this, without telling her first. She says she worried for half a day. Li Xia tells the silly girl to let go. She pats her back, saying she is being strangled. Xiaoru blames her for not saying that there was a plan prepared. Xiaoru lets go, still smiling. Li Xia says there was no plan. My appearance was pure accident. Li Xia shakes her head. Xiaoru looks at me. Then she looks back at Li Xia. She asks if Li Xia is lying. Li Xia says she really is not. Xiaoru's excitement fades into suspicion. I spread both hands. I tell her not to stare like that. It gives me pressure. She says I still annoy her. But this time I did well. So she will stop glaring at me later. Xiaoru shoots me one last glare. Li Xia tells Xiaoru to go work. She wants a private word with me. Li Xia says it calmly. Only the two of us remain in the office. Li Xia speaks softly. She never expected me to appear at the key moment. She had already prepared to step aside. Li Quanming had planned for so long. Today should have been his sure win. My entrance wrecked his plan. I ask why she gives up so easily. I smile a little. I had given her files about Deng Jing and Deng Qiming already. Why did she not use them? Everyone knows. Deng Jing belongs to Li Quanming's side. Li Xia looks troubled. Dekai's internal fight is more complex than I think. Li Quanming is only their gun. The group behind him is strong. Taking down Deng Jing alone changes little. She has not controlled Dekai for long. Her foundation is not stable. She did not want to tear things open. But today pushed her to the edge. I guess she is still swallowing humiliation. I say those words out loud. She asks where she did that. I say she lets Li Quanming investigate Deng Jing. Isn't that inviting favoritism? When he operates in the shadows, he can spare Deng Jing. Everyone saves face. And peace continues, on paper at least. Isn't that her goal? Li Xia's lips curve up. She smiles lightly and gives no answer. Instead, she asks me something. She asks what kind of girl I think she is. What kind? I blank for a second. I ask why she suddenly asks this. How am I supposed to answer? She tells me to be direct. Say whatever comes to mind. I hesitate for ages. Then I blurt out that she never quits before her goal. She asks why I say that. She asks if I think she is unscrupulous. She freezes. I struggle and say yes. For example, she reported Chen Xiaojia. She wanted him away from Li Jiahao. There was no need to be that extreme. But for her goal, she did it. Li Xia takes a deep breath. She says fine, and I continue. to pay for my dad's transplant. She let Li Kuan-ming catch her weakness. She misused company funds and ignored her own situation. She only cared about getting it done. That is also refusing to stop before the goal. I sincerely thank her. My dad has suffered too much these years. Without her, who knows how long he would suffer. She says it is nothing. I helped her too. So we are even. After that, we talk for a while. Then I leave. 2 nights later. I have nothing to do. So I wander the streets like unpaid scenery. I open moments. Li Xia posted 1 minute ago. It shows street lights and a long shadow. I do not overthink it. I call her. Before I ask if she is asleep, she answers. I ask where she is. I say I will come get her. I offer to send her home. She pauses for a second. She says she is outside her compound. She asks why I suddenly want to escort her. I say I saw her moments post. I thought she was like me. A soul with nowhere to sit down. Just wandering the street. Li Xia answers. She tells me to come get her. She will take me somewhere my soul can rest. Then she hangs up, very on brand. She sends me a location. I borrow landlord Old Joe's car. 10 minutes later, I reach Li Xia. She stands under a street lamp. A cup of milk tea sits in her hands. She does not notice me. Only when I step close does she look surprised. She asks if I came this fast to park my soul. I joke that of course I came fast. I tell her to get in. Brother Chun is splurging tonight. I say we will take a drive, and she obediently heads to the passenger seat. There is not a trace of contempt. That actually makes me a little uncomfortable. Rich people being nice is scary. After getting in, she still clutches the milk tea. I ask how good that milk tea can be. Why is she guarding it like treasure? I ask and she offers it. She tells me to try it. She passes the milk tea over. It is taro flavored. She says I can taste it if I do not mind. I take the milk tea. I sip from the straw she used, trying not to overthink it. A light fragrance hits first. Honestly, it tastes pretty good. She asks if she lied to me. Her eyes are full of expectation. I say it is nice and put it in the cup holder. But not so good she has to hold it at midnight. Or parade around with her phone. And post it on moments too. Li Xia sighs softly. She copies my tone. She says her soul has nowhere to settle. I say we should go find somewhere to settle both souls. I start the engine. She sets the navigation on her phone. Half an hour later, we arrive at Haigang Dam. It is a long dam circling Dianchi. I delivered food here before, but coming at midnight is a first. My resume grows stranger. Li Xia climbs the dam steps first. She jumps around on top like the night belongs to her. She teases me for climbing so slowly. She asks if I am 80 already. I stroll up slowly. I find a bench and sit down. The Dianchi water glows with scattered lights. The bright moon hangs far away. Its reflection rests on the water. The whole world suddenly goes quiet. Li Xia finally finishes jumping. She sits beside me. She asks if I like this place. She asks if it is good enough for a soul parking spot. I turn and look at her long hair. The wind lifts it. Her scent drifts over. She notices my stare. She asks why I am looking at her. I say she seems very familiar with this place. She takes a deep breath. She leans back against the bench. She gazes into the distance. She says she never met her father as a child. She lived with her mother and younger brother. In 7th grade, the essay topic was my father. She did not write a single word. She told them she had no father. Her classmates looked at her strangely. Her father had secretly given her mother money, so her life was comfortable. But her mother had no job. Later, other kids whispered behind her back. They said her mother sold herself. That was how she paid for school. Tears slide down her cheeks. I awkwardly pull out a crumpled tissue for her. I have no idea how to comfort her. I put my arm around Li Xia. She does not resist. She quietly leans on my shoulder. She says neither of us has lived happily. She asks if that is true, choking on the words. She often dreams of her mother. Her mother always tells her to care for Jiahao. For that, she can do anything, including reporting Chen Xiaojia. She apologizes to me. She cries harder and harder. Her body keeps trembling. Her tears soak my shoulder. So I am not the only one hurting. I cannot help kissing her forehead. I hold her even tighter. I am afraid she will notice how nervous I am. Actually, she has already noticed. But strangely, she does not expose me. The night is deep and quiet. We lean on each other like that. She does not struggle either. After a long time, she softly says my name. She says she is cold and wants to go back. She tells me not to catch a chill. I loosen my arms. She asks if I have clothes in the car. She still wants to sit a while. I say no and take off my jacket. I drape it over her. I suggest walking along the dam. Sitting still only makes us colder. She wears my jacket. She walks very close to me. I want to hold her hand, but I am afraid it would be too sudden. So I press down the impulse. Barely. When she feels pressured, she comes here to walk. She says it softly. Open spaces make people breathe easier. She is used to coming here to stare blankly and secretly cry once. She cuts me off by saying my name. Then she asks carefully. She asks if I can stop using her full name. She wants me to call her Xia. Being called formally feels distant to her. She asks if I only see her as an ordinary friend. I say no. I just fear she will be unhappy. She forces out a small smile. She says everyone should have a few close friends. She is already willing to cry before me. So how could she treat me like a casual friend? My heart panics like it missed a bus. Her voice is very soft. Anyway, if I call her that, she says she will not be angry. Hearing that, I feel a tiny secret joy. It feels like she treats me differently now. I casually ask how the company has been. Has Li Kuan-ming caused more trouble? Has his investigation of Dang Jing produced results? I still cannot figure out why she let him investigate Dang Jing. Isn't that a contradiction? Everyone in the company knows Dang Jing is his person. She sighs and says that board meeting was staged that way before everyone. She wants them to watch how he handles it. He will definitely protect Dang Jing. He will try to bury the matter, but she has not given him the chance. Once word comes up, she instantly turns decisive. She has sued Dang Jing for abusing power. Now it is no longer an internal conflict. Dang Jing may face prison. Once the matter blows up, Li Kuanming cannot stay clean either. He will not be able to protect her. Now he is stuck on both sides. Protecting Dang Jing exposes himself. Making her take all the blame will chill everyone else's hearts. This is a battle of minds. Now it depends how he responds. I am stunned. I never expected her thinking to be this tight. In just a short board meeting, she set up such a huge trap. Old Master Li was wise to hand Dekai to her. That decision suddenly makes perfect sense. She can be soft enough to cry and steady enough to command a battlefield. Anyone who underestimates her will probably swallow a very expensive lesson. Thinking of that, I feel strangely happy. Then she suddenly stops. She looks at me. She asks where I got those investigation files. Someone must have helped me, and our relationship must be pretty good. Even her lawyer was shocked by the files. She asks if I can arrange a meeting. She wants to thank that person face to face. She also has something important to ask. Let Li Xia meet Qin Mu? Do we really need to do that? I never imagined Li Xia would meet Qin Mu. They feel like people from two separate planets. Seeing me go silent, she carefully asks if it is inconvenient. If it is inconvenient, she says I can just thank Qin Mu for her. I explain that it is not inconvenient. I just did not expect her to want to meet Qin Mu. I say I will ask another day. Then I will see how Qin Mu feels. Qin Mu investigating Dang Jing's husband is better known by as few people as possible. After all, the route is not exactly official, and Qin Mu avoids talking about it too. She says she understands. Li Xia smiles and says it is getting late. She says we should head back. At 1 in the morning, I drive her home. At 1:30, I return to the bar. Landlord Old Joe is still awake. He sits by a booth, reading under a lamp. A pot of coffee rests on the table. I place the car key on the table. After thanking him, I head off. At noon the next day, Li Xia calls me. She reminds me it is Friday. She says we should visit my parents together. Jia Hao says they are fussing about discharge again. He cannot control them, so their real son has to persuade them. Great, promotion. I sigh helplessly. I agree and say I will go soon. She reminds me, it is the two of us together. She tells me to come to Dekai Hotel after work. She will wait for me at 6:15. I arrive at Dekai Hotel. Only Li Xia is in her office. Her desk is buried in endless files. I ask if she needs an assistant. I say I know plenty of strong guys. Reading files should be no problem. I ask with fake seriousness. She casually says sure. She tells me to be her secretary tomorrow. I say she must first pay me back an electric bike. Mine was lost right here. She never helped me find it. Li Xia puts down the file. She looks up at me. She says we can go by one right now. But I have to keep my word too. I must pick her up for work every morning. I instantly surrender. I scratch my head and change the subject. I say we should go to the hospital first. Handle the elders before handling my debts. She does not push it. She grabs her Gucci bag and walks beside me. We arrive at the private hospital room. Li Jiahao is playing chess with my dad. My mom wipes the room spotless with a rag. Li Xia brings in pricey fruit from the entrance. Jiahao asks if I brought his sister to see our parents. He asks if we are finally making things official. We have barely stepped inside, and Li Jiahao is already shouting. His brother-in-law joke freezes both me and Li Xia. Her face turns slightly red. She gives me one deep look. My parents stare at us, completely stunned. I put the fruit on the table and tell him not to talk nonsense. Li Jiahao insists there is nothing to fear. He asks if I worry my parents will object. He says there is nothing to hide. My mom actually believes him. She asks seriously. She asks if Xia and I are dating. I hurry to explain. I tell her not to listen to Jiahao's nonsense. My mom says regretfully, Xia is such a fine girl. Of course she would not fall for me. Thanks, Mom. Li Xia tells my mom not to say that. She says it with a smile. She says I am sensible and filial. She says my conditions are good too. I sit on the sofa beside Dad. I ask if he has been demanding discharge. He has only stayed 3 or 4 days. I remind him we agreed on 1 week. Dad widens his eyes. He says the bed costs over 600 a day. He says we cannot afford it. And since I am here, we should process discharge tomorrow morning. He wants to go home. Seeing him ignore everyone's care and think only about saving money. I feel embarrassed. My tone hardens too. I ask if I agreed to his discharge. He asks if he needs my permission. Dad's voice is louder than mine. The air instantly fills with gunpowder. A family war is ready to launch. My father is even more stubborn than me, so I can only raise my voice. I remind him he just had surgery. Jiahao and Xia spent hundreds of thousands, all to help him recover properly. The big money is already spent. Why fuss over observation fees now? I ask if he can please listen for once. He says he knows his own body. He says he does not need my lecture. As we argue, my mom rushes to mediate. She says father and son always bicker together. She tells us to talk properly. Dad tells my mom coldly that everyone should step out. He wants to talk to this brat alone. Meaning me, obviously. Li Jiahao tries to persuade him. He says his brother-in-law means well. He asks Dad not to be angry. He says the bed fee is no burden. Dad's tone toward Li Jiahao softens a lot. He asks Jiahao and Xia to buy dinner first. He wants a few words with me. Li Xia gives me a sympathetic look. Then she leaves with my mom. Li Jiahao walks out last. He even makes a face at me. Traitor. Only Dad and I remain in the room. We sit in silence for a long while. Dad says he is not being unreasonable. He worries Xia will see us as a burden. If she dates me, she will definitely consider my family. Who wants to marry in and serve in-laws? He wants to leave hospital earlier. That proves his body is fine, so he will not make trouble for me. I say I am not dating Li Xia. It is all Jiahao's nonsense. I ask what Jiahao told them. Dad says what Jiahao said is not important. He and Mom can see it for themselves. He says Xia is a good girl. He asks how she is not good enough. Jiahao already treats me like a brother, and Xia truly takes care of me. Why not become even closer family? I helplessly beg Dad to stop. I ask him to think of something realistic. There is no way between me and her. Why would she ever look at me that way? Dad says his son is good in every way, and he can tell. Xia has feelings for me too. I tell him to stop right there. I say we are not discussing this. Then he says he wants discharge. Like a stubborn child, he threatens me. If I do not get together with Xia, he will leave the hospital. Dad looks at me smugly. He says I can decide for myself. He and Mom have already discussed it. They both like Xia, so he should stay first. I compromise and tell him to lie down properly. Everything else can wait. Li Jiahao returns carrying 6 meal boxes. For meat dishes, 2 vegetables, and lotus root rib soup. One look and I know he bought it. My mom would never spend that much. Not this generously. Dad asks how much that costs. He starts muttering again. Jiahao laughs and says it is small money. He says once Dad is discharged, he will take his sister to our home. He wants Mom to make dumplings. He says he did not eat enough last time. My mom smiles so wide she cannot close her mouth. She promises dumplings after discharge. The mood feels strangely suspicious to me. After dinner, Li Xia and I leave the hospital. I explain that my parents talked nonsense today. I ask her not to take it seriously. She pretends not to understand. She asks what they said. I mean them treating her like a future daughter-in-law. I tell her not to mind. I know she could never be with me. Suddenly, she asks why I secretly kissed her. My tongue quits its job on the spot. My face turns red all the way to my neck. So she knew everything. I quickly put a cigarette in my mouth. Then I pretend I cannot find my lighter. I say I am going to buy a lighter. Before she can answer, I turn and run. Very heroic. Very embarrassing. The next day, Gao Su asks me out for drinks. From him, I learn Dang Jing and her husband Deng Qiming have been arrested. I ask when that happened. I am so shocked my brain drops its chopsticks. He says it happened the day after the board meeting. Deng Jing was taken from the company by uniformed officers. Rumor says Deng Qiming was caught for fraud and tax evasion too. Tomorrow is Monday. He figures even bigger news is coming. Deng Jing and Deng Qiming are arrested. Then what about Nyonyo? I quickly call Qin Mu. She says she already knows. She also says Nyonyo's grandma came to Kunming 2 days ago. She put the grandmother and child in the station guest house. After hanging up, I tell Gao Su that dinner ends here. I have to go to the police station. He asks if I need help with the emergency. Gao Su is loyal, no discount version. I say not for now. I hurry out of the hot pot restaurant. I take a taxi straight to the police station. It has been a long time. I wonder if Nyonyo still remembers me. I also think of Linny Fei. His last wish may become one more regret. Inside the police station, Qin Mu is in uniform. She is teaching an old man to fill out a form. When she sees me come in, she asks a colleague to watch the desk. She says she is going to the restroom. Then she gives me a look. She signals me toward the guest house. I circle around to the back door. Qin Mu is already waiting there. I have come looking for Qin Mu. She is still in uniform. Her arms are crossed. Her face mixes challenge with complaint. She says I finally came to her for someone else. We have known each other this long, and not once did I come just for her. Before I can make an excuse, she cuts me off. She asks if she is wrong. She asks if I dare argue. She challenges me to name one visit meant only for her. Fine. I have no defense. I say I will improve next time. I say I did want to invite her to a movie. I just worried she had too many dates already. If I asked and failed, that would be too humiliating. Qin Mu says I always find excuses when cornered. She tells me to try next time. Then she takes me to see Grandma and Nyonyo. I tell her she has worked hard. She says proudly that she is the people's police, after all. As for Nyonyo's mother, Cui Lan still has not been found. She is now listed as a missing person. I ask if Nyonyo is okay. I ask if she still recognizes me. Qin Mu proudly says of course. When Qin Mu held her, Nyonyo even kissed her cheek. On the 3rd floor of the guest house, Nyonyo lies at a desk practicing writing. Grandma is crocheting slippers. When she sees me come in, she rises happily and grabs my hand. She asks if I have been well. She says I look thinner lately. She thinks work must be too hard. I say it is not hard and everything is fine. Grandma calls out. She tells Nyonyo to come see. Nyonyo already saw me, the little radar. She stands obediently to the side. Only then does she come forward to greet me. I pick her up. I ask if she is happy at her father's home. I ask if she has started kindergarten. Nyonyo nods, then shakes her head. I ask why both at once. She says school makes her happy. Home does not. She wants to stay with Grandma. Grandma hears it, and her heart aches. She cannot help sighing. I ask if Deng Qiming contacted her. After taking Nyo away, I ask, and she says no. Grandma speaks with understanding. Young people are busy with careers. How could they look after her too? As long as he cares for Nyo, she is content. I cannot bear to tell her that Deng Qiming was not running honest business. Nor do I say his arrest has anything to do with us. After chatting with the old woman a while, we make an excuse and slip away. Standing before the building, Qin Mu asks guiltily whether Grandma will hate us if she learns Deng Qiming's arrest involves us. I say I do not know, then glance back. I can tell the old woman still understands him, probably for Nyo's sake. Qin Mu asks what we do now. She says, Li Xia does not plan to let them off. Once the legal process starts, those two may not come out for 3 to 5 years. She worries Nyo just found her father, only to lose him again. Can a child that young handle it? I say she should use the chance to approach Deng Qiming, then investigate where Cui Lan went. I admit I have guessed the worst, but I hope we guessed wrong. Maybe Cui Lan is still alive. Qin Mu sighs deeply. She says that may be the only way. If we find Cui Lan, the child is better with her mother than her father, and she can avoid facing a stepmother. Qin Mu shudders. She says stepmothers are terrifying. I do nothing useful all day. After returning that night, I sit for a while in old Joe's bar. Then I squat by the roadside. I smoke until the streetlights come on. A pair of red high heels suddenly appears beside my pile of cigarette ends. I instinctively look up. Li Xia stands quietly before me. I greet her without standing. Just a lazy hello. Very classy. She asks if she is unwelcome. I say of course she is welcome. I stand up. I mention my landlord, old Joe. This cold little bar survives on customers like her. I ask what she wants to drink today. She wants coffee brewed by me. Li Xia sits down in a booth. I ask if I look like I can brew coffee. Old Joe laughs from behind the bar. He tells me to come over and learn. A few minutes later, I bring the coffee to Li Xia. I sit across from her. I tell the boss to enjoy it. Then I ask if she has more orders. She says she lacks someone to chat with. I ask what she wants to talk about. She complains about me. Apparently my service attitude needs training. She says I should start the conversation. I say I am in a bad mood today. I have eaten nothing all day. I am too hungry to talk. My stomach is the narrator now. She asks what I want to eat. She offers to treat me, then gives up. She says she has no appetite. I ask if she came this late just for coffee. Li Xia sighs lightly. She says Duan Jing and came to see her today. Duan Jingnan. I suddenly remember he is a major Dekai shareholder. His son Duan Wentao was beaten by me and Li Jiahao. I ask what he wanted from her. I ask if he still wants to match her with his son. She says the company will hold another shareholder vote. They will choose a new chairman and general manager. Li Kuoming failed last time, but she was technically removed once. Now they must hold a proper re-election. Duan Jingnan told her that he supports her. He is standing on her side. I ask what came next, already smelling a condition. I guess he did not come just to be kind. Duan Jingnan noticed she has not driven lately. He connected it with the last incident, the misuse of company funds. He asked tactfully if she sold her car to fill the gap. Li Xia tells me this calmly. I ask what she said. I feel Duan Jingnan is no simple man. She takes a sip of coffee. Xia says it calmly. She says she just told the truth. Lying would be useless anyway. Rich people do learn efficiency. She says he offered to buy her another car. I say he treats her pretty well. She says he had a good relationship with her father. She calls him Uncle Duan, but she politely refused. Taking the subway is convenient now. For work trips, the company has cars anyway. I take a deep breath. I say I will buy lottery tickets tomorrow. If I win 5 million, I will repay those hundreds of thousands. She asks if I can have some ambition. She looks thoroughly unimpressed. She says no real man pins his future on lottery tickets. She asks if I do not find that depressing. I say I was only joking. She says she does not want to hear it. Fine, I switch to something she likes. I tell her she looks beautiful today. Then I ask if that finally satisfies her. Li Xia gives me a wounded glare. She tells me to take her around the old town. She says the old town is lively at night. She has barely explored it. I say I will be her free guide. Guandu Old Town at night really is lively. Snack stalls line both sides of the stone road. Aunties dance in the square. Children laugh and run around. Li Xia gets interested in the cheap street trinkets. A few yuan can buy her full attention. Amazing. Every few steps, she stops to watch. She asks for ages, then buys nothing. So I run back and forth behind her like unpaid staff. 2 kids bump into us head-on. Li Xia cries out in pain. The boy in front says sorry and runs off. I ask if it hurt. I sound worried because I am. She says she twisted her ankle. It hurts, and she asks me to support her. Her eyes are wet. I hold her waist and help her steady herself. I ask her to move it and check if it is serious. She thinks it is probably fine, just twisted. I help her sit on a bench. Then I spot an old woman selling cotton candy by bicycle. I tell Xia to wait there. She asks where I am going. She asks if I am abandoning her. Dramatic, but cute. I tell her to wait and buy a huge cotton candy for 5 yuan. When I return, Li Xia covers her mouth, excited. A crowd has already gathered around us. They think I am confessing my love. Some even start recording. Public embarrassment, upgraded. I ask her to do me a favor. I quietly beg her to take it. I whisper like my dignity is on life support. So many people are watching me. I am practically holding up my tears too. Li Xia takes the cotton candy. She holds it beside her face. Then she reaches for me. She tells me to hurry and pull her up. She is shy, and it is the first time I touch her hand. Her fingers are long and slender. Holding them feels unexpectedly comfortable. Under everyone's gaze, she walks close against me. She wonders if someone will post the video online. I joke that cotton candy confessions are cheaper than roses. A budget romance plan, naturally. She says this is not a confession at all. She scoffs, but I say bystanders love adding sauce. They might even call me a bad uncle. A bad uncle using cotton candy to trick a little girl. I ask what kind of little girl she thinks she is. She glares at me hard. I wisely stop talking. After returning to the bar, I take Licia upstairs. My bedroom is on the left. Old Joe's is on the right. She asks why my place is so small. Her surprise is rich girl level genuine. I say it is fine. The bed is 1.5 meters. Comfort matters more than space. I do not have many clothes. One suitcase is enough. Why would I need a big room? I flop backward onto the bed. I tell her to see the mattress. The comfort is unbeatable, according to my poor man's sales pitch. I ask if she wants to try it. Unexpectedly, Licia really lies down like I do. Her head lands right on my arm. In that instant, the feeling is strange and sweet. She turns slightly and asks if my arm hurts. I say no. I bend my forearm and hold her. Staring at the ceiling, I ask how it feels. I ask if my bed is comfortable. It must be harder than Dekai's luxury suite beds. Licia lies in my arms. She says it is hard, very unimpressed. She says I still dare call it comfortable. I say hard beds are good for the waist. Traditional medicine says so. The spine will not have problems so easily. I gently place my hand on her waist. I ask if being held feels warmer. She asks why I am hugging her. Her mouth asks the question, but her body does not move away. She does not push my hand away either. So I shamelessly say, a pretty woman is right here, with a great figure and all. So not hugging her would be a waste. Before I even finish, I yelp. Licia slaps my stomach. It hurts enough to make me shout. She gets up from the bed. She glares at me angrily. She calls me a hooligan and heads out. I quickly scramble up and chase after her. I find her leaning on the second floor wooden railing. She stares at the abandoned little pool below. I ask what she is thinking. I walk to her side. I assume she is still angry. My brain starts drafting apology plans. Shia tells me to look at how pretty the pool is. Her voice floats softly. Blue stone paths surround it. If we plant water lilies and rushes, and set out tables and chairs, afternoon tea in the breeze would feel amazing. I agree it is a good idea. I follow her mood and say it sounds comfortable. She suggests I try it with old Joe. Turn it into a bar. The first floor by the back door could have a sunshade overhead. Add a few chairs. She says she would definitely love this place. I instinctively say I will build it for her. Then she can come enjoy it. The words come out before my courage files paperwork. She says it is settled then. I mention Dekai's 8th floor sky garden is similar. I ask why she does not enjoy that one. She says there are too many people there. They are all hotel guests, and going there during work hours feels improper. I say that makes sense. She says she is going home. Licia looks at me. She says she will visit again when free. I should accompany her around the old town and buy cotton candy. I offer to see her off, but she refuses. She leaves me 2 words, silly fool. Her footsteps echo in the stairwell. I lean on the railing and stare at the pool. Maybe aquatic plants really would look good there. Early the next morning, I get ready to go out. Old Joe is cleaning the first floor. He asks if I found a new job this early. I say no. I am going to Donan Flower Market for aquatic plant seeds. He asks why I suddenly want those. I say Licia, and I notice the downstairs pool can be used. We can open a back entrance, set up sun umbrellas, put out tables, chairs, and some plants. Afternoon tea, there would be comfortable. Old Joe smiles knowingly. He says I look like a boy in first love. A hint from the girl I like, and I start sprinting. I tell him not to talk nonsense. How could she like me? He says what matters is that I like her. If I do, I should take initiative. Do not regret it later. I scratch my head, embarrassed. I say I have no experience. He tells me to hurry and buy the seeds. He will help me renovate the place. Old Joe's words make my blood heat up. Then I think of my broke loser look, and my confidence shrinks back into its cave. Isn't this a toad dreaming of swan meat? But I still go. At worst, I am finding myself something to do. The next morning, I wake up and head downstairs. Then I see it. Old Joe has already set a sun umbrella by the back pool. The bird egg hammock and swing are already neatly set out. Sunlight slants down, soft and clear. The place feels quiet, so I grab the watering can. I water all the plants in the bar. Old Joe really lives like an immortal on paid leave. Flowers, books, painting, wine. His schedule is suspiciously heavenly. At noon, Old Joe cooks noodles. He even adds poached eggs. Luxury, bachelor edition. The two of us sit face to face. Our feet are planted on the long bench. We eat happily, soup splashing everywhere like modern art. Then Licia suddenly arrives. She asks if we are enjoying ourselves. She looks at our disgraceful dining posture, and she cannot help asking. Old Joe asks if she wants some. He says it casually. There is still some in the kitchen pot. Licia makes an excuse and says she already ate. Then she says she will look out back. She wants to inspect our little pool. I tell her Old Joe has already set it up. There is even a bird egg. She asks what bird egg. Curiosity lights up her face. I tell her she will know when she sees it. I say it with a grin. That bird egg is actually a hammock, and it is ridiculously comfortable. Licia walks to the back door in heels. She stares at the little pool in a daze. I ask if Old Joe's taste is decent. I stand beside her and ask. She says it is great, just missing some landscaping plants. I tell her not to rush. I scattered seeds yesterday. They should grow in about a month. She rolls her eyes, impressed by my cheap wisdom. She asks how long I plan to wait. Buying grown plants would be far more reliable. In a few months, winter will arrive. Even if Kunming stays warm, who will still sit here then? Most homes in Kunming have no heating. In winter, indoors can be colder than outside. I insist I like sitting outside in the sun. That is my defense, thin but brave. Still, I quietly remember what she says. Then Li Xia suddenly suggests. We open a hotel in my county town. My parents could manage it. It would beat my mother selling roasted sweet potatoes outside. A hotel? I shake my head hard. No way. The investment is too big. A small county keeps people there, but not many of them. No guests means cheap rooms still lose money. I know she means well, but investing blindly is not romance. It is bankruptcy with flowers. She still has to return to work at Dekai. Before leaving, she says she will pick me up early tomorrow. We will go to the hospital together. After saying goodbye to her, I suddenly remember it is my father's discharge day, and I actually forgot. Son of the year, clearly. I sit by the bar window. I light a cigarette, feeling completely lost. My job is gone. My days are stuck in a dead loop. Old Joe sees what is weighing on me. He silently hands me a cigarette. Then he sits with me in silence. As we sit there, Chinmu calls. She brings shocking news. Nyonyo's birth mother has been found, but she is already gone. Deng Qiming killed her. What hurts even more is that, not long after that, Deng Qiming kills himself in detention. Deng Jing's lawyer immediately files a claim. They push all the blame onto Deng Qiming. The dead cannot argue back. Convenient and ugly. I keep feeling something is wrong. I think someone forced him to die. I say that to Chinmu. She says what I truly fear is Li Quanming. If his group strikes, Li Xia will be in danger. Chinmu sees right through me. She even teases me on purpose. But I have no mood for jokes. I only want to confirm Li Xia is safe. I call Li Xia. I ask her to come to the bar. And I let her meet Chinmu too. The two women hit it off surprisingly well. Seeing Li Xia smile so loosely, the panic in my chest finally eases a little. That night, Li Xia takes me out for a walk. We talk about Deng Qiming. She also agrees with my guess. It is probably Li Chuanming's doing. Deng Jing controls Dekai's finances. There are too many dirty accounts inside. Li Quanming would not dare ignore it. So I decide. I want to return to Dekai's security department. I gather courage and say I am worried about her. Li Quanming has gone this mad. I want to stay by her side. Li Xia stops walking. She looks at me deeply. Then she suddenly rises on tiptoe. She kisses me on the cheek. Blushing, she calls me a silly fool. At that moment, my heartbeat loses all rhythm. All my confusion seems to finally find a home. Early the next morning, Li Xia arrives on time to pick me up. She even brings breakfast. We go to the hospital together. Chen Xiaojie and Yinihua are there too. The whole family busies themselves. Li Xia shows no chairman airs at all. She takes the initiative to help pack. My parents look at her with pure delight. On the way sending my parents back to the county, Li Xia stays with us the whole way. When we reach my hometown, she helps my mother clean and make dumplings. She is busy and happy, like she belongs there. At night, there is nowhere to stay. Li Jiahao deliberately causes trouble. He occupies the room, grinning like a chaos mascot. Li Xia looks a little scared. She quietly asks if I can stay there tonight too. She says she is a little afraid alone. I nod. I stay with her at the best hotel in the county. That night, we share the same bed, but we both keep our boundaries. She leans in my arms. She talks about Dekai's difficulties, and about how exhausted she is. I hold her gently. For the first time, I feel having someone beside me can be this warm. After we return to Kunming, Li Xia gives me an unexpected surprise. She asks me to join Dekai's planning department as deputy director. I will handle off-season promotion plans. At first, I am nervous. I am afraid I will mess it up. But she keeps encouraging me. She attends meetings and discussions with me. She helps me steady my footing at work. Things slowly get on track. I also begin climbing out of my old low point. I keep helping Qin Mu as her fake boyfriend, and Li Xia stays beside me. She grows with me. She faces every mess with me, corporate fireworks included. I am no longer lost, and I no longer run away. Finally, I gather my courage. On an evening with the sunset falling, I hold Li Xia's hand. I seriously tell Xia, I used to be unable to see my own heart clearly. Only after meeting her, do I finally understand. What I want has always been her. Li Xia smiles and nods. Light shines in her eyes. She holds my hand tightly back. Later, we solve Dekai's internal faction fight together. Li Chuanming's plot is exposed. He receives the punishment he deserves. My parents live peacefully in the county. They no longer have to run themselves ragged. Qin Mu also finds her own happiness. Li Xia and I have no grand, explosive confession scene. But we have steady companionship, day by day. Every day, we go to Dekai together. When we have time, we return to Guandu Old Town together. We eat noodles cooked by Old Joe, or sit beside the little pool. We watch the seeds I planted grow into green plants, and we chat about ordinary daily things. I once thought my days would stay gray forever. Then Li Xia appeared, like a beam of light. She lit up every confusion I had. Now I keep learning. I keep growing. One day, I will become a big tree, and I will shield her from every storm.